Luhain District, France Empire. The sound of bells echoed across the square. Carriage wheels rolled over the cobblestone road. Olivia sat inside the jolting carriage, propping her chin on one hand, staring at the spired buildings passing by the window. That was the eldest daughter of Duke, Madeline. Sally straightened up across from her. My lady. Next Monday you have to go to the palace to meet His Imperial Highness the Crown Prince. Right. Olivia withdrew her gaze and responded softly. Yes. Sally clasped her hands over her chest. You just met on Wednesday. And Hayes sending OA carriage to pick you up again on Monday? This is just like OA romance from OA fairy tale. His Highness must truly adore you. Olivia lowered her eyelids. OA fairy tale romance. Leopold stood in the palace gallery, with Maria by his side. Princess, why are you here? Maria covered half her face with OA folding fan. Leaning against Leopold's shoulder, Leopold let out OA's soft sigh. Was today the day I promised to meet the princess? I've been so absent-minded lately. I actually forgot the day we were supposed to meet. Crown Prince Leopold. He has been my fiancé since I was 9 years old. From childhood to adulthood, this engagement exists out of necessity. There is no love in it. Leopold wrapped his arm around the waist of another woman, whispering to her in the middle of the dance floor. That was OA look he had never given me. Only one-sided feelings were growing. Even so, I still held on to hope. If I just worked OA a little harder, perhaps he would finally look at me. Leopold held the back of Olivia's hand. To make up for missing our appointment today, how about we meet next Monday? Olivia stared at the upward curve of his lips. In the face of love, I have become so foolish. The first time I met the Crown Prince was at his 11th birthday banquet. OA, young Leopold reached out his hand. Olivia is truly OA. Beautiful name. Leopold stood in the center of the hall, extending his palm to offer an invitation. Let's have lunch together next Monday. I will send OA carriage to pick you up. This was the first time he had proactively invited me. Olivia leaned against the carriage window. Father will surely be very happy when he hears about tomorrow. Perhaps he will even praise me for once. Olivia walked through the bustling commercial street. Sally followed closely behind. Sally stopped in front of OA's shop window and let out OA gasp of admiration. Olivia turned her head. Is it really that beautiful? OA pink lace dress was displayed inside the window. That was Madame Pluto's latest design. Olivia gazed at the dress. Sally, find some time next week. Have someone from this shop come to the mansion? Sally turned her head sharply. Her eyes lit up. My lady, are you finally going to buy clothes in this style? Olivia withdrew her gaze. It's not for me. I'm buying it for Sally's shoulders slumped. She let out OA's sigh. How long do you plan on looking after Mrs.? You always wear such dull-colored clothes yourself. Olivia stopped in her tracks. She turned her face and gave OA a faint smile. Isella held up her skirt, calling out loudly to her sister. Olivia gave OA a faint smile. Well, talk about it next time. Sally carried the heavy leather suitcase. Even though you are the Crown Prince's fiancé, you always dress so plainly. Are we just going to check the mailbox and head back again this time? Olivia responded softly. Yes. 2 female passersby stood at the street corner, conversing in hushed tones. Is that girl the Crown Princess? That's right. It's that illegitimate girl. The mockery of the passersby reached her ears. She reeks of conspiracy from head to toe. Her becoming the fiancé was definitely no accident. Sally suddenly stopped. She clenched her fists. She roared loudly at the backs of the passersby. Olivia pressed her hand on Sally's arm. Her gaze was calm. Let it go, Sally. Olivia continued walking forward, letting the rumors dissipate behind her. Sally stopped in her tracks. But, my lady. Olivia turned her face slightly, revealing OA faint smile. I just don't want to cause OA commotion. Let's go. Sally lowered her eyes. She let out OA muffled groan. They are always gossiping behind your back. If it were me, I absolutely could not endure it. Don't mind those rumors. Go see if there are any letters. My intuition tells me there will be an answer today. This was Olivia's only secret pastime. It all started by chance. She began corresponding with OA Knight she had never met. 1 year ago, her brother Jed left for the front lines. To provide support, Olivia sent supplies to the unit where Jed was stationed. Jed refused all the gifts. He returned the supplies untouched. Olivia did not give up. She sent the packages again. This time the signature was changed to Livergreen. Sally ran quickly into the room. My lady, I heard the unit has started using the supplies you sent. Olivia put down the book in her hand. She turned her head. Really? Since then, no more packages were ever returned. Olivia lowered her eyes. Even if I used OA fake name, as long as they are willing to accept them, it's fine. One afternoon, Sally handed over OA letter. My lady, there is OA letter from an unknown sender. Olivia tore open the envelope. She took out the white stationery addressed to Livergreen. My lady, thank you very much. Livergreen held it with interest. The corners of her mouth turned up slightly. That was the first time she received OA reply. Over the following year, the exchange of letters never ceased. Since the last letter, 6 months have already passed. I hope he is safe. Sally stepped forward quickly. She took Olivia's hand. My lady, perhaps he is just busy with the war. Let's go check for letters first. Then go by OA. New diary. Oh, a rude shout interrupted the conversation. Hey, you fancy lady over there? Are your ears made of gold? Can't you hear us speaking? Sally turned her head sharply. She looked at the tax collectors gathered at the mouth of the alley. I can't believe it. There are actually people collecting tolls in OA place like this. Olivia remained silent. Her gaze locked on the mouth of the alley. Then she started walking, heading straight there. My lady, please, don't go near those people. Let's take OA detour. The guard reached out to stop her. My lady, my lady. Sally let out OA's scream. My lady. Olivia passed through the archway. That's enough. The tax collector stopped his movements. He stared at the woman before him. What did that girl just say? Another tax collector crossed his arms. Hey, noble lady, you look pretty confident. Do you think bringing 1 or 2 knights means you can meddle in our business? Doesn't matter. Grab them all. Olivia watched the front. Her gaze was cold. The 2 guards instantly drew their swords. The tips of the swords pressed against the tax collectors' backs. Their movements were perfectly synchronized. The tax collectors froze on the spot. Cold sweat slid down their cheeks. OA, tax collector let out. OA, miserable cry. Where did these knights come from? Cold sweat broke out on the tax collector's forehead. He clenched his fists. Damn it. Get back. Everyone back off. The tax collector reached out and grabbed OA civilian. He pulled OA dagger from his coat. He pressed it against the hostage's throat. The blade sliced through the skin. Fresh blood dripped down the metal. Edwin was hidden in the shadows of his cloak. His red eyes shifted slightly. What OA nuisance? What on earth are those knights doing? They really are, a bunch of useless fools. Is there someone else over there? Olivia turned around, her hair scattered in the wind. Her gaze locked with the man in the shadows. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. What? What are you trying to do? Don't move now. Do it quickly. I told you. Don't come any closer. OA scream pierced the sky. It echoed at the end of the street. The knight pinned the tax collector to the ground. He pressed his knee firmly against the man's back. Are you all right? Olivia stood under the archway. She watched what was happening ahead. OA man, draped in OA dark cloak, was surrounded by knights in the center. The man stepped forward. He walked through the surrounding circle. He walked straight toward Olivia. Sally hid behind her. Her hands gripped Olivia's sleeve tightly. The man stopped in front of Olivia. Olivia looked up. Her lips parted slightly. Are you hurt? The man's body leaned forward. He suddenly lost his balance. His entire body fell forward. Olivia reflexively reached out her hands. She caught the falling man. OA heavy weight pressed down on her shoulder. Sally let out OA's scream. My lady, Edwin spoke softly. He made OA faint sound. I am very sorry. Edwin opened his eyes again. His red eyes stared forward. The corners of his mouth curled into OA's slight smile. My legs have no strength. I can't move at all. You saved my life. How can I ever repay you? Edwin raised his hand and pressed it to his chest. If it weren't for this kind person's help, I'm afraid I would have. Edwin opened his eyes. OA tears slid from the corner of his eye. Sally's eyes widened. Is he crying? I don't know how to repay this kindness. Sally stared at Edwin. That tear was clearly forced out. This man? Olivia observed the man's clothing. From his attire, he seemed like, a nobleman. But who exactly is he? There is no information about this man at all. Olivia suddenly stopped moving. Wait. Black hair and red eyes. The Grand Duke of Viking. He has claimed victory in every war. The 3-year-long Hypeti War ended because of him. Edwin was clad in iron armor. His hand held the hilt of OA's sword. Standing amidst the smoke of battle, the ruler of the North, the cruel war hero. Edwin Lowell, Grand Duke of Vikander. He is OA terrifying murderer. Olivia stared at the man in front of her. OA, drop of cold sweat broke out on her forehead. Edwin tilted his head. OA, gentle smile played on his face. It's impossible for it to be the same person. Olivia folded her hands in front of her. I'm just glad I could be of help. This is more than just help. You are my savior. Once I find my knights, I will surely repay your kindness immediately. Wandering alone in this chaotic place, he has no knights by his side, nor any mercenaries. Edwin looked around. Where have my knights gone? Olivia watched his back. If he is OA noble of the Empire, nobility would never approach me so easily. After all, dirty blood flows through my veins. Those voices echoed in my mind. How shameful. An illegitimate girl dares to be the crown prince's fiancé. How truly pathetic. Olivia pulled her thoughts back. She flashed a smile. I am truly fine. More importantly, where did you get separated from your knight? Edwin pointed deep into the street. Near the fountain where there are many carriages, Olivia looked in the direction he pointed. A fountain with many carriages. Is it that place? The sound of water splashed from the Four Seasons garden fountain. Olivia led Edwin through the archway. Olivia stopped walking. She pointed toward the fountain ahead. From here on, you can walk the rest of the way yourself. It is close by, so you will not get lost. Edwin turned around. He gazed at Olivia. Will you not come with me? Edwin bowed his head slightly. His tone was sincere. If I can meet my knight, I must give you precious gift. Olivia closed her eyes. She gently shook her head. I appreciate the sentiment. Edwin pressed further. Then, will we be able to meet again? Olivia opened her eyes. Her gaze was calm. I am afraid that will also be difficult. Edwin lowered his eyes. I see. Edwin suddenly took a step forward. He looked down, staring intently at Olivia. Then I can only pray that luck visits me again, so that I may meet you once more? Edwin stared into her eyes. A hint of a smile played on his lips. If that day truly comes, I hope you will allow me to repay your kindness. Olivia stood frozen on the spot. She had never heard such words. Not even her fiancé had ever said them. Olivia lowered her gaze. Who exactly is this man? He is only being this kind. Because he doesn't know my identity? Get a grip. Olivia gripped her skirt tightly. Her knuckles turned white from the force. Olivia lifted her head. She looked straight at Edwin. Let me warn you first. I have very high standards. I do not accept anything that does not satisfy me. Edwin let out a soft chuckle. That is wonderful. I have always been a greedy man, so naturally I only keep precious things by my side. Edwin looked down and smiled. His red pupils locked onto her gaze. You can look forward to it. Carriage wheels rolled over the stone road, making a dull thudding sound. Brown-haired knight walked up quickly. He held his forehead and sighed. Seriously. What is with this outfit? Are you, clown? What are you thinking this time? Edwin stopped walking. His profile was hidden in the light and shadow. His expression became cold and stern. The knight froze in place. Cold sweat slid down his cheek. To think the Duke of Vikander would show such an expression. To the daughter of that faction leader he loathes so much, actually showed that kind of expression. Winston followed quickly behind. Your Grace, did something happen with Lady Madeline? Or do you intend to take advantage of Vice Commander Jet's absence to take your anger out on Lady Madeline? Edwin stopped walking. He turned back in silence. His gaze was bone-chillingly cold. Winston pulled back his neck. Cold sweat soaked his back. What on earth is going on? For 10 years, the Duke was exiled to the battlefield by the Emperor. He spent 10 whole years rolling among piles of corpses. He has never had contact with those pampered noble ladies of the Empire. She is like fire and water with Jed, the second son of the Madeline family. Every time they meet, the tension is thick enough to draw swords. How could she possibly go to see the sister of that vice commander? Edwin withdrew his gaze. He called out to Winston in a low voice. Winston snapped his back straight. He responded loudly. While Edwin pulled up his hood, covering half of his face. I don't want to go back to the Imperial Palace. Winston froze in place. He let out a short cry of surprise. Edwin turned and walked toward the street. Anyway, going back would only mean hearing more of that nonsense. Asking me to hand over my achievements or take an oath, since the Emperor only speaks gibberish. Why not just... Winston interrupted him in a panic. Grand Duke? No. Young Master Edwin stopped in his tracks. Why the sudden shouting? How rude. Winston pressed his hand to his chest. He calmed his rapid breathing. Winston reached up and scratched his hair. It's true. If I were you, I wouldn't want to go back either. But things are different now than before. We are already prepared. The Grand Duchy has become strong enough. Winston looked into the distance. As long as we can recover the former, the Grand Duchess's white crystal mine, everything will be as your highness wishes. Edwin lowered his hood, covering his eyes, which flickered with a red light. Yes, exactly as I wish. The sunset enveloped the Madeline Duke's mansion. Olivia pushed open the heavy door. Sally followed closely behind. They stepped into the main hall. A bouquet of lavender-colored flowers lay on the sofa. Sally ran forward quickly. My lady, the Crown Prince, has sent flowers. Olivia reached out to touch the petals. Her fingertips trembled slightly. She pulled them into her arms. It's such a strange coincidence. These are exactly like the flowers that knight gave me a year ago. Olivia pulled a purple card from the bouquet. What is written on the card? Olivia lowered her head to read the note. Her green pupils trembled slightly. The handwriting on the paper was neat. It would be wonderful if my lady knew the language of these flowers. Just in case. I have written it down. These flowers represent the destination of my heart. Right by your side. Looking forward to our meeting next Monday. Olivia hugged the flowers. Oa's smile appeared at the corners of her mouth. Sally leaned toward the mirror. What did His Highness send today? It made my lady's face as red as Oa flower. This is the Leopold I know. Oa, gentle man who considers the meaning of flowers and sends them to someone like me. The current Leopold must have some hidden hardship to act that way. Olivia stood by the window, holding the purple bouquet. Perhaps it is because of my half-blood status. That makes him feel ashamed. If everything can get on the right track, he might also fall in love with me. As long as I do my best, everything will come true. A woman's face emerged from the darkness. She lay on the bed, reaching out a pale hand. Live, darling. Don't forget. As long as you do your best, all your wishes will come true. Live? My poor child. Olivia. Miss Madeline, my lady, you must never forget. The Duke of Madeline's family becoming Oa laughing is all because of you. Olivia lifted her face. Her green eyes welled up. Tears rolled down her pale cheeks. It is all because of you. The Street of Vagabonds? Turning Bell. The place where I was born? Olivia curled up on the edge of the wooden bed. Gray rats crawled beneath the bed. The candlelight flickered. Liv, my baby. Why are you crying? Olivia raised her head. Tears soaked her eyes. I had already realized it then. Even though I was still young, the woman reached out her hand. The only glimmer of light from my childhood was slowly fading out. Olivia rested her head on her mother's lap. I would never see the mother from my memories again. Live. Listen carefully. Soon your father will arrive. Father, you said before that he was dead. The woman lay on her sick. She turned her head to look at her daughter. Mommy lied. I'm sorry. There are also siblings there whom you don't know. It might feel strange at first, but you will live more comfortably, and you will become happy. Tears welled up in the corners of the woman's eyes. The corners of her mouth curled up slightly. Live. You know, right. As long as you try your best, everything will come true. The woman propped herself up. She kissed her daughter's forehead. My lovely daughter, please live happily there. Heavy rain washed over the cemetery. Olivia stood alone. Olivia stood in the rain. She looked down at the tombstone. A strange man, approached with an umbrella. Are you, Olivia? I received the letter. Olivia stepped onto the carriage step. Olivia stood in front of the mansion. The place her mother had spoken of, it was grand and magnificent. The carriage stopped in the courtyard. Guards lined up on both sides. The Duke stepped down from the carriage. He straightened his collar. He looked down at the girl before him. Olivia looked up. She gazed at the father she had longed for. Excuse me, are you my father? The Duke looked down at the girl. Shadows veiled his eyes. He let out a heavy sigh. What? A nuisance. Olivia lowered her head. He doesn't welcome me at all. The Duke turned and walked toward the gate. He pushed open the heavy wooden doors. Olivia followed closely behind. She stepped into the empty hall. Olivia stopped in her tracks. She looked around. The crystal chandeliers reflected the light. This place is colder than a dream. A woman stood by the flowers. She showed a gentle smile. Look, you're back. Olivia gripped the hem of her clothes. Her fingertips trembled slightly. Look. The Duke opened his arms. He looked toward the woman on the stairs. Hazel, you said you would never send Esela to the Imperial Palace? I need someone to take Esela's place. The woman left without looking back. Hazel, Olivia stood in the middle of the carpet. The maids gathered in the distance. They whispered among themselves. Their gazes pierced her like needles. To think the Duke would do such a thing? That silver hair is indeed of the Madeline bloodline. Lowly blood has defiled a noble family. The fragmented gossip reached her ears. Albert clapped his hands. The crisp sound cut off the whispering. All right, everyone return to your posts. Albert walked up to Olivia. It's a pleasure to meet you. My lady, I am from House Madeline. Chief Butler, Albert Lanchison. You must be tired. Please allow me to take you to your room first. From that day on, my life changed completely. Two maids stopped at the end of the hallway. They lowered their voices and whispered, Did you see those green eyes? I heard her mother was a street dancer. Her nature must be completely different from Lady Azelle. No wonder she was crying so hard yesterday. She was born a bad seed. Lowly bloodlines are all the same. That is why the Duke will not even spare him a glance. I wonder which unlucky woman will end up as his nanny. Olivia curled up on the oversized bed. Olivia opened her eyes. Tears slid down her cheeks. The happiness her mother had promised had never appeared here. The nanny hummed a little tune. As she stood behind the dressing mirror, Olivia sat on a high stool, her hands tightly gripping her nightgown. Excuse me, nanny? I would like to go outside today. The nanny swung the hairbrush, forcefully pulling at the long silver hair. No, my lady. You know the reason very well. Olivia hunched her shoulders. Why did the nanny stop her movements? His Grace becomes upset the moment he sees you. Even the Duchess has fallen ill because of you. Do you really not know? Olivia froze in place, her pupils trembling slightly. What do you mean by that? The nanny straightened her posture and let out a light chuckle. Oh dear, you actually didn't know at all. Because of your presence alone, the noble house Madeline has become the laughingstock of high society. You cannot pretend this has nothing to do with you. Has no one ever told you the truth? Olivia lowered her gaze. The Duke and Duchess, who never argued, began endless fights because of you. The eldest young master has become like he is walking on thin ice. The second young master cries every single night. Poor Lady Isella went from an only child to a second daughter. All of this is because you entered this home. Olivia's body came to a halt. Trembling where she stood, the nanny leaned down close to her ear. Think about it carefully. Perhaps it is all because of this. This hair, you were only able to enter because of this silver hair, weren't you? Olivia shook her head desperately, her hands death gripping the hem of her skirt. It's not like that. I came here because I am my father's daughter. The nanny gave a cold sneer, scrutinizing her with an icy gaze. Do you really think that if it weren't for this hair, you would ever have been allowed to step foot in here? The nanny suddenly yanked a lock of silver hair, with such force that it made Olivia tilt her neck back. Since that's the case, why don't we just cut this hair off today? Olivia let out a scream, large tears crashing onto the back of her hands. No, please don't. I don't want to cut it. The nanny let go of her hand and looked down condescendingly at the slumped girl. My lady, you really are a selfish person. The nanny leaned in close to Olivia, her mouth twisting into a smirk. Do you really want the Duke and Duchess to suffer every time they see this hair? Olivia pressed her lips tight, tears swirling in her green eyes. My, it really suits you. This look is perfect for someone of your status, my lady. Olivia stared into the mirror. Outside the window, the night was deep. The wind stirred the heavy curtains. Live, your hair color is very special. There isn't a single part of you that mother doesn't love. Olivia curled up on the chair, letting out small, broken sobs. Her shoulders heaved violently. Few days later, Olivia rolled out of bed. She looked at the moldy bread on the table. I'm so hungry, she pushed open the heavy door. I'll just get something to eat and come right back. Otherwise, the nanny will scold me again. Olivia felt her way along the wall down the long corridor. Moonlight cast shadows through the high windows. It's too dark to see the path. Her toe struck a hard step. Olivia cried out in pain. Losing her balance, she suddenly fell onto the cold marble. The heavy sound of the impact echoed through the hall. Oh, heavens. Liv. She remembered her mother pulling her into an embrace. Didn't I tell you not to run like that? Olivia lifted her face, tears welling up in her green eyes. Her vision blurred. Hey, who is that? A woman's voice came from the end of the corridor. The Duchess walked in carrying a candlestick. The firelight reflected her pale face. You are. Olivia held her breath. Her heart beat violently. Duchess. I fell down. I'm sorry. The Duchess stood in silence. What? The nanny's words exploded in her mind. The Duchess. She fell ill because of you? Olivia lowered her head, her body curled into a ball. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have appeared before you. I shouldn't have been so indiscreet. The Duchess is sick. It's all my fault. The Duchess stopped walking. She looked down at the girl kneeling on the floor. Who told you those things? Olivia knelt on the ground. Her voice was as thin as a mosquito's hum. The nanny said it. The Duchess fell into silence. The candlelight flickered in the darkness. Olivia closed her eyes tightly. It's over. She must be angry. The nanny was right. I shouldn't have come out. The Duchess reached out her hand. Her fingertips lightly touched Olivia's short hair. Olivia raised her face. Her green pupils reflected the faint light. Come, can you stand up? Olivia stood dazed on the spot. Staring at the Duchess's face, tears burst from her eyes again. Olivia sat at the dining table, staring at the food in front of her. The Duchess looked at Olivia, pointing to the bowl on the table. Hurry and have some porridge. If you keep starving, you will faint. Olivia raised her face. Her green pupils wavered slightly. If you don't eat your fill now, how will you grow tall later? Truly ridiculous. Olivia grabbed a piece of bread, stuffed it into her mouth, chewing forcefully, making swallowing sounds. Olivia held the bread with both hands, bowing her head to swallow in large gulps. The Duchess watched Olivia. Her gaze grew stagnant, falling into a long silence. Olivia picked up the cup, tilted her head back to drink the juice. The Duchess stared at the top of Olivia's head, her brow furrowed. What happened to your hair? It was very neat when I saw you a few days ago. Olivia put down the cup, avoiding the other's gaze. That's because the nanny cut my hair for me. She said people would curse me when they saw my hair. It would make them feel heartache. She also said I should shave my head bald. But I said I didn't want to do that. Olivia sat in the high-back chair, looking down at the floor. Sorry, it's all my fault for making the atmosphere here so bad. Sorry. The Duchess walked in front of Olivia, cupping her face. Let me make this clear, little one. None of this is your fault. Olivia looked up, gazing into the Duchess's eyes. Really? I really didn't do anything wrong. The Duchess watched her, the corners of her mouth turned up slightly. Of course, you haven't done anything wrong. Olivia lowered her head, staring at the floor. Thank goodness I didn't fall asleep. Otherwise, the nanny would scold me again. The Duchess looked up. Her gaze grew stagnant. The nanny. Bring the nanny to me immediately. From that day on, everything changed like magic. Someone was calling her name. Olivia. Olivia turned around. Her hair swayed in the sunlight. The Duchess turned her body sideways. She reached her hand out behind her. Say hello. She is your younger sister. Isella hid behind the hem of the skirt. Poking half her head out, her round purple eyes stared ahead. Isella let go of the fabric. She took a small step forward. Sister. Olivia stood frozen on the spot, watching the girl before her. Can I really call her by her name? Such a beautiful child. Olivia's lips parted slightly. She whispered softly. Miss Isella. The Duchess turned her face. I have sent the nanny away. You don't need to listen to people like that anymore. She is your biological sister. You can call her by her name directly. The Duchess reached out her hand, gently stroking the top of Olivia's head. Let's go. Let's take a walk together. Isella waved cheerfully from the side. Olivia. You also have 2 older brothers. The Duchess stopped in front of a portrait, pointing at the eldest son in the painting. Your eldest brother Conrad is 11 years old. Your second brother Jed is 8 years old. You can call them brother, just like Isella does. Conrad is away at the academy, but they will both be back today. Isella wriggled in the Duchess's arms. Is it brother? Jed rushed in from outside the door, shouting loudly. Mother. The Duchess set Isella down, opening her arms to welcome Jed. Darling, did you have fun? Jed threw himself into the Duchess's arms. Looking up with a complaint. You suddenly sent me to Grandma's house. I am still angry with you. Olivia stood at a distance, watching the mother and son embrace. But who is she? She is Olivia. She is your younger sister. You will all live together from now on. Jed stared at Olivia. His purple pupils contracted slightly. Younger sister, but she looks even older than Isella. The Duchess nodded slightly. So she is also Isella's older sister. Jed broke into a smile. I see. Hello there, Olivia. Olivia stood dazed on the spot. Her green pupils trembled continuously. Oh, hello, brother. Jed, you idiot. An angry shout came from above the stairs. Conrad walked quickly down the steps. His short silver hair brushed through the air. She is not your sister. Conrad stopped at the edge of the steps. His gray pupils glinted with coldness. She is not your relative at all. She is filthy. The Duchess rushed forward, grabbing Conrad's shoulder. Conrad, Olivia hunched her shoulders. Her body trembled violently. Is he unhappy because I came here? Is he unhappy because of me? It's all because of me. That's why Isella is crying. 2 maids walked down the long corridor. The madam hasn't gone out in a long time, has she? Is it because of that thing? The maids stopped walking, lowering their voices. What thing? There have been rumors lately that the Duke and Madame. The Duchess leaned down, kissing Isella's cheek. Take good care of us. Yes, the Duchess walked toward the carriage. Jed tilted his head and looked at the Duchess. Mother, why don't you give Olivia a kiss too? Jed stared at Olivia. His tone was confused. Olivia calls you mother but addresses you as madam. If she is my sister, then mother is also her mother. Right, Isella nodded from the side, echoing loudly. That's right, Olivia lifted her face. Her green pupils contracted slightly. The Duchess reached out her hand. She gently patted the top of Olivia's head. Wait until I return. Think about this matter carefully again. While mother is away from home, you must all be good and listen. Conrad stood on the steps. Jed held Isella's hand. Have a safe journey. Olivia felt the lingering warmth on her head. The corners of her mouth turned up slightly. She revealed a smile. Conrad turned his face to look at Olivia. His gaze was icy. That was the last time the Duchess ever touched my head. Since then, I never received a kiss from her again. On the day the Duchess left, we were having a very happy time. Jed held up a picture book. He hopped and skipped in the center of the hall. Look, I wrote a fairy tale specifically for you all. Jed pointed at a small purple figure on the drawing paper. This is Isella. She is the amethyst princess. Jed flipped to the next page. The girl in the drawing wore a green dress. This is Olivia, the emerald princess with sparkling green eyes. Jed held up the picture book. He showed the group portrait of the whole family, the princes and princesses of the Gem Kingdom. lived happily ever after with the Topaz Queen? Well, isn't my storytelling pretty good, brother? Olivia knelt on the ground. Tears slid down her cheeks. They soaked the front of her clothes. Jed panicked. He dropped the picture book. He rushed forward. What's wrong? Why did you suddenly start crying? Isella crawled to Olivia's side. Sister, don't cry. Jed looked at the wailing as he was in a frantic rush. Isella, why are you crying too? If sister cries, then I will be very sad as well. Jed pulled something from his robe. Olivia, this is for you. Please don't cry anymore. Olivia gazed at the siblings beside her. She was no longer alone. The thought that she had gained a family was completely shattered in less than a day. Thunder roared. Conrad stood by the window. He looked down at the girl collapsed on the floor. It's all because of you. Lightning sliced through the dark night, illuminating the picture book scattered across the floor. It would have been better if you hadn't come. It would have been better if you didn't exist. Conrad let out a roar of rage. Tears burst from his eyes. It's all because of you. That mother. Olivia sat paralyzed on the cold floor. Her green pupils contracted violently. She stared at the out-of-control Conrad. Outside the window, a torrential rain poured down. Thunder and lightning pierced the night sky. The wreckage of a carriage lay overturned in the muddy wilderness. The Duchess's shawl lay in the grass. It was soaked by the rain. There was only a deathly silence all around. The rain lashed against the window frames. The pillars of the hall cast long shadows. The guests spoke in low whispers. I heard she was on her way to get a divorce. What? A tragedy. The carriage overturned on the way to her parents' home. She probably went back for the sake of the children. Isella looked up. Tears slid down her face. Where is Mother? Isella looked around. She tugged on Olivia's sleeve. Mother, sister, something is wrong. Mother isn't coming back. I miss Mother. Maids hurried through the bedroom. Quick, get a wet towel. Hasn't the doctor arrived yet? Isella lay on the bed. Sweat broke out on her forehead. Her eyes were tightly shut. Mother Olivia stood by the bedside, gazing at her unconscious younger sister. Her face was pale. Isella slowly opened her eyes. Tears overflowed from her eyes. Sister, is Mother not coming back? Olivia held Isella's hand. I am sorry. Heavy footsteps approached. The door was suddenly pushed open. The Duke stood at the doorway. His face was buried in shadow. Tears washed down her cheeks. Her pupils trembled in the darkness. Olivia lifted her head. Her green pupils contracted, gazing at the approaching dark shadow. The Duke suddenly reached out. He gripped Olivia's wrist tightly, dragging her toward the door. Let go of me. Isella is still sick. Sister Isella struggled on the bed. Sister Olivia was thrown into the hallway. Her back hit the wall. Oh, a dull thud echoed. Olivia crashed against the wall. She snapped her head up. Let go of me. Let me go to Isella. How dare you? The Duke looked down at her. His face was distorted in the shadows. Do not use your filthy mouth to mention my daughter's name. Olivia froze in place, staring at the man before her. The Duke leaned down closer. His voice echoed through the hallway. That day, if you hadn't run into Hazel in the hallway, Olivia's pupils trembled. Her breathing stalled. The Duke clenched his teeth. Hazel would never have discovered the truth. Ultimately, it was your misfortune that destroyed my family. And killed Hazel? Olivia slumped to the floor, gazing at the Duke's retreating back. Tears welled up in her eyes. The Duke pushed open the bedroom door and sat by the bedside. Father, what happened to sister? Isella, don't cry. Olivia knelt outside the door. Her hands braced against the floor. Don't let that misfortune infect Isella too. Was it really because of me? Did things turn out like this because I came here? Hazel smiled in her memory. You didn't do anything wrong. My child. Olivia knelt in the darkness. Tears dripped onto the floor. Her shoulders trembled, making faint broken sobs. A call came from a distance. My lady, my lady. Olivia frantically averted her gaze, forcing herself to calm her rapid breathing. Sally stood before the door. What are you thinking about? Nothing. Dinner is ready. You will come downstairs immediately, right? Candlelight flickered on both sides of the long table. Isella put down her utensils. Brother, I finished everything. Conrad sat at the head of the table. He turned his head toward Isella. You only ate half of it. I really finished it. When preparing for the socialite debut, should we eat this much? Conrad took a letter from his coat. Jed sent a letter at dawn. But it seems you are not interested. Isella jumped up suddenly. She let out a cry of surprise. Isella poked a piece of meat. She stuffed it into her mouth. Brother, today's steak tastes really good. Conrad leaned back against his chair. The corners of his mouth curled up. All right. All right. The letter will be given to you. Isella put down her utensils. She puffed out her cheeks. Seriously, brother, you are the worst. How long have we been waiting for news from Brother Jed? Isella turned her head, looking toward the other side of the long table. Right, sister? Olivia stopped her knife and fork. Brother Jed, I hope he is doing well. Jed volunteered for the army a year ago, heading to the battlefields of Hyperdy. Since then, he disappeared on the southern border. The knights who accompanied him returned one after another, being promoted or retiring to their hometowns. Only Jed has sent back just a few letters. Olivia looked at Conrad, speaking softly, that, brother, can I go and get my letters too? Conrad lowered his eyelids. Do you have anyone who would send you letters? Olivia froze in her seat. Her green eyes dilated slightly. What? Conrad picked up his teacup. A smirk formed at the corner of his mouth. It seems there's none today either. Nothing sent to you at all. He must be very busy. The dining room fell into deathly silence. Isella suddenly clapped her hands, breaking the silence. Ah, sister, tell me about your socialite debut ball. Your debut was absolutely flawless. Olivia lowered her eyes. Flawless ball. Memories resurfaced amidst the lights. The crystal chandeliers cast their glow. Red carpets covered the hall. Leopold, dressed in formal attire, leading Olivia through the crowd. Leopold looked straight ahead. His blue eyes were devoid of emotion. Olivia's cheeks flushed. I once thought it would be, a perfect day. To lose weight, I had endured hunger for days on end. Her fingertips brushed the edge of the corset. Her ribs throbbed with pain. But this was the price of transformation. Olivia was dressed in OA gown. Her hair and makeup were exquisite and flawless. Everything seemed to be falling into place. Olivia stood in the center of the hall, looking around at the radiant light. Leopold, the first waltz is about to begin. Leopold let go of her arm. Turning to walk away, Leopold stopped in front of OA woman, taking her hand, bowing. May I have this first dance with you? Olivia stood where she was, staring at their backs. Her green eyes lost their luster. Her face turned pale. Whispers swarmed from all directions. Heavens, how pitiful. Olivia gripped her hem tightly. Her fingertips dug into the fabric. I had long known Leopold was unwilling. The marriage between the crown prince and an imperial faction family, it always makes people feel uneasy. He could only use this method. To invite another Olivia to dance, but the nobles whispered behind her back. The relationship between the crown prince and the princess doesn't seem good. The noble faction can finally breathe, a sigh of relief. Laughter spread across the red carpet. Olivia pressed her hands tightly against her chest. That day, I beg you. Conrad raised his glass. Talking with the nobles beside him, a smile on his face. His gaze never shifted back. Anyone, it doesn't matter who. Please, I beg you, talk to me. I had prayed so desperately. Olivia stood in the distance, gripping her skirt with all her might. Don't let yourself be disgraced. Olivia, smile. You must smile, Olivia. Olivia suddenly looked up. Her green pupils trembled. Conrad sat at the dining table. His arms were crossed. He said he is busy, so there's nothing we can do. As Zella, I will introduce a suitable lady. To accompany you, Isella pushed back her chair and stood up. The wooden legs scraped against the floor, making a harsh sound. Olivia. Conrad leaned in close. I told you, stay away from Isella. Olivia lifted her head. Her green pupils trembled. Sweat trickled down her cheeks. Aye, Conrad pressed his forehead. Are you planning to drag Isella down to your level as well? I have been reminding you, you are not a member of the Madeline family. You are just a stray element. Conrad turned his face. His purple pupils were cold. Get out. Olivia stood up and walked toward the door. Have a pleasant day. Brother Olivia? Is a disaster that broke into this home? Because of that child? This family was completely shattered. Because of that child? Mother passed away. Conrad looked down, his gaze stern. Even tearing her to pieces would not calm my anger. She must take Esla's place and head to the imperial palace as if walking on thin ice. That half-blood Madeline, a person who is neither qualified nor worthy of receiving love. The letter was spread flat on the desk. The purple wax seal had already been broken. Victory will surely return soon. Please take good care of Father and S. Edwin put on his red cloak. Metal armor reflected cold light under the illumination. He stepped through the long corridor. The soles of his boots stepped heavily on the red carpet, making a dull echo. Edwin stopped in his tracks. He pressed his hand against the sword at his waist. His fingertips brushed over. The cold metal? It's finally time. Edwin's red pupils flickered in the shadows. The cross pendant on his chest reflected the cold light. The Emperor sat on his high throne. The corners of his mouth curving upward, he gazed at the man below him. Edwin closed his eyes. He paid his respects to the son of the Empire. The Emperor looked down at the hall, his fingertips twisting on the armrest. I heard that the Duke was always at the front lines during this war. As expected of Edwin knelt on one knee. You flatter me. The Emperor watched the man below. To train the Duke of Vikander, it took Oe full 10 years for this young man. They used to be arrogant fellows. The emperor tilted his chin up, but now he is just the emperor's dog. The duke will soon officially succeed to the title. We should hold Oe Grand Victory Banquet. Ah, I remember now. You are over 20 years old, aren't you? You should get married. To secure your right of succession, Edwin turned his head, his red pupils showing no emotion. I currently have no such thoughts. The emperor spread his hands and let out Oe light chuckle. Just listen to me this once. Actually, the white crystal mine now belongs to the princess. Edwin suddenly looked up, his red pupils constricting. His gaze was as sharp as Oe blade. Snowflakes fell on the edge of the stone castle. That was the final legacy of the former Grand Duchess. The white crystal mine. It was the mine allocated as compensation for the missing Grand Duke, and it is the only collar binding the Duke. The emperor leaned back on his throne, his fingertips stroking his chin. If he marries the princess, that fellow will be even easier to control. If you get married, you can inspect the mine. Without imperial approval, the mine will also remain under the imperial family's name forever. The corners of the emperor's mouth rose, revealing even teeth. If you insist on getting that mine, Vikander, you will dance in the palm of my hand forever. The emperor threw his head back and laughed. The laughter echoed throughout the hall. Forever, Edwin looked forward, his red pupils cold and stern. Violent children ran through the streets, waving the newspaper in hand, shouting loudly about the extra edition. Grand Duke Vikander has returned in triumph. Olivia sat at her desk, her long silver-white hair draped over her shoulders. Her fingertips stroked the necklace at her throat. Does something this magnificent really suit me? What? His Highness the Crown Prince actually requested Oe date himself? Olivia turned around. It's just for Oe a little while. Izella's eyes widened. This is wonderful. Izella gazed at Olivia. Sister, you aren't planning to wear that? To your date? Are you? Olivia looked down at her long dress. Is there something strange about it? Isella propped up her cheeks. You should change your clothes. Sister, you look good in anything. But rather than these dark colors, bright colors would suit you much better. Sally nodded repeatedly. Exactly. My lady will look even more beautiful in Oe bright dress. Izella took Olivia's hand. Although we don't have time now, let's go buy new dresses together later. Olivia showed Oe's smile. Oh, a trace of tenderness flashed in her green eyes. Do you really think those clothes suit her? To be honest, the princess isn't that kind of cheerful person. Then how about this? Olivia pressed her hand to her chest. Her green pupils contracted slightly. Isella, this is so sudden. Isella pushed Olivia's shoulders. Her round, purple eyes narrowed into crescent moons. It really is beautiful. Quickly, head out now. I told you sister would look great in bright colors. Isella clenched both fists. Standing where she was, she cheered. Have a pleasant date. You must tell me all the details when you get back. This is my first date outside the imperial palace. I hope His Highness the Crown Prince can also have a good impression of me. The wooden door was pushed open. The brass bell on the door let out a crisp ring. Olivia turned her face. Her green eyes reflected the light from outside. Leopold stood amidst the shadows of the flowers. His short blonde hair was neatly parted to the side. His blue eyes gazed intently forward. Olivia lifted the hem of her skirt. She bowed in greeting. Greetings to the little son of the empire. Leopold remained silent. Olivia. The Madeleine faction of the imperial court intervened by force, pushing the half-blood daughter of the Madeleine family toward the crown prince as his partner. To dare let a girl of such humble origins be matched with the crown prince of the empire. The attendant adjusted his glasses. At least for today. You must accompany this Olivia. Even if she is just a half-blood, she is still a member of House Madeleine. Leopold was shirtless. His hands gripped Maria's shoulders. Because I am a half-blood, so I cannot become your highness's fiancé. Leopold sat on a high-backed chair. His legs were crossed. Coldness emanated from his blue eyes. To be honest, this woman... Olivia lowered her head slightly. Oh, a hint of a smile touched the corners of her mouth. The necklace shimmered between her collarbones. She really is too easy to deal with. It's irritating. Leopold narrowed his blue eyes. You are always so diligent. Every time it makes it look like I'm the one who's late. Olivia sat by the long table. Her green eyes were full of doubt. That was not my intention. Olivia's eyes widened. Her green pupils trembled. I just wanted to see your highness as soon as possible. Leopold raised the corners of his mouth. His blue eyes showed a playful glint. It was just a joke. You really are too naive. Olivia sat across the long table. Her silver-white hair fell onto her green dress. Her hands were tightly clasped together. Was it just a joke? Leopold picked up his teacup. Ada Camp Bowden. Botten bent down. What are your orders, your highness? An important item is missing. Go fetch some fig jam. Right now. Olivia tilted her head slightly. Her green eyes were filled with confusion. Fig jam. Leopold raised his chin. His short blonde hair was sharply defined in the light and shadow. His blue eyes narrowed. You should like it very much, my lady. Figs are something Maria Utter likes. Leopold crossed his arms. His gaze was sharp beneath his short blonde hair. He watched the reaction of the person opposite him. Leopold pressed his fingertips against his lips. Cold light shone from his blue eyes. The corners of his mouth curled upward. Olivia froze in her seat. Her green pupils contracted sharply. This is deliberate malice. He is waiting to see how I will react. He was not always reliable, but he used to always be gentle. 11 years ago at Leopold's birthday banquet. Are you that illegitimate girl from House Madeline? I heard the Duchess died because of her. Look at her green eyes. She isn't even a legitimate child. Why is she here? Olivia lowered her head and sobbed. Tears slid down her cheeks. What should I do? I can't say a single word. I'm so scared I want to run away. Leopold reached out his hand. You are Olivia. Madeline, right? That is truly a beautiful name. Olivia looked up. Her green eyes reflected the boy's smiling face. From the moment we first met, I was destined to fall in love. My fiancé was my shining salvation at every moment. Olivia sat on the high-backed chair. Her green eyes were cast down. I like fig jam. These were the only words I could say. Leopold turned his head. His short blonde hair covered half of his face. Derision leaked from his blue eyes. Now that I think about it carefully, perhaps that person wasn't you. Olivia remained frozen where she was. Her green pupils trembled. Leopold stood up. My fiancé seems tired. Let's end this for today. Go back and rest. This was Leopold's true intention. He is denying my existence. Olivia gave a slight bow. Oa's stiff smile hung on the corners of her mouth. As always. Your Highness is truly gentle. Leopold stood still. His blue pupils contracted. What did you say? Olivia lifted her skirt. She curtsied slightly. Thank you for taking the time to see me despite your busy schedule. Even if you were unwilling, that gentleness now belongs to someone else. This is my final bit of pride. Olivia straightened her body. She folded her hands in front of her. However, you don't need to send bouquets anymore. Leopold froze in place. His blue pupils trembled. Leopold suddenly laughed. An icy chill radiated from his blue eyes. Bouquets, are you trying to make me beg you? If you want that kind of thing, you should learn to wait, like, a lady. Olivia's eyes widened. Her green pupils trembled. Leopold stepped forward. His black boots stepped on the checkered floor, making a dull thud. By the way, didn't I tell you? Leopold leaned close to her face. An icy chill radiated from his blue eyes. Bright colors really don't suit you at all. Leopold let go. He turned and pushed open the heavy wooden door. He strode out of the room, leaving behind the lingering sound of the door hinge turning. Olivia stood alone in the empty hall. As expected, those flowers were not sent by him. Those expensive gifts, the bouquets filling the room, the letters full of comfort were all lies. All of this was a complete and utter lie. Olivia tightly gripped her skirt. Her knuckles turned white from the force. Don't cry like a fool, Olivia. Madeline, you must stay calm now. Who exactly dares to play tricks on a member of House Madeline? First, I must take the offensive and find out the situation. Olivia turned and walked toward the door. Her silver-white long hair swayed with her movements. Sally won't be back until 4 o'clock. He isn't here during this time. The coachman has also been sent away. No one will be back for a short while. What on earth should I do? Edwin was draped in a dark cloak. His short black hair was tucked under the hood. His red eyes stared ahead. Suddenly, he stopped walking. Edwin pulled back the hood. The corners of his mouth curled upward. His red eyes shimmered with light. My lady, what brings you here? Olivia turned her face. Silver-white strands of hair brushed past her neck. Your grace, Edwin froze in place. What wind blew you here? Olivia gripped her skirt tightly. Her fingertips trembled slightly. Why is it always at such a pathetic moment that I meet this strange man? He always makes me feel special. With that defenseless smile, yet he is so dangerous. If we meet again, I will give you a precious gift. Olivia lowered her eyes. Just your sentiment is enough. You said you would give me a gift? Does that promise still count? Of course, my lady. What would you like me to do for you? Olivia sat in the carriage. On the cushion, her hands were tightly folded over her knees. To think I asked for a ride from a man who is practically a stranger? I must be crazy. This impulsive behavior is not like me at all. But staying by this man's side, I actually feel a strange sense of peace. Why is it like this? Edwin reached out, holding a delicate gift box decorated with white flowers. Take it. This is a pair of gloves lay among the white flowers. Made of silk, with a shimmering luster. Embedded with green gemstones, gloves the Empire has never seen such OA design. Edwin leaned against the carriage cushion. How is it? Now you believe I didn't let your words go in one ear and out the other. As long as you speak, I have every kind of treasure here. Olivia looked down at her hands. Is this really OA gift for me? Olivia suddenly looked up. Her green eyes were full of doubt. Can he know my size just by observing? Olivia raised her right hand, spreading her 5 fingers before her eyes. The white silk fit closely to her skin. Oh, a perfect fit. Edwin sat opposite her. Under his short black hair, his red eyes narrowed slightly. Oh, ah. Faint smile hung on the corners of his mouth. Olivia shuddered suddenly. Has he been staring at me all this time? OA White Palace stood at the end of the green field. OA fountain rose and fell in the center of the courtyard. Olivia gazed at the man before her. Have I not asked for his name? Edwin took her hand. The corners of his mouth bore an imperceptible curve. Olivia lowered her eyelids, softly speaking her own name. Olivia. Madeline Dad is my name. Edwin looked down at her. Olivia. That is truly OA lovely name. Olivia gripped her dark green skirt. He seems completely indifferent to my surname. Even though she knows I am OA Madeline. Olivia lifted her head. She gazed at the face hidden beneath the winter hat. If we meet again, will you be able to tell me your name then? Edwin stopped. He came to OA halt. He turned his face, avoiding those green eyes. Regrettably, I am afraid I cannot say it just yet. Please do not misunderstand, but I must leave for today. What makes me so certain that this man will truly wait for me? See you next time. He reached out and held her fingertips. When we meet next time, I will definitely tell you my name, along with that most precious gift. Olivia looked down at her hand. For noble ladies like us, there actually aren't many gifts that can be called precious. Since that is the case, perhaps it is something like OA, sword forged from legendary metal and gemstones. Olivia stood silently. OA, look of confusion appeared in her eyes. Oh, a sword. Edwin closed his eyes. The corners of his mouth curled upward. I will look forward to that day. The man sat at the round table, scrutinizing the uninvited guest opposite him. Why is this lady appearing here? Olivia picked up the white porcelain teacup. Her fingertips gently brushed the rim of the cup. Is it possible he failed to see His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince? The man spoke, breaking the silence. My lady, what wind has blown you here? Olivia turned her head. I have just returned from His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince. Olivia raised the white porcelain teacup. She took a light sip of the black tea. I simply need to confirm a few things. Was that OA gift meant to stand in for His Royal Highness when he does not attend the Wednesday meeting? The man lowered his head slightly. Yes, my lady. Olivia put down the teacup. The bottom of the cup made OA crisp clinking sound against the saucer. But His Highness himself seems to know nothing about it. The man froze in his seat. Cold sweat slid down his cheek. Olivia looked directly into his eyes. OA chill emanated from her gaze. Does your aide-de-camp dare to play tricks on me? The man suddenly straightened his back. His hands pressed tightly against his knees. Absolutely not. My lady, I certainly had no intention of tricking you. Olivia leaned her body forward. Her gaze locked onto the man in front of her. Then, was that card sent by you? The man's eyes widened. Cold sweat slid down his temples. Which card are you referring to? Olivia tilted her head back slightly. Her green pupils suddenly contracted. The corners of her mouth curved into an arc. She let out OA's short, cold laugh. To think the chief aide-de-camp knows nothing at all? Among those gifts sent in His Highness's name, OA card with OA forged signature was mixed in. The man froze on the spot. His face was as pale as paper. His mouth hung open in astonishment. Whether it is flowers or gifts, it actually doesn't matter. As long as they bring me comfort, I will accept them. But that was not just OA card. The handwriting on the card was clearly visible. These flowers represent my new destination. Looking forward to our meeting next Monday. That was OA trap. Olivia closed her eyes. Recently, your youngest son was appointed as OA trainee attendant at the TS Palace. You should be very clear about what that means. TS Palace shined brilliantly in the sunlight. It is the temporary palace managed by successive crown princesses, and the place where the future empress resides. And now, Olivia has already obtained the management rights for that place. Olivia turned her head, watching the man who was filled with terror. Although I am not yet the official crown princess, and have no right to order you directly, but inside this palace, the situation is entirely different. The man let out a sudden gasp of cold air. His pupils trembled from extreme terror. Olivia stood up. Since someone dared to impersonate an aide to humiliate OA member of House Madeline, am I supposed to just sit back and watch? The man's knees buckled. No. My lady, please forgive him. This time, I will definitely find out the mastermind behind this. Olivia sat in the armchair, Her hands were folded over her knees. How lucky. He has always been an easy person to deal with. If it weren't for him, things wouldn't have proceeded so smoothly. When his younger son was mentioned, his reaction was indeed very intense. Is this what OA so-called father is? Are children really that precious to them? My father. Olivia fell into silence. Lord, Duke, Madeline. The Duke pressed his hand to his chest. He bowed his head slightly forward. I pay my respects to the bright moon of the Empire. Greetings to Her Majesty the Empress. The Empress walked over slowly. Her red hair was particularly eye-catching in the sunlight. Welcome, Duke. The Duke looked straight ahead. I heard you have something to discuss with me. The Empress sat on the red velvet bench. It seems you are a straightforward person. Then I will be blunt. Regarding Olivia, that lovely girl, I heard that on every appointed day. She stays alone with the Crown Prince. The Duke's facial muscles tightened. This is not a serious problem. I just wanted to soothe his disappointment. So I had the chief aide-de-camp send a gift. But it seems a lady-in-waiting took it upon herself to write a few extra words of comfort. Clearly, he was very dissatisfied with this. He even made a huge scene out of it. One of the Empress's eyes glinted golden in the shadows. Duke, I don't want such trivial matters to become the reason I stop receiving Olivia. The corners of her mouth curled into a dangerous arc. Of course, if something unfortunate happens, your other daughters could also take her place. The Duke jerked his head up. His pupils contracted in shock. The Empress stared at her fingernails. Duke, please think twice before you act. She slowly closed both eyes. No matter what others say, we are always on the same side, aren't we? Duke. Madeline pushed open the heavy wooden door. His leather shoes stepped onto the polished marble floor, making a crisp sound. Countess Chase knelt before the Empress. Her hands tightly gripped the hem of her skirt. Your Majesty, the Empress, this is a trap. Please investigate this clearly. The Duke stopped walking. His purple pupils revealed a cold chill. He let out a dull, cold snort. The sunset died, the spires of the detached palace red. Olivia stood on the terrace. He indeed said. That Countess Chase was the culprit. The culprit, my lady. Her Majesty the Empress has already given the order for Countess Chase to leave the palace. Olivia lowered her eyes. Countess Chase was one of the Empress's people. As expected, it happened again. She always cuts off her own tail to survive. Pretending everything has already ended? Don't feel guilty? Olivia, you did the right thing. She insulted the entire Madeline family. Your counterattack was only natural. Perhaps even father. Will he also be angry for my sake? The heavy door was pushed open, emitting a harsh grating sound. Sally ran from the end of the corridor. My lady, why have you only just returned now? His Grace the Duke is looking for you everywhere. Olivia widened her green eyes. She froze on the spot. Father is looking for me. In the 14 years since entering House Madeline, I was never allowed to step into Father's audience room. Olivia stared at the tightly closed wooden door. Why must it be now of all times? Her hands tightly gripped the hem of her skirt. Do not be afraid for no reason. Perhaps he heard about what happened at the palace and is feeling angry on my behalf. So this is the reason. The Duke clasped his hands and rested his chin on them. Shadows loomed over his face. Crown Princess. Olivia held her breath. You are to become the Crown Princess. The Duke stared at his daughter. I have only ever asked one thing of you, and you cannot even handle such a small matter. Look at the state of things now. Olivia froze in place. Father, what do you mean by this? The Duke let out a cold sneer. I heard the Empress sent a gift to appease you, yet you threatened an official over a mere greeting card. How utterly ridiculous. Is this how a future Crown Princess should behave? Olivia took half a step forward, defending herself urgently. Father, you have misunderstood. That was no ordinary greeting card. Someone impersonated the Crown Prince to humiliate me. This is an insult to House Madeline. The Duke turned his head. His gaze was icy. On what grounds? Olivia stood stunned. What? The Duke sat behind the desk, looking down at his daughter below the steps. Why would that be considered an insult to the family? Olivia lowered her head, staring at the light and shadows on the floor tiles. What? The Duke raised his voice. Didn't you hear me? I am asking you. Does mocking you equate to insulting House Madeline? Olivia stood in the middle of the empty room. Her back was stiff. What I mean is... Olivia raised her head, her right hand pressed against her chest. I am also a member of House Madeline. Father. The Duke watched her in silence. There was no emotion in his eyes. Olivia turned her face away. I always thought that father slighted me because I wasn't doing well enough. The Duke sat in his high position, with his hands propped under his chin. Even though he neglected me, he still took me in when I was lonely and helpless. He gave me silk gowns and exquisite food. He even let me sit beside Leopold. That is the most precious position in the family. Most importantly, he gave me a new home. Or so I once believed. The Duke tilted his head slightly. If you insist on calling yourself Madeline. The Duke's eyes were cold. Then prove it to me. The Duke looked down at his daughter below the steps. Act like a member of this family. Mind your words and actions. Do not let those filthy rumors cling to you. Without my permission, you are not allowed to contact Azella privately. Do not infect her with your misfortune. And certainly do not drag her into the name of Madeline again. Olivia gripped her skirt tightly. Her knuckles turned white from the force. I haven't done anything. The Duke gave a short, cold laugh. Since you've done nothing, why do the rumors still follow you, like, a shadow? What did you do at the Crown Prince's palace today? Olivia straightened her back. Looking directly into her father's eyes, that is the Diaz Palace. It is under my jurisdiction. Everything I have done was to protect Madeline. The Duke looked away, spitting out a single word. Get out. Olivia froze in place. Her right hand pressed tightly against her chest. Staring at the man she called father, Olivia turned and left. Her skirt brushed across the cold floor tiles. Olivia stopped in the hallway. Looking at the family, portrait on the wall, the Duke stands in the painting, surrounded by the Duchess and the children. That is the Madeline family without her. Olivia let out a soft chuckle. Ha! Olivia walked alone through the long corridor. Her hands were tightly clasped over her chest. Her fingertips sank into the fabric. She tried to calm her rapid breathing. I hope to be lucky enough to see you again. Edwin leaned in close. Olivia. It truly is. A beautiful name. This is ridiculous. Olivia. Madeline? To actually be thinking of man, I barely know. Seeking solace in that, even if it's just well done, or you've worked hard. I never dared to hope for those things. But Olivia bent over. She covered her face with both hands. Broken sobs escaped from her throat. I just hoped. That just once, I could hear him say, it's not your fault. The following night, the Imperial Banquet Hall was brightly lit. The triumph celebration began. Nobles moved back and forth across the marble floor. Olivia, dressed in a red gown, stood alone in the center of the hall. Whispers all around surged like a tide. The color of her dress matches the Crown Prince's perfectly. They look almost like dance partners. Two noblewomen whispered to each other. Then why is she standing there all alone? Is she trying to announce to everyone that Azella stole the Crown Prince away? Is she trying to use those green eyes to gain sympathy? How pitiful. She should have just given that dress to Azella in the first place. She's really bringing this on herself. Olivia remained expressionless. It's okay, Olivia. But I don't see today's guests of honor. Where are they? An attendant approached the Emperor and lowered his voice. Well, that is... What? They haven't arrived yet? What on earth is going on? The Master of Ceremonies announced loudly, Edwin Lowell Vikander, the Grand Duke, is entering, accompanied by the Imperial Knights and the Vikander Knights. A pair of uniformed knights crossed the hall. The long swords at their waists swayed with their steps. The metallic clashing was crisp and sharp. Olivia searched the ranks for Jed. He should be in there too. Where is he? Olivia held her breath. Her gaze swept across one unfamiliar face after another. Olivia suddenly widened her eyes. Her pupils trembled. Her gaze locked onto the front of the line. Edwin slowly walked into the hall. His short black hair fell neatly over his forehead. Dressed in a deep blue military dress uniform, his epaulets shimmered under the lights. Edwin stopped in his tracks. He bowed slightly in greeting. Paying respects to the son of the Empire, Edwin raised his head. His red eyes were cold and deep. He looked directly at the Emperor on the high throne. Edwin Lowell Greetings, Your Majesty. Edwin knelt on one knee. His right hand gripped the hilt of the sword at his waist. Olivia stood in the distance. Gazing at that back, Olivia froze in place. Her breath stopped for a moment. That man. The Emperor opened his arms. Looking down at the kneeling general, my proudest knight has finally arrived. This banquet was set for you. Why the long delay? Edwin lowered his gaze and responded in a low voice. My deepest apologies. For the oath-taking ceremony personally presided over by Your Majesty, an ordinary sword must absolutely not be used. Edwin held out a longsword with both hands. This is the Vikander heirloom. I have brought The blade reflected a cold light under the lamps. A commotion broke out among the crowd. That is the royal sword of Lowell, missing for 30 years. It is said that His Majesty has always longed to possess it. The Vikander family would rather give up the white crystal mine than ever display this sword. The Emperor let out a burst of laughter. Echoing above the banquet hall, I once worried that the greatest knight of the Empire had never pledged an oath of honor to any lady. The Duke is finally willing to make a knight's oath. This is good. The emperor looked down at the back at the end of the red carpet. Since the duke will welcome Owe matching partner today, I grant you one wish in the name of the emperor. Vikander will eventually belong to me completely. Edwin stepped forward. His leather boots stepping on the red carpet, the emperor issued the final command. Now, Duke, offer your oath. Edwin closed his eyes and smiled. His steps not hesitating for Owe moment, he passed straight by the princess and her finery. Under the gaze of everyone, Edwin walked across the red carpet and stopped in front of Olivia. Edwin knelt on one knee, holding the long sword horizontally in both hands. Olivia, Miss Madeline, I am finally able to call your name. I am deeply honored. This is Owe's sword, unique in this world. In the name of Owe Knight, I, Edwin Lowell, offer my sword to you, my lady. Olivia looked down. Please, the man in her memory whispered. Only something precious enough is worthy of your acceptance. Like Owe unique sword, forged from sacred steel and gemstones. Edwin knelt on one knee, looking up at Olivia. Would you grant me the honor of letting me become your sword? Olivia stood frozen on the spot. That tone again. That tone that implies no matter what decision I make, he will be obedient. Why does this man treat me this way? Olivia's lips trembled slightly. I am very sorry. Your Grace, I must refuse your oath. Owe's hand reached out from the side, gripping her shoulder tightly. Olivia let out Owe's gasp of surprise. Leopold gripped Olivia's shoulder, pulling her into his arms. This lady is my fiancée. For an unmarried duke to swear an oath to her, wouldn't that bring scandal to my fiancé? This is an oath permitted by His Majesty. The corners of Edwin's mouth turned up. Since it is offered to Miss Madeline, how could it cause Owe scandal? Unless you wish to defy His Majesty's will, Leopold tightened his arm. Once the oath is established, we must dance the first song together. Don't you think? This is disrespectful to me. Who is accompanying the lady? Edwin let out Owe's soft chuckle. I see. Since your highness came with someone else. I thought this lady had come to the appointment. Alone, it seems I was mistaken. Edwin turned his head, his gaze sweeping over Maria in the distance. Others might think I am not making an oath, but proposing marriage to this lady? Leopold gnashed his teeth, the veins on his forehead bulging. He stared fixedly at the man in front of him. Duke. The princess walked over quickly. Brother, please calm down. Rather than this, we should first point out this young lady's disrespectful attire. The princess covered her face and chuckled, her gaze scanning over Olivia. Olivia, don't you know what kind of etiquette Owe lady should follow? When accepting Owe Knight's oath, the first person in history to offer Owe Knight's oath was Lian. That was the moment the first emperor of the empire swore to. Empress Alika. That was the era of the France emperor and empress. In an age of turmoil and war, the empress wore Owe white dress. To pray for the emperor's safe return, the smoke of the battlefield cleared away. The ceremonial gown was stained red with blood. Only the empress's gloves remained pure white. Wearing those blood-stained clothes, she offered the flowers from the altar to the emperor. Olivia stroked her red dress. According to ancient custom, there is no more perfect recreation than this attire. I am grateful for the guidance of the crown prince and the princess, which allowed me to accept the oath with proper etiquette. Leopold froze in place. His pupils contracted. As he stared at the woman in the red dress before him, the princess stood in the back, the bouquet in her hand trembling slightly. Oh, Lady-in-waiting covered her face and cried out, but those flowers? Olivia tilted her head, her hair sliding over her shoulder with the movement. I would not dare offer wilted flowers to the noble Grand Duke. Olivia's long hair fluttered. So I offer this jewel, as Owe, symbol of my heart. Olivia closed her eyes. Owe, faint smile on the corners of her mouth. Olivia. Madeline gladly accepts the Grand Duke's honor. Olivia reached out her hand, her fingertips touching the long sword Edwin held out. Edwin looked up, his eyes slightly trembling as he gazed at the woman before him. Edwin stood up, his leather boots stepping heavily on the red carpet, making a dull thud. Edwin's balance was unsteady as he rose, his body leaning forward. He fell into Olivia's embrace, her hands tightly encircling his waist. Edwin buried his head in the crook of her neck. Please forgive me, my lady. I knelt for too long, and my legs have gone numb. Olivia lowered her gaze, the corners of her mouth curving slightly. I heard you were an excellent knight. I didn't expect your legs to be more delicate than imagined. Edwin turned his face, his nose brushing against her hair. That is indeed the case. You are always able to save me when I am fragile. Isn't that so? When I almost fell, and when I was in trouble on the streets, you saved me both times. Edwin took Owe a half-step back. He elegantly extended his right hand, palm facing upward. Since you have already saved me so many times, could you save me once more? Please grant me the honor of the first dance with you? Olivia tilted her head. Can someone whose legs are numb really dance immediately? Olivia raised her hand and placed her fingertips on Edwin's palm. Edwin tightened his grip on her hand. I already feel much better, but I should warn you first. I am not very good at dancing. I do not mind. Edwin pressed his hand to his chest, the corners of his mouth turning up. I am good at anything involving physical action, so this time, I can finally be of help to you. Olivia showed Oe's smile, her eyes softening. Leopold strode toward them, his leather boots treading on the stone tiles, making Oe heavy sound. Congratulations, Olivia. Olivia's pupils shrank suddenly, the smile freezing on her face. Leopold stopped in front of the two. My fiancé has finally received the honor of the Empire's greatest knight. Leopold looked down at Olivia, his gaze icy. So, Olivia has received the first oath of her life. How does it feel? Whenever things spin out of his control, he wears that kind of smile. That is the signal Leopold habitually uses to urge me to hurry up and please him. Olivia withdrew her gaze, then looked back at Leopold. Edwin stood to the side, his profile appearing cold and sharp under the lights. Olivia took a step forward. She reached out to take Edwin's arm. Her fingertips rested lightly on the dark blue uniform. Edwin looked down at her hand. His eyes flickered slightly. Leopold stood in the shadows, watching the backs of the two as they walked away. His fingers tightly gripped the hilt of the sword at his waist. How dare you? How dare you refuse me? You used to always cling to me. Desperate for Oe's sliver of my attention, now you won't even give me Oe glance? Leopold looked around. The whispers of the crowd echoed in the hall. Are you going to refuse me too? Edwin turned sideways. Your Highness, if you have nothing else, move aside. I am about to have the first dance with the lady who accepted my oath. The corners of Leopold's mouth rose, but his gaze grew increasingly cold. Since my fiancé has already accepted the first oath, Duke, I believe her first dance should rightfully be with me. Leopold extended his right hand, palm facing upward. Liv, come with me. Olivia froze in place. Her pupils trembled slightly. This nickname, since Mother passed away, no one has ever called me that again. Leopold gazed at her. His tone was certain. You have always wanted to have the first dance with me, haven't you? Olivia lifted her face. Looking at Leopold's arrogant posture, he was acting out of charity, as if he were granting some kind of favor. This tone is truly nauseating. Olivia's vision blurred. Memories returned to the debutante ball years ago. Leopold was holding another woman, twirling in the middle of the dance floor. I wasn't even allowed to attend my own ball. At that ball, I could only hide behind Oe pillar and peek. Watching him give the first dance that should have been mine to someone else, Olivia stared at Leopold. The corners of her mouth turned up slightly. I have finally waited for this moment. Leopold maintained his reaching posture. Oe's confident smile was on his face, waiting for that hand to be placed in his. Olivia's lips parted slightly. Her voice echoed through the hall. Your Highness, this banquet was held to honor the war heroes. Therefore, I shall have the first dance with the Duke. Olivia lifted her skirt. She gave him a formal bow. Ah, right. Olivia looked Leopold straight in the eye. Mockery showed in her gaze. Your Highness, why don't you go to Miss F to spend this wonderful first dance? Leopold suddenly grit his teeth. Veins bulged at his temples. Watching Olivia turn and walk away, his hands were clenched into tight fists at his sides. Olivia lowered her eyelids. Her fingertips tightly gripped the fabric at her chest. That was the first time I chose to believe Leopold. Could it be that was a mistake? Edwin looked down at Olivia, pointing to the longsword in her hand. Is it not heavy? The sword looks very weighty. Do you want me to hold it for a while? Olivia was stunned for a moment. She looked up at Edwin. It isn't heavy, but please help me hold it. Edwin reached out and took the longsword. He casually tossed it backward. An attendant jumped up with a cry, waving his arms wildly in the air. His arms barely caught the heavy iron weapon. Hey, you can't just throw it like that. Edwin ignored the complaints behind him. He looked down at Olivia. The musicians began to play the violin. The bow jumped across the strings. The dance music flowed through the hall. Edwin put his arm around Olivia's waist, leading her into the center of the dance floor. Why are you so nervous? The way you are shaking right now, even more so than when I swore an oath to you. Olivia avoided his gaze, staring at the red carpet. Is there anything more terrifying than my finger dance? Edwin stopped in his tracks. He looked down at Olivia in his arms. Is this your finger dance? Olivia remained silent, only nodding softly. Edwin leaned close to her ear. The corners of his mouth quirked up. What? Oh, a coincidence? This is my first time too. Olivia suddenly looked up, gazing into Edwin's red eyes. Then that truly is terrible. Edwin tightened his grip on her hand. Don't worry, I've practiced for a long time. I guarantee I won't step on your feet. Edwin led her an OA spin. Besides, with those high heels you're wearing, even if you step on my toes, I won't feel OA thing. Olivia was stunned. What? Edwin gazed into her eyes. Even if my feet are crushed, I will never let go of your hand. Edwin put his arm around Olivia's waist, lightly spinning in the dance floor. Since it's the first time, you have to take responsibility for me until the end. Olivia looked up at him. But you just said it's clearly your first time dancing. Edwin's lips curled up. I told you before, I'm very good at anything involving physical coordination. Olivia moved along with his steps. The hem of her skirt traced an arc in the air. I didn't expect you to dance so well. Edwin lowered his head close to her face. Why? Did I dance better than you expected? Did that disappoint you? Olivia avoided his gaze. It's not disappointment. I'm just OA, little surprised. Olivia stole OA glance at the man before her. This man, is he really the cold-blooded murderer from the rumors? The Duke of Vikander. He looks so casual, even with OA hint of playfulness. And then, Edwin suddenly exerted himself, leading Olivia through OA wide-spanning rotation. Silver hair flew through the air. Their gazes met under the lights. Edwin leaned close to Olivia's ear, asking in OA low voice, "What are you thinking about? You're so lost in thought." Olivia lowered her eyelids, avoiding that burning gaze. I was just thinking that I just received an extremely precious gift. Edwin stared at her profile, the corners of his mouth curled up. To see the gift being so cherished, as the one who gave it, I feel very gratified. Olivia suddenly looked up and stared directly into Edwin's red eyes. I was referring to the sword named Edwin's smile faded. That's truly OA pity. Olivia looked around. The guests were whispering in the shadows. Those malicious gazes are all focused on us right now. Olivia, that Madeline girl, the green-eyed girl who is always the subject of everyone's gossip. Now, that Duke actually offered me OA knightly oath. Olivia gazed at Edwin. Ripples stirred in her heart. Is all this really not OA dream? From today on, every single piece of gossip will mention him. I've always kept my distance from Azella to avoid becoming OA burden to anyone. Yet here I am smiling like, oh, a fool. Olivia stared at Edwin. If you're willing, you can take it back. Edwin stopped his steps. Take what back? Olivia fell silent. Edwin lowered his head close to her face. To be honest, I didn't originally intend to offer you my oath. I came here with my own plans. Olivia's shoulders trembled slightly. It's all right. Olivia, no matter what he is about to say next, do not let it show. Edwin stared into Olivia's green eyes. Just as I was preparing to hand the sword to you, OA thought flashed through my mind. I wanted to give you the most precious thing of all. This sword is indeed priceless, but it is not the most precious. Olivia held her breath. Since that is the case, what other choice do I have? Edwin leaned in close to Olivia. His fingertips lightly brushed the back of her hand. I must offer myself as OA gift to my lady. Olivia gripped the red fabric at her chest. Her fingertips trembled slightly. Her breathing quickened. How can he say such things so easily? I have never felt this way before. Leopold blocked the way. OA's shadow loomed over Olivia as he spoke. You seem to be having OA, lot of fun. Olivia stopped in her tracks. She looked up to stare at Leopold. Blue eyes. Yes, Your Highness. Leopold's expression was grim. His gaze was cold and stern. He stared intently at the woman before him. Olivia. Only OA's slight curve appeared on Leopold's lips. Are you having fun too, Your Highness? Edwin watched the dance floor. His red pupils locked onto the figure in the distance. An attendant entered carrying OA longsword. Your Grace, I have brought Alarut. Why is the waltz timed? The attendant froze in place, making OA confused sound. What did you say? Isn't it meant for exchanging partners while dancing? What was that just now? You were supposed to swear your knightly oath to Her Highness. You said you would bow your head once more for the white crystal mine. Edwin looked back at the dance floor. But why do they have to exchange partners? Edwin stared at the dance floor. His red pupils locked onto the figure in the distance. The attendant entered carrying the longsword, making OA confused sound. Your Grace, what about the mine? What exactly are you looking at right now? Oh heavens, that plan is completely ruined. The plan to please the princess for the sake of the white crystal mine? The attendant covered his forehead, showing OA troubled expression. The Duke would never act without OA strategy. You must have another plan, right? Leopold pulled Olivia close. Moving his steps mechanically across the dance floor, Olivia leaned against his shoulder. Smelling the scent of cigars, Leopold stared into the distance. His voice carried no warmth. You should thank Maria. If she hadn't worked so hard to appease me, I really would have lost my temper just now. Olivia lowered her gaze. Oh, a trace of OA's smile flickered at the corner of her mouth. That is only natural. Leopold pulled Olivia close. They twirled in the center of the dance floor. The hem of her red dress swayed with the movement. The tips of his boots glided across the red carpet. Olivia stared intently at Leopold's shoulder. Her breathing became labored. "Oh-a." Thin layer of sweat broke out on her forehead. "The rhythm is too fast. I can't keep up." Leopold exerted force with his hand, steadying Olivia's swaying body. "Since you are clumsy, can you at least try to act, a bit more elegant?" Olivia lowered her head, letting her long hair cover her profile. "This was my first dance with Leopold. Oh, a moment I once dreamed of. But this is completely different from what I imagined. I once dreamed of standing in the center of a magnificent dance floor, becoming the focus of everyone's attention. I used to dream of meeting his gaze and showing a gentle smile." Leopold looked down with an expressionless face. His eyes were cold. Sparse applause rang out in the hall. Guests stood in the shadows watching. Leopold and Olivia stood facing each other, separated by a distance. Olivia turned and walked away. Her red cloak traced an arc in the air. Her silver-white long hair rose with the wind. Leopold leaned in close, smiling at Maria beside him. Olivia stood at a distance, watching. Olivia walked back to the resting area, sitting on a red velvet bench, with her hands folded over her knees. Her back was held perfectly straight. Gazing out at the empty hall. "Congratulations on completing the first dance, princess." Olivia turned her face slightly. Maria unfurled a pink folding fan. Covering half of her face, Olivia stared at the blonde woman before her, softly reciting the other's name. "Miss Maria Etter." Olivia sat on the red bench, bowing her head slightly in greeting. "Thank you, miss, for coming specifically to congratulate me on my dance. That is very thoughtful of you." Maria smoothed out her puffy pink skirt. "But of course, you are the crown prince's fiancé. I ought to give you my highest attention." Maria suddenly leaned in close, sniffing at Olivia's shoulder, letting out an exclamation of surprise. "Please forgive me, Your Highness. I smell a certain scent. Were you just at the terrace?" Olivia raised her right hand, her fingertips pressed against her lips. Her green pupils trembled in the shadows. "Why is she mentioning the terrace to me? That place rumored to be a secret spot for lovers' trysts. To mention that place to me, of all people?" Maria rested her fingertip against her chin. "As you know, the crown prince always insists on smoking this particular kind of cigar. But seeing him cough, I suspect his lungs are quite weak. Or perhaps he is simply not used to the smell of cigars." Olivia sat in silence. Her silver-white long hair fell over her red dress. Her hands remained folded on her knees. Without saying a single word, Olivia gazed at Maria. Her pale face, her shimmering blue eyes, and that dazzling long golden hair, everything about her was so beautiful. As if she had been raised in pure love, Maria leaned toward Olivia, tilting her head and softly calling princess. "She is completely different from me. His Highness, the Crown Prince, usually does not smoke cigars in front of me either. You are truly lucky. My lady, you must be very resilient." Maria froze in place. Her pupils contracted in shock. Olivia turned her head, with a curve at the corner of her mouth. "Do you want to become Leopold's mistress? In the France Empire, polygamy is not recognized." Olivia lowered her eyelids. A cold light flashed in her green eyes. "So the highest position you can achieve is nothing more than the Countess of Roel." Maria's face turned deathly pale. Her lips trembled slightly. "For a young lady who wishes to become a royal mistress, there are only two paths to take. Either maintain the status quo and remain a lady of the social circles, or marry someone of equal status and serve informally as his mistress in secret." Olivia tilted her head slightly. "The Countess of Rolls has been dead for 30 years, so there just happens to be a vacancy now." Maria stood up abruptly, her pupils trembling with rage. "How can you say such things to me?" Olivia remained seated, looking up directly into Maria's eyes. "If you don't intend to be a mistress, why do you keep showing off to me your relationship with the Crown Prince? Flaunting these things to his legitimate fiancé. Just what are you thinking?" Maria suddenly took a sharp breath. Her eyes quickly turned red. Maria clenched her teeth. Tears welled in the corners of her eyes. She turned sharply and rushed toward the door. Messy footsteps echoed in the corridor. Olivia sat alone on the bench. She watched the direction in which Maria had left. Her expression showed no fluctuation. A group of noble young ladies gathered around. They bowed their heads one after another to the figure on the bench. "Your Highness?" They crowded around Olivia. Their voices rose and fell. "Your first and second dances were both too perfect. Although you said it was your first time dancing, but your movements were truly very elegant." A brown-haired girl looked around. "But where did Miss Etter go?" Olivia sat in silence. The noble girls crowded closer, chirping with persistent questions. "Quickly tell us, Your Highness, why was Miss Etter so angry? Did you know the Grand Duke before? Why hasn't His Royal Highness the Crown Prince shown up at all tonight?" Olivia stood up. The red hem of her skirt traced an arc on the floor. As you have seen, many things happened tonight. I shall take my leave now. Olivia walked through the long corridor. Her high heels tapped on the marble. The floor made a crisp sound. Azella appeared in her memory. Sister, you would definitely look good in bright colors. I'll lend this to you? When the ball is over, you must tell me everything. Olivia stopped walking. I still have to return the hairpin to Azella. It seems he has already left. I didn't see him anywhere. The victory banquet will last for a whole week. There should still be a chance to see him again. Olivia pushed open the heavy wooden door. I didn't see Jed in the Knight's Order just now either. It would be nice if I could talk to him. Where on earth did he go? Olivia suddenly turned her head. She stared at the figure on the terrace. Jed? When did you come back? I have been waiting for you. Jed stood in the shadows, looking down at Olivia below. Olivia, what exactly is your relationship with that madman? I don't understand what you are saying. Jed turned around abruptly. The Grand Duke, at the banquet, publicly offered his loyalty to you. Explain it to me right now. How could such a ridiculous thing happen? Olivia reached out her right hand. Her fingertips hung in midair. After being separated for a year and a half? Is this actually the first thing you say to me? Were you not injured in the war? Why did you never reply to my letters? Why did you return all the supplies I sent? Jed raised his hand and pressed it to his forehead. That was just a piece of fake news. Right. I knew it. Who would swear loyalty to someone like you? Especially that Grand Duke? Olivia interrupted him. Her voice echoed in the corridor. It is true. Olivia looked straight ahead. The Grand Duke indeed took an oath to me. If you don't believe it, you can ask Conrad when he returns. He saw it very clearly. Jed's eyes suddenly widened. His gray pupils trembled violently. Do you even know what that means? You absolute fool. Olivia lowered her head in silence. Oh, a teardrop slid down her chin. It hit the ground silently. Jed froze in place. His extended right hand hung in midair. Crying, Olivia looked up. Her green pupils regained their calm. I am already an adult. I have also completed my socialite debut. I have the right to accept such an oath. Olivia stepped forward. Her high heels stepped on the stone floor, emitting a dull thud. So why are you making such a face? He looked at Olivia. His body unconsciously took a step back. His right hand clenched tightly. His knuckles turned white from the force. Olivia took a step forward. Why do you speak? As if no one will ever swear loyalty to me. Jed clenched his teeth. A faint grinding sound came from his teeth. His gaze fell upon Olivia's hand. Did the Grand Duke of Hyperion give you that glove? Don't tell me it really was him? Yes. Jed's gray pupils contracted violently. His breathing became heavy. Did you two know each other before today? Olivia tilted her head slightly. Her long, silvery white hair fell over her shoulders. Yes. Jed suddenly swung his arm. His right hand slammed heavily against his side. You are an absolute fool. Long ago there were two princesses, the Amethyst Princess and the Emerald Princess. They also had an outstanding older brother. But later, Jed stood in the dim courtyard. Was it because of you? Was it because of you that Mother died? Olivia stopped in front of a massive portrait, staring at the family that once was within the frame. Welcome home, Jed. Lena walked quickly down the stairs. Her white high heels stepped hard into the flower bed, crushing the delicate petals. Lena bit her thumb knuckle. Her blue pupils contracted with rage. Edwin Lowell Vike. How dare he humiliate me like this? Enough. A voice came from deep within the hall. Lena stopped her movements. She turned her head toward the source of the voice. The Empress of the France Empire sat at the long table. Her red gown billowed under the lights. She put down the teacup in her hand. The porcelain made a crisp clinking sound. Show etiquette befitting a princess. But Mother? Lena stood up abruptly. Her light-colored long hair swayed violently with the movement. Her blue pupils dilated with anger. Olivia. That Madeline girl? She dared to steal the opening dance. And my brother. And even that Grand Duke? That position should only belong to me. The Empress stood up. Indeed. My princess. That position rightfully belongs to you. The Empress approached Lena. Her right hand caressed the other's cheek. You possess the noblest bloodline. You are more dazzling than anyone. The Empress leaned toward Lena's ear. You must know how to turn him into a puppet. And you surely know how to punish such insolent behavior. Should we make unreasonable demands like last time, or send him to complete an impossible task? Cold light shone from Lena's blue pupils. That Miss Madeline is always begging me to give her tasks to prove she is worthy of the position of crown princess. Perhaps now she is desperately clinging to Duke Madeline, even humbly craving trivial chores. After all, to atone for the sin of killing the Duchess, it is only right that she does whatever is asked. Sadly, the only legitimate daughter of the Madeline family still knows nothing of the truth, and is even defending her sister. It is truly, Lena stared at the wreckage on the ground, the corners of her mouth curled upward. How pathetic. Mother. The Empress watched the scene. Her golden pupils contracted slightly. The quill moved rapidly across the parchment. The nib made a scratching sound. Miss Madeline, we cordially invite you, looking forward to your participation. Messy ink stains were left at the signature. Sunlight spilled onto the fountain square. Water splashed into the air. Two noblewomen stopped walking. Her hair floated gently in the breeze. Oh my, princess. One woman leaned in close. Her eyes fell upon the other's neck. You are truly radiant today. Is that necklace a gift from Prince Wilton? The other woman clasped her hands together. Her body leaned forward slightly. It suits you perfectly. Lena raised her right hand. Her fingertips brushed against the jewelry on her neck. Is that so? I am glad to see everyone is having a good time. It seems, except for one person. Because of your weak constitution, you missed the previous tea party. It is your first time attending a formal gathering. Are you feeling nervous? Please do not be anxious. Lena took a step forward. Her golden gown swept across the lawn. Her high heels stepped on the stone path, making a crisp clicking sound. Approaching step by step, Olivia stopped behind the young lady of House Madeline. Lena tilted her head slightly. Her gaze was ice cold. Or do you feel my tea party is not up to your standards? Sally raised her right fist high. Her knuckles tightened with force. No matter what happens today, I will protect you. My lady. Olivia turned her face. Her green eyes looked at Sally. There is no need for that. Sally suddenly leaned forward. Her brown twin tails swayed with the movement. She pressed her right hand against her chest. I am serious. My lady, you might not have seen it. After the oath-taking ceremony ended yesterday, Sally waved her arms while gesturing. The front and back gates of the estate were crowded with reporters. Olivia closed her eyes. A faint smile touched the corners of her mouth. My lady, we have arrived at the jewelry store. Let's go inside. Sally spread her arms. Blocking the way in front, she shouted, sharp rebuke. Hey, get out of the way. Do not block the road. Olivia stepped down from the carriage. Standing behind Sally, she looked at the empty street. Sally froze in place. Her hands stiffened in midair. Her round brown eyes widened in confusion. What? Olivia opened her green eyes. She looked forward with a calm expression. See, what did I tell you? So, what are you going to do at the jewelry store? I was so busy blocking the reporters that I even forgot to ask why you were going out? Olivia turned her face. Oh, a smile showed in her green eyes. I plan to return this piece of jewelry and exchange it for something that matches me better. Don't you think that would be better? Sally was stunned. The copper bell above the shop door swayed, making a crisp clinking sound. Olivia pushed the door open and entered. Her hands were clasped in front of her. Her green eyes surveyed the shop. Madam, please bring out your finest jewelry. The jeweler stood behind the counter, resting both hands on the table, looking at the scattered jewelry boxes on the table. How is this possible? To think not a single piece could catch this lady's eye. The jeweler gritted her teeth. Sweat broke out on her forehead. I really should fire the person in charge of imports. Olivia waved her hand. It is all right, madam. It is just that I am quite picky today. Since I am already here, I will take another look around. Olivia stopped her pace. Her gaze locked onto the depths of the counter. A red gemstone was set in the center of a ring. Lying quietly in a velvet box, Edwin stood behind Olivia. His short black hair covered his forehead. My lady, has this piece of jewelry caught your eye? It is indeed very beautiful. But looking at this design, is it not? Proposal ring? Edwin took a step forward. His long black boots stepped on the wooden floor. He stopped beside Olivia. Since this ring belongs to you? The corners of Edwin's mouth curled up slightly. He let out a soft chuckle. How do you know about this? Olivia froze in place. Her lips were slightly parted. The jeweler stared at the man. Her expression was hesitant. My lady, who is that person? Olivia stepped in front of the man. He is someone I know. It's all right. Do not worry. More importantly, the tea has gone cold. Could I trouble you to change it for a fresh pot of hot tea? The jeweler nodded repeatedly, turning to walk toward the back hall. Of course. Right away? Olivia lowered her eyelids, pressing her right hand against her chest. What on earth should I do now? If I keep accepting his help like this, will I keep getting myself into trouble? Olivia suddenly looked up. Her green pupils constricted. This is too ridiculous. Your Grace, what are you thinking? Coming to a jewelry store without any guards? What if people start spreading rumors? Olivia's green eyes widened. Her breathing hitched. Olivia lifted her skirt with both hands, curtsying slightly in a formal bow. Her straight silver-white hair fell over her green dress. Please forgive my late greeting. Olivia. Madeline offers her regards. Your Grace. Edwin looked down at the bowing girl. His gaze was stern beneath his short black hair. That isn't necessary. Olivia maintained her curtsy. Her straight silver-white hair fell over her green dress. This is basic etiquette. Edwin took a step forward. I want to give the woman who accepted my oath something that goes beyond etiquette. Do you not want it? If you are willing, I can call you by your first name. Olivia suddenly straightened her posture. More importantly, what did you mean by what you just said? Olivia pointed to the ring in the display case. You said this ring belongs to me? What exactly do you mean? Besides, this is clearly an engagement ring. Edwin pulled at the edges of his cloak with both hands. The corners of his mouth curved upward. Exactly. I knew you would pick it at a glance. Edwin turned his body, revealing the magnificent formal attire under his cloak. That is a family heirloom. I left it here at the shop until the right time to show it to you. Olivia stood stunned before the counter, staring at Edwin's back. Her green pupils trembled violently. This is impossible. Olivia tightly gripped the front of her dress with her right hand. Her straight silver-white hair fell over her green dress. No, Olivia, don't get ahead of yourself. Joking casually like this, you have no idea who might get dragged into a quagmire because of it. Just yesterday, the Emperor even intended to betroth the princess to him. Edwin Lowell Vikander is a war hero, and he is a man of immense wealth. What if that is exactly what I am looking forward to? Olivia froze in place. Her green pupils dilated in shock. Being with me? Edwin tilted his head back slightly, sweeping his gaze to the side. His red pupils flickered in the shadows. Olivia held her breath. Strands of hair swayed against her cheeks. Her heart pounded violently, making a heavy thudding sound. Olivia's lips parted slightly. Sweat trickled down from her temples. You should know. I am the Crown Prince's fiancé. Edwin sat on the sofa. A smile appeared beneath his short black hair. His red eyes narrowed slightly. He let out a soft chuckle. I knew this wouldn't be easy. Olivia quickly stepped forward. Anxiety filled her green eyes. Your Grace. Are you feeling unwell? Edwin leaned back in his chair. He stared at the ceiling. Haha, I am doing just fine. Except for my heart. Olivia froze in place. Her green eyes were filled with confusion. What? You truly are the Sanxes of the France Empire? I heard you cherish your eldest daughter very much. And now, even before your second daughter's debut, you have started looking after her personally. You are truly too kind. Lena turned her face away. A soft light shone in her eyes. The corners of her mouth turned up slightly. What are you talking about? My sister looks beautiful in anything she wears. Lately, she has even been managing the duchy's budget. She is also helping out at the Imperial Palace. She is an amazing sister. You were talking incessantly just now, but now you've suddenly gone quiet. Isella turned her body. Her brown eyes looked toward Lena. My lady? Regarding the banquet details you mentioned in the invitation, Isella lowered her head. Her purple eyes trembled slightly. In order to hear about this, I even snuck out behind my father's back about what happened at the ball last night. Sister never mentioned a single word to me. Lena raised her hand. Her fingertips lightly touched her chin. So, did you come all this way, my lady? Just to confirm the oath from last night. Isella snapped her head up. Her round purple eyes widened. Yes, fortunately, the princess said she would help me. I only heard that the Grand Duke made an oath to my sister. It seems the relationship between you and your sister is truly close. Isella sat at the end of the long table. Her round purple eyes stared forward. Of course she is my only sister. Oh my, Isella widened her round purple eyes. Her pupils trembled slightly. Whispers rose one after another. Goodness, she really is hiding a pair of green eyes. Isn't that right? What on earth was the Duke thinking? To actually bring someone like that back? Poor Lady Isella. Just imagine, she actually has to call someone like that sister. Isella lowered her head to avoid their gaze. Her purple eyes trembled. I am not feeling very well. I shall take my leave now. Lena turned her face. You are truly too kind. My lady, did you inherit this personality from your mother? Isella's body stiffened. Her round purple eyes lost their light. Lena leaned in close to Isella's side. If it were me, I would never call that dancer's daughter sister. That murderer who killed my mother, don't you know about it? Isella froze in place. Her round purple eyes contracted with extreme fear. The fact that I came to see you is a secret from everyone else in the family. But I will show you. Isella, I will only show it to you. Young Isella stood in the light and shadow. Her hands were tightly clasped in front of her chest. Her round purple eyes were wide open. Her lips were slightly parted. Dark shadows of hands approached from both sides. This is something the entire empire knows. The truth behind how your mother died. Tears fell from the corners of Isella's eyes. Her purple eyes shook violently. It was all because of that green-eyed girl. Sunlight shone on the magnificent stone building. By the way, Edwin sat indoors flipping through OA Red Book. What wind blew you here? Olivia showed her profile. I came here to choose OA gift for your grace. Edwin suddenly slammed the book in his hand shut. His red eyes contracted slightly. OA gift for me. Actually, the gemstone brooch I gave you yesterday was my younger sister's possession. Edwin sat on the sofa with his head lowered. His hands were propped on his knees. Shadows loomed over his short black hair. So, do you want to take the gift back now? Olivia raised her right hand and lightly touched her cheek. Oh, a soft smile shone in her golden eyes. I was originally going to say that, but I have prepared another gift. Edwin turned his head away petulantly. It would have been better if I had prepared properly from the start, but the situation at the time was not very ideal. Edwin closed the red book in his hand. Beneath his short black hair, his red eyes were stern. I did not mean to embarrass you. Edwin pressed his right hand onto the book cover, making OA dull thud. As compensation, Olivia's green eyes widened. OA seamstress pushed open the door and entered. Were you calling for me? Salutations to the great Grand Duke. Edwin stood sideways. I believe someone as sharp as you surely knows how to remain silent. I want her to try on this dress. The seamstress pushed up her glasses and bowed her head. Yes, I will have it ready immediately. Olivia suddenly looked up. Her straight silver-white hair swayed with her movement. Her green eyes were filled with shock. I don't think that kind of thing suits me. The seamstress tightened the lace at the neck, her fingertips brushing through the silver-white hair. Oh my, I knew this would suit you perfectly. Olivia looked down at the ruby on her chest. Her straight silver-white hair was scattered over her shoulders. Her green eyes revealed a trace of melancholy. What do you think? Your Grace? Olivia widened her green eyes. Her gaze froze in the air. Didn't I tell you? Bright colors really don't suit you. Edwin took a step forward. His leather boots stepped on the floor, making a heavy sound. It seems Edwin stopped in the light. His red eyes stared forward. It's even better than I expected. Olivia raised her head. Her straight silver-white hair swayed with her movement. Her green eyes reflected the other person's figure. It really suits you. Edwin reached out his right hand, his fingertips gently lifting Oa's strand of silver-white hair. The hair slid between his fingers. Edwin leaned in close, his fingertips lightly lifting a strand of silver-white hair. Dark and light colors intertwined. It really suits you. As promised, the jewel pin will be delivered later today. Olivia stopped her footsteps. She turned her face. Her green eyes flickered in the shadows. Your Grace, there is one thing I must tell you. Olivia looked directly at Edwin in front of her. If your kindness is merely because of that proposal, then it is really not necessary. Am I being kind to you right now? You are being far too kind to me. Those compliments leave me at a loss. And those gentle eyes, those thoughtful actions, as well as this expensive gift. Olivia sat opposite Edwin. I am truly grateful. Is it only because of those things? Edwin raised his head, the corners of his mouth turning up slightly. In that case, I intend to be even kinder to you. Olivia widened her green eyes. Her straight silver-white hair swayed with her movement. Why? Edwin gazed at Olivia opposite him. Actually, I have been holding back all this time. So as not to make you feel burdened, I am trying my best to approach you without frightening you. Olivia held her breath. Her green eyes trembled slightly. As she gazed at Edwin's face, Edwin raised his hand to his chin. Beneath his short black hair, his red eyes flickered. So, please, do not ask me to stop being kind to you. Olivia averted her gaze. Her straight silver-white hair fell down. I understand. The carriage driver gave a low reminder from outside. Your Grace, we have arrived. Edwin adjusted his cuffs. Good times always pass too quickly. Edwin placed a long silver box on the table. Olivia looked down at the box. Her green eyes showed confusion. What is this? Open it and see. Olivia reached out and opened the lid of the box. The metal clasp snapped open. Oh, a pearl necklace inlaid with rubies lay on the velvet cushion. Edwin raised his index finger to his lips. His red eyes showed a hint of a smile. This is a gift for your younger sister. I want to leave a good impression on the people you care about. The coachman carried the gift boxes toward the mansion. Olivia stood before the main gate, watching the carriage drive away. Her straight silver-white hair swayed in the night. Olivia held the jewelry box. Her golden eyes shone with a soft light. The corners of her mouth curled up slightly. Will Isella like it? Olivia stopped at the corner of the corridor. Her golden eyes stared ahead. 3 maids gathered together, whispering in low voices. Their eyes flickered in the shadows. Miss Isella is looking for you. Olivia quickened her pace. Her high heels clicked against the stone floor, making a hurried sound. Since she is calling for me, I must go over immediately. Olivia burst through the door. Her straight silver-white hair flew wildly with her movement. Her green eyes contracted in panic. Estella, what's wrong with you? Olivia froze in place. Her pupils trembled violently. Staring straight ahead, Estella sat slumped in the moonlight by the window. Her hands tightly gripped her nightgown. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Sister, is it true? Estella raised her head. Her purple eyes looked directly at Olivia. Did Mother die because of you? Olivia froze in place. Her green eyes contracted in shock. "Owe," broken sound escaped from her throat. Olivia stepped forward quickly. Her green skirt dragged across the floor. She reached out, wanting to touch the slumped girl. "Please, let me explain. Don't touch me. You're disgusting." Olivia withdrew her trembling hand. Looking at the wound on her fingertip, her green eyes lost their focus. Estella pushed herself up from the floor. Her long silver-white hair hung down messily. Her round purple eyes brimmed with tears. So those words were all true. All people with green eyes are liars. Estella pointed at Olivia and shouted, "You are no different. Don't act like you care. How could you do this to me? This is all your fault. Mother's sudden disappearance is all because of you." Olivia looked down at the ground. The scattered pearl necklace entered her green pupils. To think she said those kinds of things. To think Estella would speak like that. Olivia's body swayed violently. "Owe," broken cry came from her throat. Estella maid rushed forward. Supporting her swaying body, "Miss, please pull yourself together." Olivia curled up beneath the family portrait. The Duke kicked open the door and burst into the room. He let out an angry roar. "Where's Olivia stood holding onto the doorframe. Her straight silver-white hair fell over her green dress. Her green eyes lost their focus. She called out tremblingly, "Father, you couldn't even manage the one thing I asked of you. You actually let Estella find out the truth." The Duke turned away. The candlelight reflected his cold profile. "That unfortunate curse has finally tainted her too. If I could, I would truly want to erase you from my life entirely." Jed rushed up the stairs. His eyes were full of fury. "Hey, Olivia! You?" Conrad raised his hand to stop Jed. "Enough. Estella is the priority right now. Where is the doctor?" Olivia was left alone in the dark corridor. Her back turned to the people walking away. Her green skirt remained silent in the shadows. Olivia slowly raised her head. She gazed at the massive family portrait on the wall. Olivia looked up. Her green pupils were brimming with tears. Yet the corners of her mouth curled into Owe's stiff arc, revealing Owe's distorted smile. Night enveloped the entire mansion. The empty hall was deathly silent. Moonlight shone diagonally across the cold marble floor. The attendant looked in shock at the young girl appearing ahead. "Olivia, my lady, did she actually walk all the way here from the estate?" Olivia stood before the manor gates. Her long silver-white hair drifted in the night wind. Her hands were folded over her green skirt. Edwin bowed and asked the young lady, "Did you come out specifically to welcome me?" Edwin held Owe blue jewelry box. His short black hair shimmered with Owe cold light under the moon. Owe's smile flickered in his red eyes. "Just as I promised. Aside from that diamond hairpin, there is almost nothing I cannot do for you." Edwin's smile faded. He gazed at the girl before him. "Good evening, Your Grace." Edwin watched her movements. His gaze fell upon her trembling fingers. "That look in your eyes? And what is wrong with your hands?" Olivia lowered her arms. "My expression?" Edwin took Owe a step forward. His red pupils locked onto her eyes. "Yes, it feels as though something has happened. Something did happen indeed." "Lord Edwin," Olivia slowly raised her head to gaze into the eyes of the man before her. "To what extent are you willing to go for me?" Edwin stood his ground. His red eyes beneath short black hair were deep. The corners of his mouth turned up slightly. "I am afraid there are very few things in this world that I cannot do for you." Olivia reached out and gripped his sleeve tightly. Her fingertips turned white from the force. "Then, please help me." Olivia stood before the moonlit manor. Her straight silver-white hair looked pale in the night. Her green eyes were filled with tears. Yet Owe's broken smile hung on her lips. "I have nowhere else to go." The gloomy mansion stood under the night sky. Its spires pierced the starlight. Tree shadows writhed against the walls. Olivia lay flat on her bed, her long silver-white hair spread out like water grass. She let her tears fall silently. Edwin held Owe's letter between his fingertips. His gaze swept over the handwriting. It was the farewell Olivia had left behind. She had already headed to the Imperial Palace at dawn. Owe's maid stood in the center of the study to report. "The young lady has already left." Edwin responded in Owe's low voice. "I see." Edwin sat on the windowsill. His short black hair was outlined by the sunlight. His red eyes watched the paper in his hand. The corners of his mouth curled into an arc. "Her handwriting is as beautiful as ever." The maids gathered in Owe's corner of the courtyard, exchanging news from the morning in hushed voices. She arrived in Owe's carriage without Owe's family crest. There were still traces of crying on her face. She didn't even bring Owe's single piece of luggage. What on earth is Her Majesty the Empress thinking? To actually hand over this palace to OA, girl of impure blood? Olivia sat before the dressing mirror. Her straight silver-white hair fell over her green gown. Her green eyes watched her pale reflection in the mirror. Her fingertips lightly touched the pearl necklace at her neck. Perhaps it is OA mercy that the rumors haven't reached here yet. Baroness? The Baroness suddenly stiffened. Her long brown hair was tied back. Her hands were uneasy. As she folded them across her chest, yes. Do you have any instructions? Olivia watched the reflection in the mirror. OA's scrutinizing look appeared in her green eyes. Do I look like I've been crying? The Baroness stammered. Well then, do my makeup for me. Today, Black Boots stepped onto the red carpet, making OA dull, thudding sound. Her footsteps stopped within the magnificent hall. Today is Wednesday. It is the day I have an audience with the Crown Prince. Leopold stood in the center of the great hall. His short golden hair was neatly combed to the side. OA cold sternness emanated from his blue pupils. He was dressed in OA dark military uniform adorned with gold thread. Leopold turned his face slightly. Oh, a hint of OA smile appeared in his blue eyes. He allowed Maria, who was beside him, to take his arm. I should get prepared. Shouldn't I? Olivia stood before the cabinet. Her straight silver-white hair fell over her purple dress. Her green eyes scanned the empty shelves. My teapot is missing. The Baroness stopped what she was doing. Her gaze flickered uneasily between the cabinets. Olivia turned her face slightly. Does the madam know which one that was? That is OA teapot used only on Wednesdays, for when His Royal Highness the Crown Prince visits the palace. There are only 2 such teapots in the entire empire. The Baroness turned around abruptly. I will go find it right away. Olivia set off. Her purple hem floated over the red carpet. If I don't stop moving now, without the things I have always insisted upon, even so, those traces still exist. Olivia walked alone on the terrace. Her purple hem trailed across the marble floor. Her silhouette was elongated by the setting sun. I heard that Miss Madeline has moved into the palace. Olivia's eyes suddenly widened. Her green pupils were trembling. Maria leaned against the back of the bench. She watched the clouds surging at the edge of the sky. Leopold turned his head. That is the rumor I heard. An exquisite porcelain teapot sat on the table. A thin stream of steam rose from the spout. The white vapor ascended in the sunlight. Olivia stood at the far end of the fountain. She watched the figures snuggled together under the gazebo. Maria leaned into Leopold. I have always loved Wednesdays here. The time spent with you. You used to say that this palace reminded you of me. Under the glow of the setting sun, it shines just like my hair. Leopold turned his face. I did say that, just like it is now. Maria looked up. Moments like this always make me feel as if I am your true fiancé. But with that princess moving in, none of this will be possible anymore. Right? Leopold's tone was as cold as ice. That is nonsense. Leopold turned his head slightly. The corner of his mouth hooked into OA curve. That princess knows her place very well. She would never dare cause you trouble. I promise you. Olivia wore OA black cloak. Silver white strands of hair slipped from the edge of the hood. Her green eyes watched the dilapidated streets. She navigated through the dark alleys. OA porter, carrying OA heavy wooden box, stopped. He shouted OA warning. Hey, watch out over there. We are still clearing this area. There is dangerous debris everywhere. Olivia curled up on the cold ground. Her purple floral skirt trailed on the stone path. Her body trembled violently in the darkness. The sound of footsteps approached. Olivia jerked her head up. Is it OA robbery? If it's OA robbery, who should I call for help? But who could I even ask for help? Edwin looked down at the figure on the ground. His red pupils glinted under his short black hair. Was your outing pleasant? I have been waiting to escort you. Or do you have other business here? Edwin knelt down. He wrapped the cloak around her. Olivia sat slumped on the stone floor. Her green eyes were wide with shock. Why are you here? Edwin knelt on one knee before her. Because you are here, my lady. Olivia lifted her face. She gazed at the man who was so close. Why? Edwin took her fingertips in both of his hands. Because I missed you. Olivia held her breath. Her green pupils trembled violently. Tears quickly welled up at the edges of her eyes, sliding silently down her pale cheeks. Edwin suddenly withdrew his hand. His body leaned back. His arms flailed in OA panic. My lady, did I do something wrong? Olivia reached out and suddenly threw herself into his arms. Her hands gripped the lapels of his black uniform tightly. I have nowhere left to go. There is no place for me anywhere. Olivia buried her face in his chest. Tears soaked the dark fabric. Her voice broke amidst the violent trembling. What should I do? Edwin lowered his eyelids. His red pupils flickered in the shadows. That's not true. Everyone in the Duke's residence has been counting the days. Since the day you left, they have been longing for your return. Edwin raised his right hand. His fingertips lightly touched her long, silvery white hair. Of course, no one looked forward to your return more than I did. So, are you going to leave again today? Olivia lay on the pure white bed, her long, silvery white hair spread out like silk. Her face was as pale as paper. An attendant stood in the middle of the study. They say the lady has already fallen asleep. When I heard she disappeared alone from the heavily guarded palace, I was truly shocked. Fortunately, your grace found her and brought her back personally. Edwin remained silent. His red pupils contracted slightly under the lamplight. His gaze was locked on the handwriting on the letter. Sweat trickled down his temple. What kind of woman? Without receiving any reply, would send relief supplies and letters more than 5 times in OA row? If it were me, I would have stopped such OA meaningless action long ago. These top-quality supplies delivered anonymously never left OA trace in any newspaper. He always sent the most urgently needed items with precision, leaving no name, seeking no reward. Livergreen. This was clearly just OA fake pseudonym. Over time, the content of the letters became longer and longer. Prayers were written between every line. The sender hoped the knights would return safely and return to their beloved families. The lines were filled with worry for sick family members and the anticipation of OA fiance's return. Edwin looked down at the letter. Oh, a hint of OA smile appeared in his red eyes. This kind of pure kindness seems so out of place on the battlefield. OA roar came from outside the tent, breaking the afternoon silence. How dare you? How dare you send this kind of thing to me? What happened? OA soldier stood beside Edwin. The vice commander's sister sent OA letter. Jed swung his arm suddenly, slamming the letter onto the ground. This kind of trash should be thrown away. Jed turned around. His short, silvery white hair swept through the wind. Edwin stopped his steps. Looking down at the white paper on the ground, he leaned over and picked it up. Edwin unfolded the letter. His red pupils contracted slightly. The same stationery. And most importantly, the same handwriting. Olivia. That arrogant and rude Madeline woman. The disgrace of the Madeline family. The half-blood with green eyes. Edwin tilted his head slightly. OA smile was reflected in his red eyes. So he has been lying all along. Edwin looked down at the paper in his hand. His smile deepened under his short black hair. I didn't even have time to send my last letter. And yet, we've actually reunited in this way. Edwin sat on the bench. OA, red robe was loosely draped over his shoulders, making him feel warm and comfortable in the mansion. He should be welcomed with sincerity. The adjutant took OA a step forward. Why are you going to such lengths for him? Please forgive my presumption, but do you really intend to do this? No matter how deep your feelings for her are, she is still the daughter of the Madeline family. OA, descendant of the leader of the imperial faction, she is the crown prince's fiancée in Vikander. There are many people who even hate Duke Madeline. Edwin sat behind the desk. His right hand propped up his cheek. I hate him too. The adjutant froze in place. His brown pupils contracted slightly. What? OA's smile showed in Edwin's red eyes. I certainly dislike the Duke too, but I don't think I could ever dislike that lady. During the war, she sent turkey meat to everyone like an angel. People are all praising her. The adjutant's eyes widened. A drop of cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Could it be? Edwin stood up. It's enough that you know, even if you don't understand her yet. Someone like her will win everyone's heart sooner or later. The adjutant remained where he was. His lips trembled slightly. But what if? The corners of Edwin's mouth curled up. Even so, nothing will change. She will become my duchess. Leather shoes stepped on the wooden floor, making OA crisp sound. The hem of the skirt swayed with the steps. OA maid stood before the bed. She lifted her white apron with both hands and bowed. Good morning, my lady. My name is Hannah. From today onwards, I will be at your service. Let me help you wash and change. Hannah stopped her movements. Her brown pupils suddenly dilated. She stared fixedly ahead. Hannah covered her mouth. Her brown eyes shook violently. Heavens! Olivia stood by the window. Her silver-white long hair fell to her waist. She turned her head to look at the maid behind her. Hannah walked in quickly. Her hands were folded over her chest. You clearly slept so late last night, yet you are already awake. Olivia lowered her eyelids. Her green eyes were hidden in the shadow of her lashes. It's just OA habit. Hannah pointed toward the door. The head chef heard you had arrived and was very happy. Will you have breakfast with us? Is there anything specific you'd like to eat? Olivia looked down at her fingertips. Before that, Olivia raised her head. Her green eyes looked at Hannah. Does the Grand Duke usually eat breakfast? Hannah bit her fingertip. It depends on the situation that day. Sometimes he eats, and sometimes he doesn't. Olivia pushed open the heavy wooden door. Her green eyes scanned the hallway warily. Oh, a tall figure loomed over her. Edwin leaned down close to her ear. His red eyes held OA's smile. Are you looking for something? I am looking for the Grand Duke. Olivia suddenly hunched her shoulders. Her green eyes widened in surprise. Edwin let out Oa's soft chuckle. His red eyes curved into crescents. A faint blush appeared on his cheeks. "Were you looking for me?" Olivia froze in place. Her silver-white long hair was slightly messy. A trace of awkwardness showed in her green eyes. Her hands tightly gripped the hem of her skirt. Edwin straightened his body. He placed his right hand on the back of Oa's chair. "If you tell me in advance, I will come to your side immediately. I thought meat for breakfast might be too heavy, so I had them prepare something light." Croissants and strawberries were served on Oa's white porcelain plate. Few orange slices were nestled among green leaves. The cutlery was neatly placed on both sides of the tablecloth. Olivia sat at the round table. Her hands were folded on her lap. "Your Grace, thank you for bringing me here yesterday. I am not sure how long I will stay, but I will be a bother to you during this time." Olivia lifted her head. Her right hand rested on the dark green ribbon at her chest. "If there is anything I can do, please be sure to tell me. I do not want to just sit here and waste my time. I have managed the finances of the Duke's mansion and the Crown Prince's palace. I also have experience in handling court affairs. I believe I can be of help." A silver fork, cut through. A piece of red meat. Edwin rested his chin on his right hand. His red pupils flickered. Beneath his short black hair, "Do you really think you can handle it?" "I have very high expectations." Spired buildings pierced the clouds. White clouds billowed behind the blue roofs. Urgent shouts broke the silence. Miss, please open the door." A maid stood before the tightly closed door. "It has already been 3 days. You haven't eaten or drunk anything, and you haven't said a single word. If the delicate Miss Isella collapses like this, what should we do?" "Someone from Madame Pluto's tailor shop has arrived. They are waiting right outside the door." The maid suddenly turned her head. "Can't you see the current situation? Send them away immediately." A hand reached into the frame. The nails were painted bright red. The red polish shimmered under the light. "I am Madame Pluto. At the personal request of Olivia Madeline, I have come specifically for Miss Isella Madeline." Madame Pluto touched the ruby on her chest. "I have come to see her in person. So, where is Miss S?" Madame Pluto looked around. The purple carpet extended toward the end of the corridor. 4 maids stood with their heads bowed in silence. The atmosphere fell into dead silence. Madame Pluto's smile faded. Her golden pupils constricted slightly. "Has something happened?" The maids huddled together. How truly shameless. To just walk away like that, and now she wants to buy us off with bribes? Madame Pluto froze in place. Her hands tightly gripped her handbag. 2 attendants stood behind her holding gift boxes. The maids' voices rose and fell in the shadows. "She must have booked this yesterday. She's been planning to come back all along." Madame Pluto flipped through the ledger in her hand. There must be some misunderstanding. Madame Pluto opened the ledger. Olivia Madeline's appointment was made 3 weeks ago. This wasn't from yesterday. She did this 3 weeks ago. Isella stood in the center of the hall. Her long silver-white hair fell over the shoulders of her white dress. Madame Pluto stood on the purple carpet. "We originally planned to come last week, but we only came today because of Oa's schedule conflict." "How dare you lie so blatantly?" Sally knelt on the cold floor. Her brown pigtails shook violently. "This is true." Sally lifted her face. Tears welled up in her round brown eyes. 3 weeks ago, my lady passed by here. She thought this shop would suit Miss Isella perfectly, so she made an appointment in advance. Say whatever you want. Our second miss would never, because of her, order clothes from Madame Pluto. That dancer's daughter killed our mother. I don't believe she would ever treat someone like that as Oa's sister. Isella curled up on the ground. Her long silver-white hair covered her entire body. Isella stood before the mirror. She was helping Olivia arrange her long hair. Isella grit her teeth. Her long silver-white hair trembled on her shoulders. This kind of trash. This kind of garbage. Isella suddenly swung her arm. She hurled the jewelry in her hand violently to the floor. Her round purple eyes were wide with rage. Her hair flew wildly in the air. She let out a sharp, piercing shriek. Olivia stood in the shadows. Her green eyes stared straight ahead. Isella raised her face. Her round purple eyes were brimming with tears. Teardrops slid down her cheeks. Her lips trembled slightly. Strands of hair were messily stuck to her forehead. Isella clasped her hands over her chest. She tightly gripped the fabric of her white dress. Her knuckles turned white from the force. Sister Edwin propped his chin on his right hand. His red eyes flickered beneath his short black hair. "I have many things to look forward to." Olivia sat at the dining table. Her long silver-white hair fell over the shoulders of her floral dress. Her green eyes widened slightly. "Of course, none of it is anything illegal." Edwin threw his head back and laughed. His short black hair swayed as he did. Olivia was stunned across from him. Her green eyes were filled with confusion. Edwin reached out his right hand. He held up 3 fingers. "I only ask for 3 things. First, eat your meals on time. Second, ensure you get enough sleep. And the third, do what you truly want to do. Edwin tilted his head. His red eyes curved slightly beneath his short black hair. He made a peace sign with his right hand. If you don't mind. I also hope you can make use of me. Olivia pressed her hands against her thighs. Her fingertips sank into the floral dress fabric. Is he teasing me? Olivia lowered her gaze. Her long silver-white hair covered half of her face. Her green eyes trembled slightly. No, it doesn't seem like Hayes joking. I want to cry. Olivia suddenly stood up. Please wait. OA moment. I need to leave for OA minute. Edwin was stunned in his seat. His eyes looked blank beneath his short black hair. Oh, a string of ellipses floated over his head. Are you telling me to leave? Olivia hurriedly waved her hands. No, I just want to excuse myself for OA moment. Winster pushed the door and entered. It took so much effort to bring him here. Ha ha ha, be quiet. Winster called. Edwin leaned back against his chair. What are you doing here? Winster stood to the side. I was told to greet the lady on time, so here I am. Edwin let out OA scoff. You only follow orders at times like this. Olivia sat at the dining table. Her straight silver-white hair reached her waist. Confusion showed in her green eyes. Didn't I tell you yesterday? Winster raised OA hand and rubbed the corner of his eye. He couldn't help but laugh out loud. This is truly ridiculous. Everyone in the Duke's mansion is waiting for you. My lady. Is there something bothering you? Olivia turned her head. Her straight silver-white hair fell across her purple dress. No exquisite desserts fill the table. There is delicious food here. An OA comfortable bed. There is even OA perfect library. Olivia and Edwin sat across from each other. Most importantly, Edwin lowered his head slightly. Oh, a hint of OA smile appeared in his red eyes, even though he always seemed so busy. Olivia gazed at the man before her. Light shimmered in her golden eyes. OA faint curve formed at the corner of her mouth. How long has it been since I could relax and eat OA meal with someone else? You've been sighing non-stop. Olivia suddenly straightened her back. Her long silver-white hair swayed as she did. Me. I think it's because I didn't bring my diary. I've always had the habit of keeping OA diary. The maid clasped her hands and rested them on her chin. Oh my, if only you had said so earlier. I will get one for you immediately. Olivia stood in the hallway. A soft look appeared in her golden eyes. She gently waved her right hand. That's not the real reason, right? Olivia suddenly widened her eyes. Her green pupils contracted in the shadows. She stared at the figure ahead. Your Grace? How long have you been standing there? Edwin leaned against the doorframe. His red eyes under his short black hair held a hint of OA smile. Did you fulfill our agreement? Olivia curtsied, holding her skirt. Her long silver-white hair fell toward the floor. Yes. As you can see, I have been eating very well. Edwin took OA a step closer. Since we eat together, I can indeed testify to that point. I cannot see how you sleep, but I trust that you are sleeping well. Edwin lowered his head slightly. His red eyes gazed at Olivia. Then, what about the third thing? Olivia tilted her head. Her green eyes were filled with confusion. Sigh, Edwin put his hands on his hips. You haven't asked me for anything even once. Doesn't this completely violate our agreement? I could even help you obtain that diary. Everyone has been too kind to me. There really isn't anything I want to ask for. Edwin stepped forward. How strange. Are you sure you truly don't need anything? Olivia looked down at the floor. Her silver-white strands of hair covered her eyes. There really is nothing. Olivia looked up. Light shimmered in her green eyes. Her right hand lightly touched her chest. I really don't need any help from your Grace. It would be too greedy to ask for more. I have already been very well taken care of. Since that is the case, I will return to the duchy tomorrow. Edwin froze in place. Do you really intend to do that? Yes. Usually the dress and jewelry arrive the day before. Tomorrow is the final day of the victory banquet. As the crown prince's fiancé, I have no choice. I must attend. If I don't show up, all the blame will fall on her. At least to prevent that from happening. Olivia turned her face. Her long silver-white hair covered one side of her cheek. Her green pupils contracted slightly. Are you angry? Edwin lowered his eyes. His short black hair cast OA shadow. Loneliness showed in his red eyes. I am not angry. I am just confused. I ask you to lean on me, yet you insist on bearing everything alone. I don't understand. Edwin reached out his right hand. My lady, I have always been OA greedy man. When I met you, I was thirsting for something precious. Edwin took Olivia's hand. So please tell me, what does OA precious person like you truly desire? The next day, the final day of the victory banquet. Leopold stood in the banquet hall. Under his short blonde hair, his blue eyes were cold and stern. Duke, where is Olivia? Rumors say my fiancé has gone missing. The gossip is making things difficult for me. The Duke turned his head. She is not that kind of irresponsible child. Leopold furrowed his brow. I know. The point is where she is right now. As my fiancée, she must meet with me today before His Majesty. It has to be today of all days. Such an important occasion. The magnificent hall was grand and splendid. Red carpet stretched toward the throne. Nobles gathered under the lights. The empty seat was particularly eyesore. Olivia. Madeline, where on earth are you? The official unfurled the scroll, loudly announcing the entrance of the war hero, His Grace Edwin Lowell Viscount, and accompanying him, all eyes converged. The air froze instantly. His partner, Miss Olivia. Madeline. Leopold froze on the spot. His blue eyes trembled violently. The Duke turned his head slightly. Gazing at that figure, under the arch decorated with white flowers, Olivia slowly walked in. Her silver-white long hair flowed like moonlight. Her white ceremonial gown spread out in layers. The ruby at her neck shimmered with faint light. They actually entered together. Edwin firmly held Olivia's hand. He paid his respects to the Emperor sitting high above. Greetings to your Majesty, whose glory is like the blazing sun. The Emperor wore a leopard print cloak. His blue eyes widened slightly beneath his short blonde hair. He gazed at the two people at the bottom of the steps. Duke, you actually brought a partner today. Edwin bowed, his hand over his chest. His short black hair hung slightly. This is all thanks to your Majesty's grace. Do you still remember the wish I received? On the first day of the festival, Edwin looked up. His red eyes flickered with light. I implore your Majesty's permission to marry my most precious woman, Olivia. Madeline, the Emperor froze in place. His blue eyes contracted sharply beneath his short blonde hair. His teeth were clenched. His facial muscles twisted in anger. The crowd whispered amongst themselves at the foot of the steps. What on earth is going on? Was the Duke just proposing to Miss Madeline? Since he has already asked His Majesty for permission, it means he has already proposed. And she has accepted. As long as that lady is around, there isn't a single day of peace. Olivia slowly turned her head. Her straight silver-white hair slid over her shoulder. Faint glints were reflected in her golden eyes. She gazed at the man beside her. Edwin turned his head and smiled. His red eyes shone beneath his short black hair. The corners of his mouth turned up slightly. He gazed at Olivia by his side. Heavy footsteps rang out. Black boots stepped onto the red carpet. Leopold strode forward. His blue eyes were bloodshot beneath his short blonde hair. He stared intently at the two on the steps. Just now, how dare you propose to my fiancée? Are you insane? Edwin turned his body. His red eyes were as stern as ice beneath his short black hair. Leopold reached out his right hand, fingers spread wide toward the front. Live. Come here. What on earth are you wearing? There should be a spare dress. I explicitly said you are not allowed to wear bright colors. Olivia looked back. Her silver-white long hair slid down her shoulder. Leopold's reflection appeared in her golden eyes. Sweat slid down from her temple. Her breathing became rapid. Edwin reached out and pulled Olivia by the shoulder. Drawing her into the shadow of his red cloak, his red eyes looked down at Leopold. Your Highness, you do not need to send dresses to Miss Madeline anymore. Leopold froze in place. His blue eyes were filled with astonishment. What? Edwin looked straight ahead. The same goes for jewelry. Because one of my greatest pleasures is personally choosing everything for her. Olivia lowered her gaze. Her silver-white long hair covered her profile. Sweat slid down her neck. Remember what I told you? Look only at me. Last night at the Duke's mansion, Edwin stood before the table. I will use the wish the Emperor gave me to propose to you. Olivia sat on a chair. Her straight silver-white hair hung in front of her. Her golden eyes widened in shock. You look so surprised. I am doing my best to meet your request. Am just a bit startled? But this is the most effective method. This is the most effective way to keep you away from everything. Edwin stepped forward. You should know, I have a bit of selfish motive too. But it's too early for me to worry about that now. I will not use this as an excuse to force you into anything. Olivia sat opposite him. Confusion showed in her green eyes. Why not? The corners of Edwin's mouth turned up slightly. Although it sounds like a transaction, I indeed have something I want. Edwin closed his eyes. His short black hair covered his forehead. At tomorrow's banquet, look only at me. No matter what others say, or whoever approaches, I will step forward to stop them. Magnificent chandelier hung in the center of the hall. Leopold stood in the middle of the red carpet. His blue eyes, under short blonde hair, were stiff with anger. Surrounding guests whispered in disgust. Edwin looked straight ahead. His red eyes under short black hair were stern. I will block all of them. The guests turned their heads one after another. A low murmur spread through the air. Eyes followed the pair walking side by side. I think I need a little time to organize my thoughts. The Duke walked through the crowd and up the steps. His pupils showed a cold sternness, gazing at Leopold ahead. Your Majesty, may I speak with my daughter alone? The Emperor rested his chin on one hand. Oh, a hint of amusement flashed in his blue eyes under short blonde hair. That sounds like, good idea. Then, everyone, please continue to enjoy the banquet. Duke, you should have a good talk with your daughter. Edwin relaxed his clenched palm. His red eyes under short black hair watched her. So, what do you plan to do now? Olivia turned her head. Her green eyes were filled with hesitation. I don't know. This is the first time father has sought me out to speak at OA ball. Olivia gripped her white skirt tightly. Her fingertips turned white from the force. I must look very foolish right now, don't I? Edwin stood by her side. His red eyes under short black hair looked forward. Not at all. I just think the Duke is an extremely lucky man. Edwin watched the man approaching. He has been given one last chance. The Duke walked up to the two. He bowed deeply. It is truly an honor to meet the Grand Duke, our hero, if it is possible. Could you allow me to speak with my daughter alone? Edwin remained expressionless. His red eyes looked down coldly. My permission is not important. What matters is her will. Is something the matter? Olivia spoke softly. The Duke stopped in his tracks. Let us find a quiet place to talk. Duke, Madeline, do not waste this opportunity. You should understand what I mean, don't you? Yes. Outside the terrace, the night was deep. The sound of the fountain echoed in the silence. The Duke suddenly reached out. He gripped Olivia's shoulders tightly. What kind of tricks did you play? The Duke opened his mouth and roared. What on earth did you say to him? To make the Duke of Vikander propose to you. The Duke spread his arms and roared. I only asked you to do one thing, and that was to become the crown princess without any scandal. Are you really this useless? You can't even handle something so simple. Olivia stood under the moonlight. Her green eyes reflected the Duke's distorted face. Olivia slowly lowered her head. Her long silver-white hair fell over her chest, hiding all her expressions. The corners of Olivia's mouth curled upward. She revealed a smirk. The Duke suddenly recoiled. His right hand froze in midair. Watching the strange sight before him, Olivia burst into a fit of laughter. Her long silver-white hair shook violently. Her hands clutched her stomach. Her body swayed back and forth in the moonlight. Olivia raised her hand to wipe away a tear from the corner of her eye. Olivia turned her back. I actually thought that one day you would look at me with warm eyes. Olivia turned half of her face. Her long silver-white hair drifted in the moonlight. Her green eyes watched the Duke. I truly believed that one day you would treat me like a daughter. I never once doubted it. I also never asked the Grand Duke to propose to me. The Crown Prince ignored his fiancée to approach Maria, even triggering all sorts of rumors. Even so, do you still believe me? Olivia raised her hand and pressed it to her chest. Her green eyes staring straight ahead at the ruby. If I say it like this, will you believe it? The Duke gritted his teeth and roared. Shut your mouth. Olivia closed her eyes. Bringing me into this house, making me the Crown Prince's fiancé, to replace wasn't the one who did that? The Duke standing right here. The Duke erupted in a roar. Shut up. This is all your fault. If you hadn't entered this house, none of this would have happened. The Duke clenched his gloved fist. This is all your fault. It was you who brought all this misfortune into my life. Whether it's now or in the past. I actually haven't done anything. Olivia folded her hands in front of her, her silver-white long hair falling to her waist. Her green eyes slowly closed. The Duke erupted in a roar. Olivia, Madeline, how dare you be so insolent? Olivia took a step back. Didn't you say you wanted me to disappear? If I could, I would truly want to erase you from my life completely. Since that's the case, please tell me, what is it that you truly desire deep down in your heart? Olivia raised her head. Tears welled up in her green eyes. As she gazed at the person before her, can you really help me fulfill my wish? Edwin knelt on one knee. My lady, I have said this many times. I am forever yours, my lady. Olivia spoke slowly. Since that's the case, I feel the same way. That has been my long-cherished wish. Olivia raised her hand to the ruby on her chest. I want to erase the name Madeline. I want to completely uproot Madeline from my life, including everything I once loved. Will you help me destroy Madeline? Olivia. The Duke suddenly opened his mouth and let out a raspy roar. Enough. Edwin stepped forward. If you dare threaten this noble lady again, Duke, you will make an enemy of all of Vikander. The Duke stood frozen in place. His face darkened under his short silver-white hair. He stared fixedly at the man before him. Edwin turned his body. Beneath his short black hair, his red eyes looked at Olivia. Let's go. My lady? Edwin bowed his head slightly, his red eyes locking onto her gaze. Within his red pupils, Olivia's figure was reflected. Olivia turned around. Let's go back to the hall. Aren't we going home? For today's look, I spent a long time preparing. Don't you think we should at least have one dance? Olivia reached out and placed her hand on his arm, her fingertips firmly gripping the red fabric. Since that's the case, Edwin leaned down close to Olivia. Oe smile showing in his red eyes. For the first dance of the day, you will grant me this honor, won't you? Olivia leaned against Edwin's shoulder, her silver-white long hair falling onto his red uniform. With Oe's smile on her face, she felt the warmth of his palm. Olivia opened her eyes, the brilliant lights reflected in her golden pupils. Edwin placed his arm around Olivia's waist, his red cloak spreading out in the middle of the dance floor. Olivia lifted her skirt and began to dance, her silver-white long hair swirling in the air with her movements. The surrounding guests looked over one by one, whispering among themselves, "Aren't these dance steps, a bit too complex?" If you say they aren't complex, that's a lie. To be honest, I also find it quite difficult. Edwin took Olivia's hand. He suddenly pulled her close into his arms. A smile appeared in his red pupils. Olivia looked up at him. "And what about you, Your Grace?" His Majesty the Emperor even left the seat without giving permission. "But for tonight, I have also made full preparations." Olivia closed her eyes. A smile appeared at the corners of her mouth. Leopold stood in the shadows. His blue pupils stared fixedly ahead. His gaze was cold and deep. Edwin held Olivia as they twirled. His short black hair was close to her ear. "The Crown Prince is staring at me from behind. I only just realized that dancing with you is too much fun." Olivia's body suddenly stiffened. Her golden pupils contracted slightly. "What should we do?" Leopold walked closer with slow steps. Oe's smile appeared in his blue pupils. Edwin let go of Olivia's hand. Under his short black hair, his red pupils moved slightly. "If you are willing, I can always owe a hand in Oe white glove cut in." Jed pressed Oe hand on Olivia's shoulder. "We need to talk." Jed reached out and pressed his hand on Olivia's shoulder. Blue pupils. "It's just Edwin. I want to talk to Olivia." "Your Highness, can you step aside?" Edwin tilted his head slightly. Oe's smile showed in his red pupils under his short black hair. "The Vice Commander always speaks so briefly. Having not met for so long, is there not even Oe proper greeting?" Jed lowered his brow. His purple pupils glinted in the shadows. "The moment I discovered that the intelligence from Kepet was false, I threw it away." Edwin spread his left hand. His red pupils locked onto the other's gaze. "That's wonderful. I was still worried whether it would interfere with your oath to Olivia. So, in order to get rid of me, you gave us false intelligence, right?" The corners of Edwin's mouth curled up. There was no ripple in his red pupils. "Of course not." Edwin reached out and put his arm around Olivia's waist. His short black hair was close to her face. "Well then, my lady, shall we head back as planned?" Jed took a step forward. His short silver-white hair swayed under the lights. His purple pupils were locked tight. An angry roar erupted from ahead. "Olivia." Olivia stopped walking. Her long silver-white hair fell over her white dress. There was no ripple in her green pupils. "I have nothing to say." Jed's eyes widened suddenly. His purple pupils were bloodshot. "But I have something to say. Where on earth have you been all this time?" "At the Duke's residence." Jed reached out and grabbed Olivia's wrist. "Before you rebel, figure out your status first. Ever since Azella collapsed, everything has become very tense." Olivia softly repeated that word. "Rebel." Confusion showed in her green pupils. She watched the angry Jed in front of her. Jed raised Oe's hand to his forehead. His short silver-white hair was messy between his fingers. "Don't make things more complicated. Come back with me. If this isn't rebellion, then what is it? Stop being so reckless." "You want me to go back?" Jed's eyes widened suddenly. His purple pupils stared fixedly at her. Olivia gazed at Jed. Her long silver-white hair moved slightly in the wind. "Go back where?" Jed froze on the spot. Olivia's silhouette was reflected in his purple pupils. "Does that even need to be asked? For the sake of this country, the Duke of Vikander must pledge loyalty to the princess. Is it because of you that my mother—" The door was pushed open. Oe crack emitted Oe's sharp grinding sound. Light sliced through the darkness of the room. Olivia turned her head in alarm. Her silver-white long hair fell over her shoulders. Her green pupils trembled in the shadows. "Who are you? Are you still your mother?" "Jed, did you put Oe Frog in my room again?" Olivia held her breath. Her green pupils suddenly dilated, reflecting the silhouette standing at the door. Jed Olivia raised her hand to cover her mouth and nose. "What happened? What is this smell?" "It's all the smell of alcohol. She is my younger sister." "Then who are you?" Olivia held Oe Rabbit plushie in her arms. Her fingertips tightened forcefully, watching Jed's approaching face. "I thought you were my sister." Jed raised his head. Tears welled up in his purple eyes, sliding down his cheeks. The dinner plate sat still on the wooden table. The bread and meat had already grown cold. The silver spoon reflected Oe's cold light. "You haven't eaten anything yet, have you?" Olivia turned her head. Her silver-white short hair hung by the side of her cheek. Jed's silhouette was reflected in her green pupils. "Father and brother, they were truly too much to you." Jed sat on the floor, leaning his back against the cold wall. Jed stood in the bright light. His silver-white short hair was slightly messy. Tears welled up in his purple eyes. Is it because of you? Is it because of this? That my mother died? Olivia widened her eyes. Her green pupils suddenly contracted, reflecting Jed's crying face. Her breathing stalled at this moment. The jewelry box on the table was overturned, and the white gloves pressed against the letters. The gemstones refracted cold light under the illumination. An Othu actually let him make an oath. Jed let out an angry roar. You fool! You have no idea exactly what kind of monster that Duke is. Jed suddenly swung his arm. Knocking over the jewelry box on the table, the white gloves slid to the floor. The letter paper unfurled in the light and shadow. Jed, thank you for the gloves. I have nothing more to say. Sir Madeline? Jed froze on the spot. His silver-white short hair fell over his forehead. What did you just say? I have already said it. Olivia lowered her eyes slightly. Her side-parted bangs obscured her vision. I have already told Father. It wasn't that Duke. From now on, or rather, it has always been this way. Jed froze on the spot. Cold sweat broke out under his silver-white short hair. His purple pupils suddenly contracted. Watching the Olivia in front of him, Olivia closed her eyes. Her fingertips pressed against the ruby on her chest. I will completely erase from my life the name Madeline, the name that once represented my entire meaning. Goodbye, Sir Madeline. Olivia lifted her skirt. Her long silver-white hair rose with the wind. She walked resolutely toward the exit of the hall. Oe Maid widened her eyes in terror. You returned earlier than expected. Olivia was draped in Oe white fur cloak. Her silver-white long hair shimmered in the night. Her green pupils were slightly cast down. I said I don't like banquets. Even so, you still look radiant tonight. Oh, a brown-haired attendant poked his head out. Did everything go smoothly? Lord Duke, did anything unusual happen with the young lady? Edwin raised his hand and unbuttoned his collar. Oh, a trace of fatigue passed through his red eyes. It is nothing worth mentioning. However, I am indeed, bit hungry. Edwin turned his head. His red eyes turned toward Olivia behind him. And you, my lady? Edwin's red pupils suddenly contracted. His gaze locked onto Olivia's face. My lady, Olivia's entire body fell toward the ground. Olivia collapsed into Edwin's arms. Her long silver-white hair covered his arms. Her green eyes were tightly closed. Her face was as pale as paper. Olivia's brow was furrowed. Sweat slid down from her temples. Her breathing became rapid and weak. She was enduring some kind of intense pain in her coma. Olivia lay by the water. Her straight silver-white hair was spread across the ground. Her green almond-shaped eyes slowly opened, gazing at the inverted sky. Where is this? Olivia sat up. Olivia raised her right hand. Her fingertips pressed against her lower lip. Confusion showed in her green eyes. Since I have returned from the ball, I should be writing in my diary. Olivia widened her eyes. Her green eyes stared at the red-covered book. Did Hannah buy a new diary? While I was away, Olivia turned her head. She looked at the stack of old diaries. Those past memories were falling one after another. Today, I foolishly called out to us. Father said such an attitude damages noble decorum. This caused him to completely lose his appetite. I must correct this mistake. I will never let this happen again. My table manners are far from elegant enough. Father said it made him lose his stomach. I must never make a mistake again. Keep thinking, Olivia. Do not let anything go wrong. Continue to work hard and do your best. Perhaps my coming here was a mistake in itself. Olivia sat barefoot by the water. Her green eyes stared at the open diary. Olivia gazed into the void. Her green eyes trembled slightly. Reflecting those cold words, her breathing became heavy in the silence. The pen nib scratched against the paper. I didn't do anything. Olivia raised her face. Her green eyes were brimming with tears. Olivia's long hair hung down. Her straight silver-white hair reached her waist. Tears from her green eyes slid down her cheeks, soaking the lace on her chest. Edwin stood with his back to the window. His red eyes gazed outside. How serious is the situation? The doctor pushed up his glasses. Lack of sleep? Malnutrition? And dehydration. She is lacking almost everything. She was fine before returning to the territory. Why did she suddenly collapse? If there is no specific medical cause, then her body has already reached its limit, or she has finally let her guard down. Have you seen the back of my lady's hand? Edwin looked down and stared. His red pupils contracted slightly. I know that hand is pale enough to see the bone. Just how much pain has this slender body endured? He worried under the pseudonym of Leaf Green. Yet I don't even have the strength to take care of myself. Those foolish bastards. What on earth were those people doing? To think they didn't notice the treasure right in front of them? They missed the most precious thing. Even though it was right there before them, this is a bad habit. Please make sure to keep her away from stress as much as possible. Let her rest well. Edwin reached out and grabbed the green doorknob. That goes without saying. She must be allowed to recover in peace. I must meet the Emperor as soon as possible. In order to smoothly take that lady back to the Grand Duchy territory, Edwin stopped in his tracks. He turned his face. His red eyes held a grim look. Edwin raised his hand and pressed it against his forehead. He let out a heavy sigh. My lady, are you finally awake? Olivia leaned against the headboard. The look in her green eyes was soft. Your Grace, I am sorry. I have caused you trouble. I thought my body had always been quite healthy. The maid waved her arms vigorously. It is precisely because you are usually too healthy. That a minor illness like this could knock you down all at once. The doctor said you need plenty of rest. You also need to eat and take your medicine on time. Olivia looked down at the bedding. Her hands were folded over her knees. I have already rested enough. The maid put her hands on her hips. She retorted loudly. Miss, I don't think so at all. You call reading books resting, and you are always worrying about what the territory lacks. The maid puffed out her chest. Her round brown eyes widened. You need real rest and nourishment. Edwin walked over slowly. There was a hint of a smile in his red pupils. Hannah is right. My lady, I will instruct the kitchen to prepare a more nutritious menu. Hannah, take away everything that might interfere with my lady's rest. Hannah stood at attention. As you command, Your Grace. The thick soup and medicine are ready. Hannah covered her mouth and giggled. Her long brown hair was tied in a low ponytail. Her round brown eyes curved into crescents. Then I shall take my leave. Olivia sat on the edge of the bed. Doubt showed in her green pupils. She watched Hannah's departing figure. Edwin sat by the bed. He stirred the thick soup in the bowl with a silver spoon. Edwin scooped up a spoonful of soup. He brought it to Olivia's lips. Open your mouth. Olivia froze in place. Her green pupils suddenly constricted. Her mind went blank. This shameless man? Olivia recoiled her body. Please let me eat by myself. Edwin frowned slightly. Don't speak. Your throat is hurting. Olivia pressed her lips tight. Her green eyes were full of resistance. Flush rose to her cheeks. Edwin leaned in closer again. There was an unquestionable look in his red eyes. Come on. Edwin leaned down. A flash of playfulness crossed his red pupils. If you continue to refuse to eat, from now on, I will personally feed you every single meal. Olivia stiffened where she was. Her green eyes were filled with astonishment. Her brain fell into chaos. Olivia lowered her eyelids. There was a sense of helplessness in her green eyes. She slowly opened her lips. She took the offered silver spoon into her mouth. Since you finished the meal, shall we take the medicine as well? Olivia closed her eyes. She let the bitter medicinal liquid slide down her throat. Her brow furrowed slightly. Edwin set down the medicine bowl. How does it taste? Is it to your liking? Olivia leaned back toward the bed. Her voice was faint. Yes, it's very sweet. Edwin looked down at the empty bowl. I had them add a bit of honey to it. I'm glad you liked it. Olivia leaned against the headboard. The corners of her mouth turned up slightly. Sweet things will make me gain weight. But it's better than bitter medicine. I'm a bit sleepy. Edwin leaned over. His gaze was soft in his red pupils. It's likely the effect of the medicine. Get some sleep. Edwin reached out and pulled up the white sheet. He gently covered Olivia with it. His red pupils watched her closed eyes. Get some good rest, Olivia. Estella walked alone through the long corridor. Her long silver-white hair hung down her back. She was wearing a white silk nightgown. Her fingertips lightly brushed the cold wall. What first princess? Two maids hid around the corner. Conversing in hushed tones, I heard she received a marriage proposal. The other party is that notorious butcher. That monster Duke? Is it because she lost her position as the crown princess that she's being kicked out? Or is it because she has been completely abandoned? Although she certainly got what she deserved. Does she really have to marry a man like that? I heard she used the wish granted by the emperor to proactively request this marriage. The wedding will be held very soon. Azella stood frozen on the spot. Her round purple eyes contracted violently. That man known as a combat monster, and my sister is getting married. Olivia held a bouquet of flowers. A smile showed in her green eyes. Look, Azella, His Imperial Highness the Crown Prince sent me flowers. Azella turned around abruptly. Even if I've had fights with my sister, this isn't right. She clearly loves His Highness so much, no matter what. I must stop all of this. Azella stopped her steps. Moonlight illuminated her face. Her round purple eyes gradually lost their luster. But what right do I have? All people with green eyes are liars. The reason Mother died was that grinnied woman, but sister is not. I must help her. Truly an evil person. To think she wants to interfere between sister and His Highness. Estella walked quickly toward the door. I'm going to tell father. Father, low male voice came from inside the door. You cannot push Isella into the position of crown princess. To replace Olivia, Isella froze on the spot, her purple pupils dilated in the shadows. Conrad spread his palms. If Isella becomes the crown princess, she will wither and die under the toxicity of the imperial palace. I absolutely cannot let that happen. The Duke looked down and covered his forehead. You should agree to, right? Father Isella stood frozen outside the door. Her silvery white hair draped over her shoulders. Her round purple eyes contracted violently. Owe's hand suddenly landed on her shoulder. Jed stood behind Isella. His face was shrouded in darkness. Come with me. Isella turned her head sharply. Her purple eyes were full of terror. Brother Jed, what were they just saying? What does that mean? That isn't true, right? What do you mean it's not? Isella gripped her hem tightly with both hands. Her knuckles turned white from the force. Sister becoming the crown princess. It wasn't because of me, was it? Right? I don't know. Tell me quickly. That isn't true. Jed stood with his back to the moonlight. You really make me feel irritated. Isella lifted her head, letting out Owe's scream. Tell me it's Owe lie. That position originally belonged to me. Was Sister brought back just for that purpose? Is this the truth? So everything suddenly appeared like this. The truth of Sister being hidden by the family, the indifference of the servants who turned Owe a blind eye, it was all for this moment. Sister's crying after coming back from the palace, the distance she deliberately kept, and that heavy engagement, everything now had an answer. When Mother died, Sister was only 6 years old. Tears streamed down Isella's face. Her round purple eyes were full of Owe's sense of brokenness. She clearly loved Mother so much, yet she had to endure all of this. She turned and ran away. Jed shouted from Owe distance. Sella, the castle was silent under the moonlight. Birds flew over the spires. Olivia sat at the desk. Her straight silvery white hair was tied in Owe bun. Her green almond-shaped eyes looked toward the door. Her fingertips stopped the movement of writing. Edwin pushed open the door and entered. His red eyes glinted with Owe's hint of Owe's smile. Are you feeling any better? Olivia put down her quill. Thank you for your concern, Your Grace. I have already recovered. But don't you think this is Owe bit too much? You took all the books away. Books are meant to be read. Who reads while they are supposed to be resting? You should be lying there and relaxing. Olivia pointed toward the empty tabletop. Owe. Flash of dissatisfaction flickered in her green eyes. One should only read while resting. I have completely recovered. Reading your current physical condition doesn't allow it yet. You need more sleep. Look, even my voice has returned to normal. Edwin looked down and chuckled softly. His red eyes locked onto her gaze. Then, shall we go for Owe meal? You must eat more. Otherwise, I will have to. Olivia suddenly turned her head. Her silver white hair swayed by her ears. Owe flush of red rose to her cheeks. Fine, I understand. Owe, hurried knock came from outside the door. An attendant pushed open the door and entered. Your Grace. Am sorry to interrupt. Urgent news has been sent from the Imperial Palace. One letter is for you from His Majesty. There are 2 others for the young lady. They are from the Crown Prince's palace and the Princess's palace respectively. Edwin turned around. The smile vanished completely from his red eyes. Do you like the fact that the whole family is writing to you at the same time? Olivia raised her hand to cover her lips. Her green eyes were full of helplessness. She let out Owe's soft sigh. Family is family after all. Edwin tilted his head and watched her. There was an inquisitive look in his red eyes. Why is the letter sent to you also Owe demand for an immediate attack? Olivia let out Owe's soft laugh. Not Owe's single word was wrong. This is completely different from the greeting cards I used to receive. So Leopold's true letters are like this? No emotion, no concern, nothing at all. Edwin reached out and pressed down on the edge of the letter. Shall we write the reply together? Edwin sat back in the armchair. His red eyes narrowed into slits. The corners of his mouth curved upward. Olivia froze in place. She stared at that smiling face. The attendant walked through the palace corridor. He presented the letter with both hands. Reporting to Her Highness the Princess, Miss Madeline's reply has arrived. Leopold stood by the window. His blue eyes swept toward the attendant. What did she say? The attendant lowered his head. His voice echoed in the empty hall. She said she is unwell and unable to attend. Leopold turned his head sharply. His blue pupils contracted violently in the shadows. An icy cold light was reflected in his eyes. Say that again? Lena's hands hung at the sides of her layered white skirt. She was facing the towering iron window frame. Lena bit her knuckle. Olivia, that arrogant brat. I still have to prepare the flower show for the summer banquet. She actually dares to refuse my summons. If this year's standard is not as good as last year's, people will start to question me. Lena stood by the iron bars. Her shoulders trembled from her heavy breathing. Her golden hair appeared stiff under the cold light. Her fingers gripped the marble windowsill tightly. I also have to reply to the official letters for the relief areas. Damn it. She didn't show up at the banquet, leaving my rage with nowhere to be vented. Now she actually dares. That lowly green-eyed girl actually received OA proposal from the Grand Duke. That position should have belonged to me. The princess holds OA precious treasure in her heart, so there is no need to worry. That man will eventually kneel before you. He turned his body abruptly. She let out OA's sharp question. When exactly is Miss Madeline coming? Bring Madeline to me. The attendant knelt on the stone floor, responding to the princess's command while trembling. As you command, Your Highness? Olivia pushed open the door and entered. I am here. Lena suddenly leaned forward. You, Olivia spoke expressionlessly. The Duchy of Tristan, the Litter Territory, the Ricari necklace, and the White Crystal Mine. Lena recoiled. She let out OA's sharp cry of alarm. Young lady, what exactly are you doing? What did the Grand Duke say to you? To make you dare threaten me like this? The corners of Olivia's mouth curled up slightly. It seems you do consider this OA threat. If you work hard enough, I can even recommend you to have OA dance with my brother. Do you not want to prove your worth? As OA candidate for the Crown Princess, you only need to pass OA's small test. If you can manage even one famine-stricken area. Lena reached out and pressed her hand on the map on the table. Her fingertips slid across the rough paper. What evidence do you have? Kneel and beg for mercy right now. Between the words of an illegitimate daughter and the words of OA princess with royal blood, who do you think people will believe? Olivia pulled OA's stack of papers from her bodice. These are the records of my use of private funds. While Your Highness was searching for the Ricari necklace and wasting time at the underground auction house, I was using my own wealth to restore the territory. Lena snatched the papers. You actually defied my orders and secretly established OA double-entry bookkeeping system. Those maids monitoring you reported nothing at all. Olivia turned her head. This is not double-entry bookkeeping. These are my personal accounts. It was you who told me to use my own money to handle things first. Lena's fingers suddenly tightened around the papers. They twisted and deformed in her palm, making OA harsh crushing sound. These records are the entire truth. This kind of thing can easily be forged. Olivia stood silently in place. Your Highness, I have no intention of making this public. Lena let out OA's short gasp. What? Olivia took OA's step forward. I only have one request for coming here. Lena stood in the shadows. You dare make OA request of me after threatening me? Olivia lifted her head slightly. I need OA, dowry. Lena ripped the papers with both hands, tearing the papers in her hand in half. Simply preposterous. Olivia looked down and touched the ribbon on her chest. It doesn't matter. I still have the originals. Lena suddenly swung her arm. She threw the torn fragments into the air. Bring them to me immediately. Olivia stood firm amidst the falling paper scraps. As long as Your Highness is willing to provide my dowry. Lena turned her head. OA, sinister smile appeared in her blue eyes. And if I refuse? Are you saying all of this has nothing to do with you? Lena turned her face away. Her blue pupils contracted violently in the shadows. If that green-eyed girl exposes the account books, Father's trust will completely collapse. What do you want? Olivia stood firm. At the boundary between light and shadow? How about the Inari territory? Lena swung her arm suddenly. Her blue eyes widened in anger. Absolutely ridiculous. You dare demand the most prosperous land in my territory. The corners of Olivia's mouth curled up slightly. Then perhaps the Javier region would be more suitable. Lena stood frozen. Her blue pupils locked onto the other woman. Calm down. I must choose the most useless place. As long as it silences this green-eyed girl, there is indeed OA territory there. That can serve as OA, dowry. Lena raised her head. OA, sinister curve, formed at the corners of her mouth. Father once said that place might be useful. I didn't expect it to come in handy this way. On the surface, that place is worthless. You should know that place very well. My lady, that white crystal mine, you seemed very interested in it before. Yes. Lena lowered her head slightly. OA curve formed at the corners of her mouth. I don't care about the abandoned mine itself. Although that mine looks completely worthless. It appears in secret records that only the imperial family has the right to access. Lena suddenly waved her arm, scattering the papers in her hand into the air. I am busy enough as it is. Why bother with such trivial matters? As you saw last time, my lady, the ore veins there dried up a long time ago. It is a piece of completely desolate land. Why? Lena suddenly leaned in close. Her blue pupils contracted sharply in the shadows. Her mouth curled into a twisted arc. Think about it carefully. My lady, the other territories under my name are all very far from the lands of Viking. Isn't that right for ease of management? That mine on the northern border is your most convenient choice? Make a decision quickly. My lady, Olivia reached out and pressed the ribbon on her chest. Her fingertips tightened with force, Edwin walked through the courtyard. He looked at the figure ahead. Oa's smile was reflected in his red eyes. His cheeks flushed red. My lady, you're back. Sorry for making you wait. Then, let's go. I will show you around the Diaz Palace. The two walked into the palace side by side. Olivia raised her head. Her green pupils contracted in the sunlight. She let out Oa's soft chuckle. Edwin walked through the sea of white flowers. His black cloak brushed against the tips of the grass. His red pupils reflected the clouds. This is the back garden. I spent a year managing this place. I used to work at the Diaz Palace before, but I only gained real power a year ago. Since then, I have guarded this place day and night. Gaining power means special responsibilities. Just like Oa, child. I truly feel that. The corners of Edwin's mouth turned up. It is very beautiful here. Edwin picked a pink flower. Especially this flower. Did you write this sign yourself? Yays. I knew it. This handwriting looks very familiar. Olivia fell into deep thought. Oa lady-in-waiting stood behind the two. Your Grace, why are you here? This is the Diaz Palace, the residence of the Crown Princess. In other words, outsiders should not step foot here. Olivia turned her head slightly. I allowed it. The lady-in-waiting froze in place. What? Olivia's lips parted slightly. It means he is my guest. Unless there have been uninvited guests here before. Otherwise, as the owner of this palace, regarding the distinguished guest I personally invited, who dares to question it? The woman stood frozen in place. But the Crown Prince will be arriving soon. Olivia walked toward the carriage. It's getting late. I will find another time to visit again. The woman let out a hurried cry. My Lady Edwin sat inside the carriage. This is indeed a wonderful place. If it weren't for that unpleasant interruption, I would have wanted to stay a bit longer. But it seems, my lady, you already have the victory in your grasp, haven't you? Olivia looked down at her hands. Her golden pupils were as calm as water. Yes, I told you long ago. I have never lost. I believe my lady will make the same choice. Olivia reached out and pressed the ribbon on her chest. Even if you use such words to flatter me, there are some things I still cannot show you now. Olivia lowered her eyes. At least not yet. It is too quiet here. It is simply uninhabitable. It has no value as a tourist attraction. Oh, a lot of reclamation is needed before doing anything. Edwin stood inside the carriage. His short black hair swayed with his movements. He let out a hearty laugh. Haha. How could I want to steal the fruits of my lady's victory? What I want is not material things, but something else. Olivia rested her cheek on one hand. A blush rose to her cheeks. As long as you speak. Edwin reached out his right hand. Well, perhaps. The corners of Edwin's mouth curled up. A smile showed in his red pupils. Could you try calling me something more intimate? Olivia froze on the spot. Her green pupils widened in surprise. What? You always address me as? Your Grace. Edwin narrowed his eyes. A smile showed in his red pupils. Why not try calling me by my name once? You surely know it, don't you? Olivia lowered her head. Her green pupils avoided his gaze. I certainly know it. It is my honor to share my name with you. Olivia's lips moved. Slightly, her voice barely audible. Edwin leaned his ear closer. There was playfulness in his red pupils. What did you say? The voice was too quiet. I couldn't hear it. Edwin raised his right hand. Why not try calling me properly for once? Olivia turned her head sharply. Her green pupils trembled with embarrassment and annoyance. I already called it just now. I didn't hear it. Edwin approached slowly. After all, we are about to get married. Calling each other by name is only natural. If you don't do so, things might become even more awkward. Right. The coachman's voice came through. Your Grace. There is a carriage stopped in front of the Grand Duke's residence. You had better check it. Edwin looked out the window. A black carriage was stopped on the stone road. 4 black horses stood still in the moonlight. Oh, a carriage. Edwin was expressionless. His red pupils stared ahead sternly. Olivia stood behind him. Confusion showed in her green pupils. Edwin suddenly pulled the fabric, blocking the view outside the window. The moonlight is too bright. The night wind is also very cold. It's better to draw the curtains. Olivia was enveloped in shadows. Why so sudden? Let's go. Olivia lifted her face. Her green pupils trembled in the shadows. Your Grace. Olivia. Olivia froze on the spot. Her green pupils contracted sharply. Come out. Olivia. Jed was standing outside the window. He looked at Olivia. Pleading showed in his purple pupils. Please, Edwin turned his face. His red pupils locked on her. Olivia. Do you really intend to talk to Sir Jed? Olivia reached out and pressed her hand to her chest. I intend to drive him away, so that he can never return. Edwin lowered his eyelids. Since that is your wish, you really don't know how to pick your timing. Vice Commander Jed. Jed stood in the moonlight. Your Grace. Edwin leaned down close to Olivia. I will keep my distance. If you need it, I will call out loudly. Jed witnessed this scene, and his right hand hanging at his side suddenly clenched. Why treat me this way? Making me look like some kind of thug. That kind of concern shouldn't come from an outsider like you. It should come from OA family member like me. Family sweat broke out on Jed's temples. His purple pupils trembled violently. As he stared at Olivia before him, Jed reached up and messed up his hair. His short, silver-white hair scattered between his fingers. What on earth are you doing here? Talking about erasing the Madeline name, and then completely disappearing. Is that all? Do you know how much I... Jed was at OA loss for words. What was I about to say just now? Come back. Stop making me worry. Azella was put under house arrest because she wanted to see you. Your maid as well. So, come home. Olivia spoke slowly. Her hair scattered in the wind. The territory's ledgers are in the second drawer on the left of my desk. Azella cannot handle them yet. Have her check them with Derek, the Baron's butler. I will write OA letter with OA detailed list. Also, Jed suddenly swung his arm. His fingers splayed in the air. Enough. What kind of nonsense are you babbling? Olivia remained expressionless, her green pupils staring back coldly. This is OA handover. I told you this, OA, long time ago. Edwin stood on the lawn in the distance, his red pupils watching the two figures. I will never return to the Madelines. To avoid any further trouble, I will hand everything over clearly now. Jed grit his teeth, anger showing in his purple eyes. Are you crazy? Jed suddenly reached out and grabbed Olivia's shoulders. Jed let go, taking OA step back. His purple eyes were full of shock. What is wrong with you? Even in situations worse than this, you survived. You were always so stubborn, persisting until now. And yet you plan to give up because of something like this? Just because of this? Sir Jed? Jed suddenly clutched his chest. Don't call me that. Even you are calling me that, Olivia. But you are? OA, Madeline? Olivia looked down at the ground. You say I have always been stubborn, even cold and unfeeling. Everything I did was just to do my best. For my family? Olivia lowered her eyelids. I thought that one day they would notice. That one day they would acknowledge my efforts. Jed stood frozen in place. Olivia tilted her head slightly, a mournful light reflecting in her green pupils. That one day they would stand by my side. And then one day they would accept me, treating me as real family. Jed took half a step forward. But now I no longer need any of that. Jed held his breath, his purple eyes full of consternation. Slight smile appeared at the corners of Olivia's mouth. Because I am about to have OA home that truly belongs to me. Edwin stood at the boundary of light and shadow, his red pupils constricting slightly. As he watched the figure ahead, Olivia turned around, her long silver-white hair fluttering in the wind. Well then, goodbye. Olivia walked toward the distance. Her skirt swayed in the sunlight, and her silver-white hair drifted with the breeze. Edwin leaned against OA's stone pillar, waiting while Jed remained frozen in place. Edwin stepped forward quickly, reaching out to support Olivia's shoulder. Are you all right? Olivia looked up at Edwin, the corners of her mouth curling up gently. I think so. Is the burden too heavy for you? Of course not, because I feel like I'm finally going to have OA home. OA, home of my own. Olivia reached out and grabbed Edwin's black cloak. Edwin's body froze. His red pupils contracted slightly. Gazing at Olivia's face, Olivia raised her head. OA glimmer shone in her green pupils. Softly calling his name, Edwin lowered his eyelids. His red pupils trembled in the shadows. His breath stalled under the moonlight. Olivia tilted her head slightly. What's wrong with you? Edwin suddenly snapped back to his senses. Edwin reached up and pressed his hand against the back of his neck. Fluster showed in his red pupils. It's nothing. I just didn't expect you to call my name. Olivia lowered her eyes. You were the one who told me to call you by your name directly? If you don't like it, I won't call you that anymore. Edwin suddenly reached out and grabbed Olivia's wrist. Edwin gazed at Olivia. Please, you must always call me that. Is it really okay? Edwin lowered his head. His red pupils locked onto her gaze. Their breaths intertwined in the close proximity. OA flush rose to Olivia's cheeks. You too? The butler stood at the door. Don't you plan on coming in? It's very cold outside. Coming in now? Olivia lifted her skirt. She quickened her pace and rushed toward the castle gate, leaving Edwin standing alone on the spot. Edwin reached out and covered his cheek. I want to take OA walk first. The air here is very refreshing. Hannah poked her head out from behind the door. All right. Then we will escort the young lady inside first. Edwin, Olivia's lips curled up slightly. What? Oh, wonderful name. Edwin, Olivia stared into the mirror. Her green pupils were overflowing with light. Every time she spoke that name, she couldn't help but want to smile. Edwin curled up under OA tree in the courtyard. His hands tightly covered his face. I must have looked like a fool just now. Edwin loosened his hands. His burning cheeks were visible between his fingers. That voice echoed in his ears. Edwin. Edwin leaned against the tree trunk. His hands tightly covered his face. His chest rose and fell violently. Edwin looked up at the castle tower. The lights from inside the window were reflected in his red pupils. A curve formed at the corner of his mouth. Olivia. Leopold. On the velvet bed. Your Highness, you seem distracted today, although you are right beside me. Your heart has drifted far away. Leopold reached out to stroke her cheek. I'm sorry. Maria. Some things have become complicated. Maria raised her head. Doubt showed in her eyes. Is it because of Miss Olivia? Leopold sat up. Yes. Last Wednesday. She seemed to have seen us together. Leopold looked down and opened a wooden box. He picked up a cigar with his fingertips. So she took it upon herself to cancel our plans. Maria gripped the white bedsheet tightly against her chest. Your Highness, this means she thinks you and I. Leopold wrapped his arms around Maria from behind. His chin rested on her shoulder. Don't worry, Maria. I will handle all of this. If anyone is at fault, it is her for daring to break the plan. Leopold put on a white shirt. That Isekai woman has actually started to make things troublesome. Besides, she used to be trembling with fear at every word she said to me. Maria, you know that, right? Maria raised her face. Her round blue eyes watched Leopold. A complex light shone in her gaze. Olivia sat at the long table. Her green eyes gazed at the teacup in front of her. Steam rose into the air, blurring her face. The maid walked up behind Olivia. She bent down and whispered, a reminder to her. It is time to go to the back garden. Olivia slowly stood up. A trace of a smile played on her lips. His Highness will not be coming over for a short while. Even so. My lady. So, do you really plan to make me wait until the last moment? Guard pushed open the main door. Long live the little son of the Empire. Olivia rose to give her greeting. She lifted her skirt with both hands and curtsied. Long live the little son of the Empire. Why are you being so formal? Is it because you feel sorry for leaving early yesterday? Olivia. Olivia turned her body away. Her golden eyes were hidden in the shadows. Regarding our engagement, Leopold. Standing before him, before ending all of this, I have come to see you one last time. The corners of Leopold's mouth curled up. He pressed his fingertips against his lips. Cold light flickered in his blue eyes. Leopold threw back his head and laughed. His laughter echoed through the empty hall. Olivia stood silently. Her green eyes watched the man who was laughing wildly. Her face showed no emotion at all. Leopold stopped laughing. Why not just be honest? You were only doing this because you were jealous. Olivia lowered her gaze. After all this time, is this the only thing you want to say? I do not even expect an apology from you. I only ask that you maintain at least a shred of human decency. Are you expecting me to ask you out? Fine. Then we shall go out together. Olivia's green eyes were downcast. There was no ripple of emotion in her gaze. Leopold stepped toward the sofa. This way you will stop, won't you? Stop pestering that Grand Duke. Leopold leaned back onto the bench. He crossed his legs. His blue eyes squinted at the standing woman. Olivia. Leopold let out a soft chuckle. Yes, Olivia. It is wonderful to see you being so obedient. You want to break the engagement? Do you really trust that Grand Duke? At 19 years old, you really are naive. Leopold reached out to pick up his teacup. The bottom of the cup clinked against the saucer, making a crisp sound. Olivia turned her face. Her long silver-white hair fell across her cheek. I am already 20 years old. Your Highness. Leopold paused with the cup at his lips. He closed his eyes. He let out an exclamation. Really? You are already 20? Leopold suddenly opened his eyes. His blue pupils contracted. Olivia covered her mouth. She let out Owe's soft laugh. Leopold's face was hidden in the shadows. His blue eyes shimmered in the darkness. His gaze became cold. Since I was 9 years old, I had already given my whole heart to you. Until I received your proposal? No, to be precise. It was until just now. Leopold looked away. The corners of his mouth turned up slightly. He let out a short, soft chuckle. Laughing to yourself in front of others, where have your manners gone, my lady? Olivia stopped in her tracks. Her green eyes glanced back diagonally. Speaking of lack of manners, I believe those words apply to you as well. Your Highness, what nonsense are you talking about? Olivia sat by the round table. Was it not you who, without obtaining my consent, took the liberty of bringing Lady Maria into the palace? Leopold sat on the bench. Astonishment showed in his blue eyes. What did you say, my lady? Are you accusing me now? Olivia picked up the teapot. I simply thought you appreciated honesty. That's why I brought it up. Leopold slammed the table. Enough, Olivia. Stop this unreasonable behavior. Leopold leaned in close to her ear. A cold light flickered in his blue eyes. Before I truly decide to break the engagement, You'd better know when to stop. I'm leaving for today. Reflect on yourself properly. Such reckless behavior. I've said enough. You should understand your situation. After all, you were once so obsessed with this engagement. Olivia picked up her teacup. The engagement will be dissolved. Leopold leaned in close. A chill emanated from his blue eyes. And who decided that? Olivia put down the teacup. Her green eyes stared straight ahead. You and I, Your Highness. After all, you already have a candidate you wish to make Empress. I know my place very well. Knowing clearly that this is the truth, Leopold stood up abruptly. Your jealousy has gone too far. My lady, were you eavesdropping? Olivia sat where she was. There was no ripple in her green eyes. Eavesdropping, Leopold looked down. Just a moment ago. In this TS palace that belongs to me, you are the one who had a secret tryst with Miss Maria. Leopold stood up abruptly. Anger showed in his blue eyes. My lady? Olivia sat on the bench. Her green eyes contracted slightly. Watching the approaching Leopold, she leaned back. Hand suddenly cut in. Edwin stood in front of Olivia. His red eyes stared coldly at Leopold. Greetings to the right son of the Empire. Leopold stopped. What insolent behavior is this? How dare you be so presumptuous in the Crown Princess's palace? Olivia stood up. I invited him. Olivia raised her hand to her chest. Your Highness, is this not the palace you bestowed upon me? I have the right to exercise my authority here. I have already told you. I wish to dissolve the engagement. Next, I intend to seek an audience with His Majesty. I once thought this place belonged to me. It turns out that wasn't the case. So, this is the last time. I've decided to use the rights granted to me to end this dreamlike time. I believe this is the most appropriate choice. Olivia turned to leave. Then let it be so. Leopold clenched his teeth. He let out, a roar. Stop right there. Olivia stopped her steps. Her fingertips lightly touched her lips. I forgot to bow. Olivia bowed slightly. Greetings to the young son of the Empire, Olivia. Madeline, the next time we meet, I will be the Grand Duchess of Vic. When I greet you? Until then, please take care. Leopold stood frozen on the spot. His blue eyes contracted violently. The first meeting at age 9, at age 14, I failed to give him the handkerchief. During his first military expedition, at age 18, I firmly believed the first dance at the adult ceremony would belong to her. At age 20, I never doubted this palace belonged to me. My fiancé is now confessing to another woman. The heavy wooden door slammed shut, making a dull, loud thud. Olivia stopped her steps. Did my back look all right just now? Edwin turned his head. Your back profile? Olivia lowered her head. This is the first time I've ever left someone behind and walked away like this. It feels strange. I am looking at him. He truly is magnificent, just as he has always been. Edwin strode forward in his boots. As long as I am with you, this feeling will become even stronger. Edwin bent his arm. Olivia took his arm. The two walked side by side toward the end of the hall. Sunlight streamed through the high windows, spilling over their departing figures. A middle-aged man stood in front of the palace. His Majesty is currently handling important state affairs. He has ordered that no one is to enter. I have already waited for 3 hours. Edwin looked the attendant straight in the eye. A sense of pressure radiated from his red eyes. Go and confirm with His Majesty once more. Tell him the Grand Duke of Vic has arrived to claim the wish he was promised. Ever since I lowered my head, to avoid that cold gaze, I will go and check again. Olivia looked at Edwin. Should we come back later? To be honest, I'm a bit tired. Edwin turned his head. His red eyes gazed at Olivia. Since you say so, then let us leave. Guests gathered in the hall, watching the two as they walked side by side. Why are they together? Is she really going to marry the Grand Duke? Then what should His Highness the Crown Prince do? The Madeline family has a younger daughter. There is no other choice besides that. The Grand Duke has already left. The Emperor tightened his grip. That bastard. I thought he brought back Ella in order to obtain that white crystal mine, and I had even handed the mine over to the princess. The Emperor gritted his teeth. His blue eyes stared fixedly ahead. That cunning fox, he actually dared to swindle a promise out of me, just to propose to Olivia. This child also carries the blood of Madeline. As long as you appoint her as the Crown Princess, the Duke bowed slightly. The loyalty of House Madeline will forever belong to you. Your Majesty, Olivia's eyes widened. Her green pupils trembled violently. Her breath hitched in an instant. That mad dog actually dared to show his fangs at me. Not only does he want to destroy the loyalty of the Duke's house, he also dares to be so presumptuous. The Empress placed her hand on the Emperor's shoulder. Is something troubling you, Your Majesty? The Empress leaned close to the Emperor's ear. Don't let worries ruin your handsome face. The Emperor looked ahead. The Grand Duke was just here. He requested my permission to marry that lady. The Empress covered her mouth. He really is a fellow who doesn't know his place. That is true, but after all, this is a wish granted in my name. It is difficult to refuse. The Emperor closed his eyes tightly, pressing his fingers firmly against his temple. But if I grant it, what would Duke Madeline think? The Empress tilted her head. Why don't you handle it according to precedent, Your Majesty? The Emperor opened his eyes. Confusion showed in his blue eyes. Precedent, according to ancient texts. In order to clarify the order of succession, a woman who was once engaged to the imperial family may not marry another noble within 1 year. The Empress revealed a smile. So please grant this engagement on the condition of a 1-year grace period. Grant the marriage contract. That lady who loves ancient books will surely agree to this condition. The Emperor's mouth curled upward. 1 year's time is enough for me to devise a perfect plan, whether it's returning the eldest daughter to her original place or making the second daughter the crown princess. She seems quite sincere. So returning the eldest daughter is the best choice. The Empress stood before the office desk, watching the Emperor's back. Your Majesty, but there is one thing I am curious about. The Emperor sat in the armchair. What is it, Empress? The Empress took a step closer. Did that young lady also agree to the Grand Duke's proposal? The Emperor remained silent. Yes, it is said that the young lady liked it very much. The Crown Prince, the Emperor, raised his wineglass. To have someone as clever as the Empress by my side is truly my good fortune. Another excellent reason to attack the Grand Duke has appeared before me just like this. The Empress lowered her head slightly. You flatter me, Your Majesty. The son will face the same fate as his father. When that handsome face twists in despair, I really look forward to it. Your Majesty, the Empress. The Empress suddenly widened her eyes. What did you say? That young lady actually requested to break the engagement. The Empress clenched her teeth, her golden eyes full of hostility. As expected of a lowly half-blood, she can only make such a shallow choice. She kept saying she was sincere, but in reality she is so hypocritical, truly brazen, lowly and vulgar. There must never be a 1-year grace period. The Empress turned abruptly, her long red dress sweeping through the corridor. I must see His Majesty immediately. I will demand the fiancé be changed to the younger daughter. Let the Duke watch as that innocent face withers and dies. Crown Prince Leopold stopped in his tracks. Mother, Your Majesty, what wind brings you here? The Empress stepped forward quickly, rage burning in her golden eyes. I heard that half-blood dared to be rude to you. Originally, I wanted to ask His Majesty for a 1-year grace period, but now it seems there is no need for that. The Empress lowered her voice. A poisonous look in her golden eyes. Crown Prince, abandon Olivia immediately. Name Azella as the Crown Princess instead. A 1-year grace period. The Empress nodded. Precisely. To clarify the line of succession, the Crown Prince dictates that a woman once engaged to the imperial family cannot marry another within 1 year, although that low-born woman has some ability. I originally wanted to give him a chance. The corners of Leopold's mouth turned up slightly. That grace period. I grant it. The Empress's eyes widened in shock. Her golden eyes were full of astonishment. Crown Prince, what are you saying? Leopold lowered his arm. It's fine, Mother. I know her very well. Olivia Madeline. Leopold turned away, a cruel smile appearing in his blue eyes. She is an easygoing person. She will surely accept this arrangement. Olivia Madeline. To balance the imperial family and the noble factions, during this 1-year grace period, I wish for Maria Ether to be named my fiancé. How about this, my lady? The theme of this dress is tulips. This one is lilies. This one is designed to highlight the jeweled neckline. Are there any other clothes? The seamstress bowed. She presented a thick album with both hands. Yes, Your Grace. This is the new arrivals catalog. Edwin raised his hand, his fingertips lightly touching his chin. He gazed at Olivia's face. What is it, my lady? Olivia frowned slightly, dissatisfaction showing in her green eyes. Don't you think this is a bit excessive? Madam, I think we need some fresh tea. The seamstress pressed her hands together. Certainly. I will prepare some immediately. Please take your time browsing. Olivia clenched her fists. She suddenly pointed to the rows of dresses behind her. This is already the 15th dress. Edwin let out a soft chuckle. When I said I would give you a gift, you were the one who insisted on choosing the best. Olivia was at a loss for words. Her green eyes lowered slightly, avoiding the other's gaze. That is because Edwin suppressed his smile. I asked you about your preferences, but you weren't listening at all? Olivia lowered her head in silence. The tailor should have already gone there by then. Edwin closed his eyes. A blush crept onto his cheeks. He let out a light chuckle. I cannot even bring myself to be angry with you. Why do you have such a regretful expression? Apology showed in Olivia's green eyes. Because I am truly sorry. I didn't mean to be distracted. I just had other things on my mind. Before leaving the Duke's mansion, I ordered OA dress for my sister at this shop. I just suddenly thought of that matter. The corners of Edwin's mouth curled up slightly. Gentleness showed in his red eyes. You seem to care for your sister very much. Olivia turned her body away. Her green eyes were full of hesitation. Then can you pay a little more attention to me now? You see, when you keep ignoring me, I really am about to get angry. But with just one word from you, all my displeasure will vanish. Olivia's eyes suddenly widened. The other's figure was reflected in her green eyes. Her breath stalled for an instant. Come to think of it, you've never called me by my name. Edwin lowered his head. OA's sense of unease showed in his red eyes. OA blush rose to the tips of his ears. That is because you never gave me permission to call you by your name. Nor did you ever ask me to do so. Olivia stood frozen on the spot. OA look of blankness showed in her green eyes. Her fingertips lightly touched her lips, gazing at the man before her. Olivia lowered her eyelids. Her cheeks were stained crimson. You can call me by my name directly. It's all right. Edwin raised his right hand. I cannot do that. I have said before. Edwin took hold of her hand. His red eyes were full of determination. For you, I am willing to do anything. In other words, if you do not tell me your wishes, I will be powerless. Olivia lowered her eyelids. It's just that in the past, no one has ever asked for permission to call me by my name. From my perspective, Edwin gazed at her. OA hint of OA's smile showed in his red eyes. Now there is something you want. Olivia's lips parted slightly, gazing at Edwin's face. I also want you to call me by my name, Edwin, and I want you to call me as if I were OA, precious treasure. Edwin gazed at Olivia. Her figure was reflected in his red eyes. The corners of his mouth curled into an arc. Olivia. Olivia is truly OA beautiful name. I have wanted to call you that for OA long time. Olivia pressed her lips together and smiled. Edwin is also OA good name. Edwin's fingertips trembled slightly. My name. Olivia raised both hands. Her index fingers pressed against the corners of her mouth, pushing them up. This is OA name that just saying it aloud makes one feel happy. Edwin, every time I say your name, the corners of my mouth will curl up like this. Edwin was stunned on the spot. His red pupils contracted slightly. His cheeks were instantly stained crimson. Gazing at the smiling woman before him, Edwin covered his burning cheeks with both hands. We still need shoes and jewelry. What? Just the clothes ordered today will fill the wardrobe. Edwin walked quickly forward. The boxes for shoes and jewelry are packed separately. My only dowry is an abandoned mine. I really cannot accept so many things. Olivia gripped her black dress tightly against her chest. I have jewelry? That pink diamond necklace is still there too. But you haven't worn it once since the last banquet. Olivia lowered her eyelids. Her fingertips lightly touched her lips. That ease. Edwin reached out to tilt her chin up. Why is it that whenever you think of your sister, your eyes are filled with sadness? Olivia closed her eyes, allowing his fingertips to brush past the corners of her eyes. Just as you said, I am indeed filled with sadness. If only she could have listened to that one sentence back then. I did nothing. Is it because I always said, next time, that Isela refused to listen to my explanation? Tea parties, cafes, her socialite debut, all those places she wanted to go? Even so, I still loathe the words she said. Did mother really die because of you? Sister Edwin turned his body. Then she must truly hate seeing you. Olivia looked down at her hands. I feel hurt and grieved. Perhaps I really did hate her, but I still want to see her. Edwin gazed at Olivia. A deep meaning showed in his red pupils. House Madeline seems quite lucky. And among them, that second young lady is the luckiest of all. This young lady has already arrived at the manor. She is looking for Olivia. Heavy rain washed over the stone walls of the ancient castle. Thunder rolled deep within the clouds. Water poured down from the eaves. Isela wrapped her black cloak tightly. Her round purple eyes watched the guard. Isela, Madeline. Please tell my sister I am here. Okay. The guard looked down, staring at the small figure in front of him. Do I really need to report this to Miss Olivia? To think you came all this way. This lady is very kind, so she will certainly agree to see you. Then why? The guard looked down at since you know this, you still showed up at the door without any hesitation. Isela suddenly looked up. Her round purple pupils contracted violently. I never thought about that. This night, does he care more about sister than I do? Even more than her own family. He said that if you can guarantee not to have any expectations, you may enter. Isela gripped her white skirt tightly. Her fingertips left creases in the fabric. Do not have any expectations. That was the promise I made just to get in. And so, the candlelight flickered on the walls. The hands of the clock made a ticking sound. Perhaps it would be better if I hadn't come. All I can say is sorry. I shouldn't have said those things to her, blaming her for mother's death. knowing how father and my brothers mistreated her, yet I stood by and did nothing, letting my sister, who had been afraid of ghosts since she was 8, live in the attic, knowing she would be scolded, yet still dragging her along to play. Olivia turned around. Her silver-white long hair swayed in the wind. How did she manage to smile back then? No, that's not right. How on earth was I able to smile? This cheap apology is not enough at all. I should come back another time. I must write a formal letter. Instead of doing this now, Azella suddenly turned her head. Her round purple eyes stared at the person coming. Olivia stopped walking, gazing at the young girl in front of her. Azella took a step forward. Sister, do you know? I have so many things I want to apologize to you for. Also, I'm sorry for showing up at your door so suddenly. Azella looked down at her hands. I came here to apologize to you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have appeared so suddenly like that. No matter how much I think about it, I shouldn't have said those things to you. I shouldn't have stood by and watched coldly. Seeing how father and my brothers treated you, you shouldn't have suffered in that palace in my place. You shouldn't have stayed alone on the 4th floor. In that terrible attic? Azella lifted her face. Her round purple eyes were filled with tears. She gazed at the sister in front of her. Olivia broke into Oa's smile. Soft light shone from her green pupils. Tears streamed from Azella's eyes. Sister, I am truly sorry. I am truly sore. Olivia flicked her finger. Her fingertip lightly tapped Azella's forehead, making a crisp clicking sound. Azella covered her forehead. Her round purple eyes were full of confusion. She gazed at Olivia. Those words make it sound as if it were really your fault. Olivia opened her arms. She suddenly pulled Azella into a hug. But besides those things, everything else is all my fault. It's not your fault. Azella, you haven't done anything wrong. Olivia released the embrace. She gazed at Azella's face. Really, none of this is your fault. Outside the window, the thunder gradually faded. Green plants swayed in the rain. A knock sounded on the door. The call of a maid came from outside. My lady, the young Duke of Madeline has arrived at the main gate. Oh, look at the time. You should probably be going, right? Azella stopped her movements. Her round purple eyes gazed at Olivia. Sister. Olivia turned her head slightly to look at Yes. Azella clenched her fingertips. Are you not planning to return to the Madeline territory? Olivia took an object from her person. Azella, isn't this yours? Azella's eyes widened suddenly. Her purple pupils contracted violently. She gazed at the necklace in Olivia's hand. The red gemstone glittered in the light. Can you help me put it on? Olivia turned around. Oa's smile showed in her green pupils. Of course I can. Olivia lowered her head. She gazed at the scratches on the necklace. It's broken. Do you want me to get you a new one? I have one exactly like it. Azella took the necklace. It's all right. This is proof of my actions. It is the regret I must carry alone. So I prefer how it looks now. Night shrouded the manor. A deep blue carriage stopped at the main gate. Conrad sat deep inside the carriage, staring at the void outside the window. Azella looked down at her neck. Her fingertips lightly touched the ruby. Her long silver-white hair fell over her shoulders. Olivia stood behind her. Her hands rested on Azella's shoulders. This is the exact opposite of the situation last time. That time, you were the one helping me put it on. Azella, oh my, are you crying? Azella lowered her head in silence. Her round purple eyes were filled with tears. Azella gripped the hem of her skirt. Her fingertips sank into the fabric. But sister, I am still your sister, right? Olivia stood behind her. Looking at the top of Azella's head, of course Azella lifted her face. Her round purple eyes widened slightly. That selfish Madeline, until the very end. You are still like this, even without the Madeline surname. We are still sisters. Olivia cupped Azella's face. She gazed into those tear-filled eyes. Her fingertips wiped away the falling tears. Conrad stepped forward. His black leather shoes stepped on the stone floor. Azella gripped the hem of her skirt. Her round purple eyes stared ahead. I am certain father told you not to come here. Conrad turned his head. His short silver-white hair covered his eyes. His purple pupils locked onto his. If father finds out, your punishment will be far more than just being grounded. Azella lowered her eyelids. But I had to come. Conrad suddenly leaned his body forward. His short silver-white hair was slightly messy. In his purple pupils, a chill emanated. What? Azella straightened her back. I must apologize to her. Conrad suddenly rose to his feet. He let out a roar of anger. Azella froze in place. You could have come to pick her up? You could have worried about her as much as you worry about me now. Why were you never that kind to her? Even just a little bit. If you had shown even a shred of kindness, things might not have turned out this way. Conrad raised his right hand. He spread his fingers. Covering his face, He let out a heavy sigh. Isella, I don't know what you are thinking. But she has done nothing. Conrad covered his face with his hand. His purple pupils trembled in the shadows. What did you say? From the moment she arrived, our happiness was shattered. Mother died. Father buried himself in his work. Staring at Oa's cold office, Jed wandered between battlefields. Running from one war to the next, Conrad grit his teeth. And she actually dares to say that girl has done nothing, it seems. The only person in the Madeline family who never misses an opportunity. Is you, Mrs. Conrad lowered his head in silence. Night fell. The castle spires pierced the deep blue sky. Watching over the silent manor, Edwin stood at the edge of the terrace. His red pupils watched the carriage in the distance. Olivia stood side by side with him. Edwin spread his hands. At this rate, the gates of the Grand Duke's mansion will soon become a meeting point for the Madeline family. Olivia blinked her round green eyes. The faces of Conrad and Jed flashed through her mind. Olivia lowered her head. A faint smile appeared at the corners of her mouth. That is true indeed. Edwin turned his head. He watched her expression. Are you all right? Olivia turned her face. Doubt showed in her green pupils. What do you mean? Is it because the young Duke came to pick up I'm fine, because now, every time I leave, Edwin, you will come to pick me up. Olivia turned around. She gazed at Edwin's face. No matter when, no matter where. A slight smile appeared at the corners of Edwin's mouth. What am I to do with you, Olivia? Olivia tilted her head and looked at Edwin. About what? Edwin took a step closer. Even though you can shake me so icily, Edwin reached out and put his arm around Olivia's waist, pulling her into his embrace. I have no other choice. I can only allow myself to be completely captured by you. All right, now, shall we talk about that 1-year grace period? Is that His Majesty's decree? Within this 1-year period, you must either return the eldest daughter to her original position or appoint the second daughter as the crown princess. A burst of whispers erupted from the crowd. An elderly nobleman spread his hands. That is indeed the general meaning. The Duke will surely be reluctant to give up the second daughter. After all, she is his most beloved child. But will the eldest daughter ever come back? Who knows? After all, the eldest daughter used to be so infatuated with His Highness. The Emperor sat on his high throne. His blue pupils remained dormant. Gazing down at the noisy crowd, crossing both hands against his chin, Maria, I will choose you as my fiancé. Maria covered her mouth. Her round blue eyes were full of pleasant surprise. Leopold. Maria suddenly threw herself into his arms. Leopold reached out and pressed his hand on top of her head. Haha, are you that happy? Of course, I have dreamed of this day for a long time. Maria pressed herself tightly against Leopold's chest. Since you are so happy, then, during this 1 year, you can fulfill the duties of a fiancé, right? Maria's body froze. Her round blue eyes contracted sharply. Your Highness, what do you mean by this? Leopold released his arms. This is only for this 1 year while Olivia is away. It is just within the grace period. Do you want to be my mistress? You are to play the role of my fiancé. Can you handle it? Come on, Maria. Olivia held the bouquet. Are you sure you don't need to go to the Imperial Palace? Edwin sat in the armchair. They wouldn't open the door for us anyway. I sent a letter stating that I will go to request the marriage permit tomorrow afternoon. So, well, go tomorrow afternoon. Olivia lowered her gaze. Tomorrow morning, there is a Noble Council meeting every Monday morning. Why doesn't Edwin attend? Edwin suddenly leaned in close. Why are you staring at me? You're making my heart race. Olivia recoiled slightly. Her green eyes dilated in surprise. I was just wondering, why don't you attend the Noble Council? The Noble Council. That is a mandatory meeting for all high-ranking nobles. Yet Duke Edwin never attends. I was always away at war before, but now the war is over. Olivia widened her eyes. Since you are so clever, why don't you give me an idea? Do you want me to attend the Noble Council? Olivia lowered her head, avoiding the other's gaze. I was just curious. Please don't mind me. Edwin took a step forward. He reached out and held her fingertips. Come on, tell me. If I attend the Noble Council, what can Vikander gain from it? Olivia pursed her lips. You can speak publicly about the mineral tax issue. You have already handed over all the spoils of war to His Majesty? That is true. I never thought about the tax issue. Vikander is already wealthy enough. The corners of Edwin's mouth turned up. Unless Olivia's spending becomes more extravagant, how did you know I was worried about the Duke's taxes? Is it because I restrained myself and only bought 15 dresses? Olivia turned her face, watching Edwin's reaction, and I even bought those shoes. Edwin threw back his head and laughed. His red eyes narrowed into slits. In that case, the situation is completely different. It seems I must attend for once. He followed my advice. He actually listened to my words. Edwin walked out the door. So we should go back and buy the rest of those shoes too. Right. Olivia chased after him. Wait, Edwin, do you really intend to attend the Noble Council? Yes. It'll officially start, probably from next Monday. This afternoon is just for meeting His Majesty. Thinking about it carefully, I don't like the idea of the money we worked hard to save, all filling up the Emperor's pockets. The adjutant spread his hands. Looking at Edwin, this decision might take us one step further away from the White Crystal Mine. Edwin buttoned his collar, watching as the adjutant investigated the princess's situation again. Keep an eye on the mine. At the same time, track the princess's movements. The imperial family will never recognize his true worth. The butler hurried into the room. He held OA letter on OA tray. Your Grace. OA letter has arrived from the Imperial Palace. You are summoned to OA meeting tomorrow morning. The letter states that the marriage will be discussed tomorrow. Olivia turned around abruptly. Her green eyes trembled with shock. OA, morning meeting. There is less than 1 hour left before the meeting begins. Edwin, go and get ready quickly. What if we are late? Olivia, don't you usually take a long time to get ready? Don't worry, so what if we're late? Edwin approached softly. He gazed into Olivia's eyes. If we're late, it's the Emperor's fault. He sent the notice too late. He did it on purpose. The protagonist always makes OA grand entrance at the end. Olivia, let's have breakfast before we get ready. We must have OA full stomach. All right, breakfast first, then we prepare. Edwin held the letter between his fingertips. His red eyes narrowed beneath his short black hair. As expected of my girl, she hasn't arrived yet. I only sent the notice an hour ago. Of course she hasn't arrived yet. How interesting. The Emperor sat on his high throne. Coldness emanated from his blue eyes. He said that before today's meeting. He wanted to talk to that lady first. It seems the talk didn't go well. The Duke stood by the long table. Forgive me, Your Majesty. It seems Miss Madeline has become a bit carried away. Marquis Eder spread his palms. Rumors of her improper detention at the Grand Duke's residence have already spread, and now she actually dares to be late for OA meeting, personally called by Your Majesty. What? Oh, a huge joke. So arrogant. This is why the aristocratic faction is so useless. Just as I expected. As OA candidate for Crown Princess, the eldest daughter of House Madeline is the perfect choice. The aristocratic faction can only attack her status as an illegitimate daughter, but she is the only one who can bring the power of House Madeline to the Emperor's faction. At the same time, she is the woman Edwin longingly desires. The Emperor leaned back on his throne. He watched the officials below. Now, regarding the discussion to postpone it by 1 year, we shall begin. The meeting official unrolled OA scroll. As you command, Your Majesty. The first item on the agenda is next month's treaty with the defeated nation Hepelty. The Emperor's mouth curled upward. He sent dozens of letters, demanding to discuss the marriage. I really want to see him rush in. With the look on his face when he thinks ill, grant it. To reject his request for OA 1 year postponement to his face, I really want to see his expression then. The sound of reading echoed in the council chamber. The next item on the agenda is the Grand Duke. Perhaps His Grace is too busy with state affairs and forgot the time, but that lady beside him should at least have been punctual. Marquis Eder turned his head. He looked at the seated nobles. Miss Eder would never behave in such OA disrespectful manner. The Emperor sat in his high position. He folded his hands, covering his face. Silence. Everyone remained quiet. Edwin reached out his hand. Their palms met. Edwin stepped into the hall. Olivia walked side by side with him. Greetings to the most noble son. The Emperor leaned against the back of his chair. His blue eyes showed coldness beneath his short blonde hair. You are late. I have been waiting for you, Grand Duke, since the council began. You only show up now? That is true. Your Majesty's summons only reached my hands a few minutes ago. Edwin closed his eyes and chuckled softly. I am sure Your Majesty didn't delay sending it on purpose, so I believe you can understand. Olivia's straight silver-white hair reached her waist. Her green eyes looked forward calmly. The Duke suddenly widened his eyes and stared at Olivia. His pupils trembled within his sockets. The Emperor looked down from above. Duke, are you blaming me now? The corners of Edwin's mouth curled up. Of course not. I was simply late for the first meeting. I only request that you send the notices normally next time, so that I can attend the next meeting on time. The Emperor suddenly leaned his body forward. The next one, I clearly intended to stop him from forming OA faction by deliberately preventing him from attending the meetings. I only summoned him to humiliate this marriage. This cunning bastard. The Emperor crossed his arms. His blue eyes under his short blonde hair were ice. I cannot have the Duke, who is occupied with OA myriad of affairs, attend every single meeting. The war is over. There's nothing left to be busy with. As the head of House Vi, I will remain by Your Majesty's side to protect you. The Emperor leaned forward. I doubt that attending noble meetings is your true desire. If you continue to be so insolent, Your engagement to that young lady? And the white crystal mine. Edwin closed his eyes and chuckled softly. I believe it is best to start with my public duties, such as the negotiations with Hepati. Olivia stood in the center of the hall. So this was the surprise he mentioned. Edwin turned his head. I couldn't tell you in advance, but you might be surprised when you go in. The Emperor has actually been preventing the Duke from attending meetings. Is it really necessary for him to be so cautious? If not, then there must be some other fundamental reason. We will discuss that matter at the appropriate time. The final item on today's agenda is the marriage between the Duke and Miss Madeline. As you wish, I will approve your engagement to this young lady, but you must follow the proper customs. Meaning leaked from the Emperor's blue eyes. A woman who has had a marital relationship with the imperial family cannot immediately establish a connection with other nobles. There must be a 1-year waiting period. Young lady, are you aware of this custom? Olivia straightened her back. Yes, I am aware. Edwin turned his head to watch Olivia. Olivia looked straight ahead. I am also very aware of how this rule can be used maliciously. The Emperor leaned back in his chair. A sneer appeared in his blue eyes under his short blonde hair. Since I promised to fulfill your wish, through an imperial decree, I will approve it. But you must strictly observe the 1-year grace period. He would never want to give up his precious second daughter, so he has no choice but to return the eldest daughter to her original place within a year. Olivia bowed slightly. Thank you for your Majesty's grace. The Emperor suddenly widened his eyes. Olivia raised her head. Coincidentally, I am also planning a year-long preparation for the wedding. According to the decree you publicly promulgated, we will hold a legal wedding in 1 year. The Emperor sat frozen in place. She is actually so obedient. The corners of Edwin's mouth curled up. What pity? That I cannot make my lady the Duchess sooner. Edwin took Olivia's hand. Thanks to your Majesty's benevolence, we can now prepare for a perfect wedding. Marquis Eder let out a scoff. I heard that the young lady is proficient in ancient texts. It seems you do not fully understand the meaning of this 1-year grace period. Since you do not know its importance, let me explain in detail. I understand your excitement regarding the Duke's marriage, but if you do not understand the intent of this period, I worry it will affect your future chastity. As a father who also has a daughter, I say these words out of concern. I hope you can accept them graciously. The continuation of the imperial bloodline is paramount. It may be presumptuous to say this before the Duke, but this young lady, as the Crown Prince's fiancée, has lived for a full 11 years. If no feelings were developed during this time, that would be a problem, wouldn't it? If you understand the meaning of this 1-year grace period, you should be more concerned about your own conduct, lest the purity of the imperial bloodline be questioned. Instead of being busy preparing for a wedding, my lady, Olivia's mouth curled up slightly. So, it has already been 11 years since my engagement to the Crown Prince, Marquis Eder. Olivia turned around. Her green eyes flashed with a cold light. I am very grateful for your concern as a father. I will keep your words in mind. Therefore, I must also ask you to give Miss Eder the same advice. Marquis Eder's eyes widened suddenly. What? Olivia tilted her head. Since an engagement that lasted for 11 years could break, then shouldn't Miss Eder, as a mere companion, be even more cautious in her words and actions? My lady, please mind your language. Maria is already the intended fiancée. The Emperor barked angrily. Marquise, then you have all the more reason to tell her. No one knows what accidents might happen to an engagement. We must prevent any gossip regarding Miss Maria. Right? Marquis Eder narrowed his eyes. His blue eyes were bloodshot. I didn't expect that your Majesty had already made full preparations for the vacancy of the Crown Prince's fiancée. Olivia lifted her hem. Thank you for your grace, for allowing me to prepare for my wedding with the Duke. With a much lighter heart. The Emperor turned his face. His blue eyes contracted violently. He clenched his teeth. A grinding sound came from between his teeth. This meeting is over. Everyone leave immediately. The Emperor waved his arm suddenly, roaring loudly. I said, get out. The Emperor turned his head, watching the attendant guarding the door. You? Come here. Go and call the princess to my studio. There are things I must confirm in person. Lena held her teacup. What did you say? Are you ordering me to reinvestigate that abandoned mine? The Emperor stood with his back to Lena, watching the garden outside the window. Yes. Investigate it thoroughly and report back to me. The last investigation report claimed there was nothing unusual there. Lena gripped the teacup. Yes. That is indeed true. Your Majesty? The Emperor turned his head. Do the mages have no explanation for the flashing phenomenon in mine? No. 7. Lena froze in place. Mine? No. 7. To think there was a flashing phenomenon in that abandoned mine? The report submitted by that half-blood was, a complete mess. The Emperor tapped the table with his fingertip. Why have you not answered for so long? It's an urgent matter. Edwin reached out his right hand. Indeed, so, it's truly a perfect day. My lady, you should be happy about this perfect victory. Just as you said, I am going to attend the noble council now. Olivia looked up at the castle. Her gaze was firm yet melancholic. Edwin turned his face. You've already obtained permission to marry. You can go to the territory to prepare for the wedding. So why the long face? Olivia lowered her head and muttered to herself. Oh, a long face. It's not because of that. I'm just too happy. As if a spell has been cast. Edwin tilted his head. A spell. Isn't that a kind of magic one occasionally sees in the Imperial Palace? Olivia. Have you seen magic? Olivia waved her arm suddenly. No. It's just a figure of speech. Olivia turned her face. By the way, where did Surkart go? He left in a hurry just now. Edwin covered his chest. While I am standing right here, are you actually looking for Winston? Olivia hunched her shoulders. I didn't mean it like that. Edwin reached out and grasped Olivia's wrist. Are you feeling better now? I just feel displeased. You should have told me. Olivia and Edwin stood side by side. Olivia lowered her eyelids. So the reason you couldn't attend the meetings wasn't because you didn't want to go? Foolish Olivia. I actually failed to notice it all this time. The sharp-witted nobles must have all noticed it. The Emperor loathes Edwin's presence at the meetings. Rumors will quickly begin to spread. Olivia turned her head. I am grateful for everything you've done for me. But if it's not what you want, then don't do it anymore. This is also what I want. Edwin turned his face. Olivia's figure was reflected in his red eyes. He burst into a fit of laughter. Olivia froze in place. Edwin embraced Olivia from behind. Olivia, my dear naive lady, you are so what am I to do with you? I thought you had become bold. At this rate, are you going to be the first to break our agreement? Olivia widened her green eyes. Her lips slightly parted. What? Edwin straightened his posture. The truth is, I didn't attend meetings before because I found them troublesome. It was because of your persuasion that I decided to start attending. Olivia lowered her head, staring at her toes, but Edwin suddenly leaned in close. Do you really think I would back down simply because of the Emperor? Olivia reached out and covered his mouth. Edwin, this is not the Grand Duke's mansion. Edwin lowered his head and kissed her palm. Olivia suddenly backed away. How brazen. Edwin tilted his head back and let out a burst of laughter. What does it matter? We are getting married soon. Edwin raised both hands. In a gesture of surrender. I give up before I get scolded further. Ilgo, call the carriage. Edwin pressed his index finger to his lips. His red eyes flickered in the sunset. By the way, do you know the meaning of a kiss on the palm? That's quite enough. Edwin quickly ran off into the distance. Leaving behind a shrinking silhouette, Olivia stood under the evening glow, staring at the back of the hand he had kissed. Does kissing every spot have a different meaning? Speaking of which, that letter? It was a letter from the Nameless Knight. Since the war ended, those letters haven't been sent anymore. Before heading to the Vikander territory, I should send one last letter, no longer using lies, but thanking him in the name of Olivia for the comfort he once provided and sincerely wishing him a bright future. Edwin stood not far away. Olivia. Edwin extended his right hand. Let's go. Olivia placed her hand in Edwin's palm. Very well, Your Majesty. I am deeply sorry. I was recovering from a headache, and my body has not yet fully healed after rushing back. After taking a short rest, I will report again. Lena suddenly widened her golden eyes and erupted in a roar of anger. Has Count Eubler not arrived yet? The maid stood to the side with her head bowed. Your Majesty, Count Eubler has returned to his hometown on leave because his wife has puerperal fever. Lena turned her head sharply. Summon him immediately. I said right now. Why is the Emperor summoning me because of that abandoned mine? Anyway, I have already thrown that place to that half-blood. Lena widened her golden pupils. Her eyeballs were bloodshot. Cold sweat slid down her cheeks. Everyone, assemble. All personnel are to change shifts now. Lena stood on the high platform, gazing down at the square below. Lena froze on the spot. Staring at Jed's face, her pupils contracted violently. Speaking of which, I haven't had tea with Lord Madeline yet. Tea parties are always so delightful. That day when that arrogant woman could not even lift her head before me. That day when the second young lady had a look of total ruin and fell into despair. And today, Lena widened her golden pupils, showing a distorted smile. What perfect day. Go and bring Lord Madeline here on Monday. But there is no need for that anymore. Why, Olivia? Why haven't you come back yet? I clearly didn't want to see him. Why does he always appear in my mind? Azella pressed her hand against her chest. Is sister having a hard time at the Imperial Palace? Is it really just because of the Imperial Palace? Could this be the reason he isn't coming back? Even if I put frogs in his bed, or locked him outside on rainy days, or even tore up his favorite books. Young Olivia stood in the light and shadow. Brother, he always followed behind me. With Oe smile, Oe hand pressed down on Olivia's shoulder. From today onward, Olivia is the Crown Prince's fiancé, no matter what. She is still Oe, Lady of House Madeline. My siblings all have gemstones in their eyes. Estella possesses the amethyst, and Olivia has emeralds. But she is still my sister, Lord Madeline. Jed turned his head. His gray pupils gazed behind him. Her Highness the Princess is summoning you. Jed stood in the magnificent room, looking straight ahead. So, what did you just say? Lena raised her left hand, twirling a strand of hair around her finger. I know very well that you don't care about that half-blood either, don't you? Azo, a princess? I have been looking after that lowly child until now. He actually seduced the Grand Duke who was originally betrothed to me. Lena raised her chin. O.A., lowly half-blood without O.A. mother. What else could one expect? O.A., vulgar illegitimate child. O.A., half-blood. Jed suddenly clenched his teeth. How could you use such words to describe her? Olivia pressed the back of her hand against the corner of her lips. Is my lord asking? How I knew you hated that half-blood. Weren't you the one who first took the lead in despising him? Jed froze on the spot. Me? No. Olivia. At that time, I just wanted to make her suffer. To make her feel ashamed, that's all. Olivia turned her head. Her green pupils looked behind her. Maria turned her face, gazing at the man beside her, letting out O.A. cheerful laugh. Leopold closed his eyes. O.A.'s smile was on his lips. Olivia stopped walking, gazing at Jed. Jed stood in the shadows. I am not being stubborn. I just thought that one day you would accept me and treat me like real family. But there is no need for that anymore. Jed's eyes suddenly widened. Jed stood up abruptly. Lord Jed quickened his pace to leave. Lord Lena's hands suddenly clutched her head. Her hair. What does this mean? I intended to trick him out of his serum and seize that white crystal mine. He dared to do this to me. 2-0, a princess. Lena held her head with both hands, letting out O.A. scream. How dare he leave the banquet hall without permission? To think he dared to be so rude to her highness? O.A. woman with long dark brown hair walked in. Your highness, please pay no mind to Lord Madeline. He is not worth you wrinkling your noble brow. Lena lowered her hands. Fine, even without O.A. man like that. There will always be other opportunities to find the white crystal mine. The woman with long dark brown hair stood to the side. That is certainly true. He was actually so crude. He doesn't deserve the title of war hero at all. It seems those so-called war heroes are all barbarians. Your highness, why don't you go and get some rest? The corners of the dark brown-haired woman's mouth curled up. I will summon Count Jubal. Until then, would you like to see O.A. performance by the troupe? Lena turned her head. The troupe? The dark brown-haired woman straightened up. Yes. That troupe you liked so much at the lower palace is standing by for you? O.A. slight smile appeared on Lena's lips. Well then, I shall take O.A. break. Let them in. O.A. short. Stout man pushed the door open and entered. He wore O.A. black top hat. He was dressed in O.A. red waistcoat. Several dark figures followed closely behind. They stepped into the magnificent palace hall. Lena rested her chin on the back of her hand. Her golden pupils watched the members of the troupe. He stuck out the tip of his tongue, licking her red lips, staring at the performers in front of her, revealing O.A. greedy look. O.A. hand suddenly struck O.A. musical instrument. Colored confetti flew through the air. O.A. juggler tilted his head back, spouting orangered flames into the air. The firelight illuminated the palace hall. Lena sat in the armchair. Her golden pupils watched the man beside her, revealing an infatuated expression. Lena leaned against the man's shoulder, letting out O.A. wild laugh. Wine bottles were neatly arranged on O.A. tray. Watching the distant revelry, the jugglers tumbled under the setting sun. Lena held the brown-haired man tightly, revealing O.A.'s smug smile. The brown-haired man's gaze suddenly turned cold. Olivia fell into O.A. deep sleep. Edwin watched. The corners of her mouth turned up slightly. Olivia slowly opened her eyes. Her green pupils trembled. Are you awake? If I fall asleep, you should wake me up. Edwin let out O.A. burst of laughter. You seem to be sleeping very soundly. Unless you wanted me to carry you into the house? Olivia shrank back. Edwin, have we been going in circles this whole time? Edwin let out O.A. light chuckle. Olivia reached out to touch her cheek. I have never fallen asleep in front of someone else before. Have I really let my guard down? To this extent, my face must be swollen. You must wake me up next time. Do you understand? Edwin gazed at Olivia. Will there be O.A. next time? You said you would fulfill all my requests? The corners of Edwin's mouth curled up. Edwin spread his palm. This time I just watched you. but next time I will wake you up. Edwin moved closer and spoke softly. After that, can I do as I please? Olivia waved her arm suddenly. Absolutely not. Edwin let out a burst of laughter. You don't even know what I want to do? Olivia turned around. No matter what it is, the answer is no, and there won't be Oe next time. What Oe pity? I was looking forward to it. Edwin spoke again. Then, can I fall asleep in front of you? Olivia. What did you say? When the sunlight is warm, it's easy to get drowsy in the carriage. Perhaps I will fall asleep before you do. An image appeared in Olivia's mind. Olivia shook her head violently. Then let's agree to wake each other up when we arrive. Sleeping in the carriage for too long makes the body become stiff. Edwin curled his lips into Oe's smile. What if it weren't in the carriage? What did you say? If we fall asleep on the sofa while drinking tea, what should we do then? Olivia was at Oe loss for words. Edwin leaned closer to her face. How about providing Oe's shoulder to lean on? For the person who falls asleep, is our relationship not yet close enough to do something like that? Olivia lowered her gaze. About that, well, should we give it Oe a try? Did I take his joke seriously? Edwin leaned down. Oe blush crept onto his cheeks. Are you being serious? Olivia's eyes widened. Her heart pounded violently. Perhaps Edwin originally intended to take things slowly. Edwin reached out and tilted her chin up. Edwin took Oe a step forward. His leather boots stepped on the floor. Making Oe a dull sound, she untied the curtain. Olivia's eyes widened. Edwin lowered his eyelids. His red pupils gazed at her lips. Edwin's Adam's apple bobbed up and down. Sweat slid down his cheek. Oe knock came from the door, breaking the dead silence. Your Grace? Has the lady woken up yet? Olivia suddenly pushed Edwin away. She responded loudly. Im awake? Im already awake? Edwin looked down with lowered eyes. His fingertips lightly touched Oe's strand of silver-white hair. He pressed it against his lips. Having kissed it, he knew there would be many more opportunities. Jed stood still in the rain. Brother Jed? Jed raised his head. His round purple eyes trembled in the rain. Brother, you didn't know either. Did you? Conrad remained silent. No what? Jed's mouth twitched violently. He stared into Conrad's eyes. Olivia? She has actually been suffering through that kind of treatment. Conrad turned his head. What did you hear? To end up like this? What on earth did he do? Jed stood in the rain. He roared that the princess called her Oe. Conrad remained expressionless. So, what do you mean? So, everyone in the Imperial Palace calls her that. They call Olivia Oe Half-Blood. Jed reached out and pressed his hand to his forehead. What of it? Jed was stunned in place. I left her alone, specifically to see this kind of result. Do you really not know? Conrad's mouth curled up. He let out a cold sneer. Brother, am begging you? Because of that child, Olivia, the house is already in total chaos. If you're finished talking, get inside. Jed did not respond. He turned and walked into the depth of the rain. Conrad suddenly turned his head. Jed? Jed took off his soaked military uniform. He leaned against the mirror, staring at his own wretched face in the reflection. Jed straightened his white gloves. An attendant draped Oe black coat. Over him, Jed. Brother Azella stood behind Jed. It's so late. Where are you going? Jed buttoned his collar. To find Olivia? Azella's eyes widened. Sister has already left. Jed suddenly turned around. What did you say? Where did she go? To the Vikander territory. Azella looked down to avoid his gaze. I can't tell you. Jed erupted in Oe roar. Azella stood still where she was. You should have done this sooner. Jed stood frozen in place, staring at Azella raised her hand and pressed it to her chest. If you had gone to find her with me back then, Sister is too kind. Even though I found her so late, she still forgave me. Jed lowered his hands. The atmosphere fell into Oe, dead silence. Azella turned her head to look at Jed. That is why I cannot tell you. Brother Azella turned and walked away, disappearing at the end of the corridor. Just for today, it's fine to keep it from brother for just one more day. Olivia held the quill. Too easy. I will stay in the Vikander territory for the time being. If anything happens, write Oe letter to the Duke's mansion. I have already sent Elarut back. There is one thing I want you to convey. Jed, Madeline, everything Sister wants to say is contained within that name. Azella looked down at the letter in her hand. There are no more children of mine in this house. Tear down that trash immediately. Azella ran through the long corridor. The sound of her footsteps echoed in the empty mansion. Olivia picked up the photo frame. Oe family portrait was embedded inside the frame. Olivia curled up in the corner, staring at the family portrait on the floor. Her hands tightly clasped her knees. Strands of silver-white hair were scattered on the floor. Olivia buried her head, staring at the shadows between her knees. Her fingers tightly gripped her sleeves. Sister, is this right? Edwin leaned down close to Olivia. What would you like to eat? Edwin held up the sandwiches. Ham and cheese. Sounds good. Arugula and chicken cutlet is also very good. Tomato and veal is an option, or perhaps try the salmon. Olivia lifted her face. Is it really all right to do this? Edwin stopped his movements. What do you mean, all right? Olivia lowered her eyelids. It takes 3 days to get to the Vikander territory. But this looks exactly like OA picnic. Did you not hear my orders correctly? When going out for business, one should act swiftly. Do we really have time to get out of the carriage and eat? This isn't OA picnic. This is OA picnic. Why be in OA rush? No matter how long it takes, the destination will not change. Olivia lifted her face. The two sat side by side. OA. Gentle breeze blew past. Hair swayed. Edwin turned his head. By the way, do you realize that all the knights are looking at you? Olivia looked around, staring at the attendants in the distance. Why? Why is everyone looking at me? OA knight bit into OA piece of bread. If the lady hasn't started eating yet, how would we dare to eat first? Olivia picked up OA sandwich. She opened her mouth and took OA bite. Olivia chewed the food. Her green pupils flickered slightly. It's delicious. Edwin watched Olivia. The corners of his mouth turned up slightly. I'm glad you think it's tasty? Sandwiches during OA picnic are indeed special. Right. Olivia lowered her head. Yes, it's truly different. Can we have another picnic? Olivia lifted her face. Staring at him, can we do it twice? Edwin burst into laughter. His red pupils gazed at Olivia. Of course we can. Horses' hooves trampled the grass. Wheels rolled over the dirt, making OA heavy, dull thud. The carriage traveled through the forest. Edwin rode his horse close to the window. Looking at Olivia inside the carriage, do you feel bored? Olivia leaned against the window frame. She fell into silence. Edwin, I have OA request. Olivia held onto the window ledge. When we arrive at the Vikander territory, I am worried the people there will not welcome me. Can you stay by my side? At least until I can confirm the situation. Everyone in Vikander will serve you with all their heart. My lady? Olivia gazed at Edwin. I was asking about their loyalty, not their service. Conflict broke out between the Emperor and the former Grand Duke. As the price for that, he was forced to wander between various battlefields, until death claimed him. As the heir to the former Grand Duke, the current Grand Duke also acts like OA limb of the Emperor, wandering between various battlefields. The people in the mansion do not seem to welcome the Emperor. I must confirm this with my own eyes. I am ready to face everyone invited, but I will do as you say. Olivia raised her face. She looked into Edwin's eyes. You won't stop me? Edwin smiled slightly. That is what you want. Olivia? Besides, even if I did nothing, the outcome wouldn't change. You have already brought Winster over to your side. Olivia turned her head. Lord Winster. Edwin rode his horse forward. Although he looks like that, he's actually OA Knight of Vikander. For OA picky man like him to stand by your side, that is your power. Olivia. It is the power to open people's hearts. Olivia held onto the window ledge. Her golden eyes widened slightly. Edwin burst into OA fit of laughter. You will do very well in the Vikander territory. Why should I worry? What I should worry about is, what if you stop playing with me? The power I possess? Olivia clasped her hands. The corners of her mouth turned up slightly. The Duke sat in front of the window. He suddenly applied force with his right hand, crumpling the pages of the book in his hand. Edwin stood in the center of the hall. I have already said this is where it ends. I thought I made it very clear last time. Do you intend to keep approaching? Are you declaring war on me? The Duke stared at Edwin. OA father wanting to see his own daughter? Is that also considered OA threat by your grace? Edwin turned his face. The corners of his mouth hooked upward. His right hand toyed with the messy black hair on his forehead. Good heavens. What kind of father watches his daughter suffer alone? The Duke froze in place. You know absolutely nothing about this? The Duke gritted his teeth. The corner of his mouth twitched slightly. 21 years ago, OA, brightly lit wooden attic stood in the night. The Duke leaned back on the sofa. He pressed his right hand to his forehead. Duke, Madeline, you look quite drunk. The man held up OA wine bottle. Come on, there is plenty of wine here. Please enjoy yourself. The woman opened her arms. I have prepared OA gift, especially for this. Oh, a woman stood in the shadows. Wearing OA veil with hanging gold ornaments, this woman will help you. The woman stood in the shadows. Her green eyes stared ahead. Albert walked in carrying OA tray. The previous tea has gone cold. I have brought OA fresh cup. Thank you, Albert. Albert lifted the teapot. He watched the rising steam. There is very little medicinal tea left. This tea is good for the heart. Please make sure father drinks it. Olivia held the white porcelain teapot. The temperature of the cup must be tested on the inside of the wrist. Until it feels lukewarm, this is meaningless. The woman the Duke chose. To think she was the daughter of Duke Madeline. Dion stood before the desk. I am very sorry. But OA mistake is OA mistake. How can someone from the Emperor's faction become the Duchess? I heard she was even the Crown Prince's fiancée. Dion let out an angry roar. So what? She is the lady to whom the Lord Duke himself swore an oath of loyalty. Why are you making such OA fuss? Her current situation is exactly the same as yours. Dion clenched his fists. Even so, who knows what kind of scheme he has? He is OA collection of rumors. The Lord Duke deserves OA perfect woman. Not. Dion pressed his hand against his forehead, letting out OA muffled groan. His golden pupils trembled in the shadows. Is there OA rejection reaction again? I will readjust it for you. Do you still hate having permanent magic applied? Thank you for your kindness, but I feel comfortable right now. I am going back to my room. Dion turned and left. That child is very kind, right? Dion stood in the bathroom. Water flowed down his bare chest. White mist swirled above his head, gradually condensing into twisted lines, burrowing deep into his hair. Dion suddenly opened his eyes. His golden pupils contracted violently. Red electrical sparks exploded around his eye sockets, making small, sharp popping sounds. Damn it! Dion pressed his hand to his forehead. His right hand gripped the edge of the wooden tub. Say it again? Lena stared ahead. Her blue pupils trembled with anger. I dare you to say that one more time? There is no way. The management rights of the White Crystal Mine cannot be taken back. Ownership has already been transferred through the magical imprint. Edwin wrapped his arms around Olivia from behind. His hands tightly held the reins of the black stallion. The corners of his mouth turned up slightly. The black stallion galloped through the white light. Its hooves shattered the floating light on the ground, carrying the two of them toward the distance.